What's going on, everybody? Danny B is here. Claudia will be here in just a second. We have got the 2012 Daytona 500 coming on here tonight for you guys. Claudia has never seen this one. A lot of y'all will probably know something pretty interesting happens in this one. The actual full length of this video is about 5 hours. Can't guarantee we're going to watch all 5 hours of this. With that being said, we're getting ready to get started here. The 2021 Daytona 500 will be here before you know it. I will not be there, of course. Some of y'all might want to watch the BS stream on Jarrett's channel last night. Again, I said not going to Daytona 500. We went last year. We won't be there this year, though. But we're still continuing to enjoy watching these classic Daytona 500s from recent memory, at least. This one being a 2012. Last week we watched the 2014 500, and the week before that we watched the 2007 Daytona 500. If you have not seen our watch-alongs of those and you want to go back and rewatch them later, feel free to. They're still up on the channel. There should even be a playlist for Classic Race Watchalongs here on the channel. But hope y'all are doing good. We got 25 people watching right now, and hopefully some more of y'all get in here, and we'll enjoy the 2012 Daytona 500. Go ahead and get in here. Head on back over to YouTube, and we'll get started right now.
One of the best who's ever raced this event, Mark Joy.
Thank you, Dick. Have a great night down there, everybody. It's going to be a busy one. Here is the Geico starting
no pizza. We're eating a little bit healthier. We got some fruit here.
The first for Carl Jackson with Carl Edwards, the pole sitter, and Greg Biffle. In row number 2, the series champion Tony Stewart and Matt Kenseth, the 2009 500 winner. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 2004 winner with 13 total Daytona victories, and watch out for Regan Smith. He could surprise tonight. As you look at the
entry list there, because we're kind of blocking the right side.
Let's see if we can get old Tony Stewart on here. Hey, Smoke, it's a DW. Got a copy?
Sorry.
Hey, Smoke, this year you guys can't talk to each other to communicate from one driver to another. Is that a big problem?
When was he a rookie? What year?
Well, I don't know that it's a big problem, but it's a
2009.
luxury that we definitely don't have this year. I mean, it was nice.
He's been in the Cup Series for
to be able to have the guy in front of you be able to tell you when he had to check up or if he had to change lanes. So it makes all the stuff going on in front of you a little more important. But there's a reason all these guys got to this level. It's because they make pretty good decisions most of the time. So
Ryan's dad, Dave.
we can listen to our spotters, and they can still pretty much.
I can't see
I'd say most of the time, pretty much 80%. Guaranteed he can call what that guy's going to do in front of us and what the scenario is.
All right, with that in mind, you got your buddy right there in front of you. You can't talk to him, but I can. You want me to tell him anything for you?
We already talked about it before we got in the cars
My dad
here.
sent me an article, but I can't open it because I don't have the ESPN app, I guess. But it says, I don't know if you've seen this, Chase Elliott's team will be on the pole for the Rolex 24.
Oh, cool.
You know, that's always my plan.
There you go, if y'all didn't hear that.
So I know the guys beside him
Chase
are here,
Elliott got
but
the pole award.
the
Team, I don't know how they do all that qualifying for that.
All right, my friend, have a good night and good luck.
Saturday?
Yes.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, so next weekend,
Tony Stewart starts right
we might not
Carl
do
Edwards,
a watch-along next weekend because it's Rolex 24 weekend. Me and her probably watch some of that. But then also next Sunday night is Royal Rumble. So I'm trying to get a few guys together who might want to do a reaction stream to the Royal Rumble if any of you guys like that.
Edwards had one
You
victory
can tell he didn't
last
ask
season
me because I
and
don't.
wound up second on the tiebreak.
You want to watch
we can
the
talk
Royal
to
Rumble?
Carl. Hey, Carl, it's DW in the Fox Sports booth. Got a copy, buddy? And Carl, it's DW. Got a copy?
Hey, Logan, appreciate the $1.99. One of my favorite 500s ever.
Saluting the fans.
I'm not going to read the rest of that, Logan.
I think I saw it.
Please don't spoil it,
Normally,
guys.
50% of the crowd
That's
would
okay.
come back
I
on
figured
Monday.
I'd probably know anyway.
But Daytona is an appointment event and appointment television. These folks have a lot of money invested in travel and tickets, and now in rain gear.
But you don't really know much anything else.
No.
Healthy crowd on the back
I know about
straightaway, and the
something about a jet
infield is
dryer.
packed.
So this race is being ran on
See if we can get him one more time. Hey, Carl,
nighttime.
it's
I
DW.
think
Got a
this
copy?
one might have been ran
Got you loud and clear.
on like a Monday night. Even.
Hey,
I'm not
buddy,
sure.
you got a fast hot rod there. The Fords have
It was ran at nighttime though because it like
whole
rained
speed
a lot.
weeks.
Okay.
What's your plan tonight?
Cool.
And
Nighttime
it
Daytona
was
500
it was like prime
We
time.
had the last race there in Homestead. Let's just go out, trying to lead every lap. try to win this thing. We got the best pit crew on pit road. We got a fast race.
Danny, who is your favorite broadcaster? Mine is Ralph Shaheen.
Well, you got your buddy behind you right there. Do y'all have are y'all going to work together
honestly,
you haven't ever seen him go because he's not really
finish off what you ended up with last year.
He doesn't really do much NASCAR anymore.
No, I'm just kidding.
As weird as this, I used to really enjoy Wally Dallenbach back in the day. I don't know if many people liked Wally Dallenbach, but I really enjoyed him.
To go out here and try to win this 500. We got such a good team. Our fastball team is good enough that we're not too worried about taking risks tonight. We just want to go try to go for the win and then go to Phoenix.
Start the season off right, buddy. Get you a win tonight, and that'll make the whole year a lot better. Good luck to you, buddy.
Patrick.
Thanks a lot. Hope you guys have a good time.
So is this the one
This is
that's on
Carl
the pole?
Edwards' 8th start in the 500. He's still trying to
No,
lead his first
2013,
lap in the Great American
which was her
Race.
first full season in
Let's
Cup Series.
start with crew chief Larry McCoy.
She ran a partial
two-time winning
schedule
Daytona 500 crew
in
chief
the Cup Series in
with tonight's
2012,
Goodyear keys to
and then a
superior
full schedule
performance.
in the
First and
Nationwide
foremost,
Series.
you heard Tony Stewart say it, 500 miles, keep your cool. That means your temper, and also if that car
it's the
starts
last
overheating, you're going to have to get a little
Daytona
air to the
500 with the
nose.
car tomorrow.
Stay on my good side. Push me all you want, but do not push me in the right rear because you might spin me out, or actually in the left rear, DW. What about the third one?
Well, it's the last lap, and it's all about me. You'll hear these crew chiefs tell the drivers when they make that last stop, we've done all we can do for you, brother.
Danny,
it's all
who
up to
are
you
my
now.
picks to win
That's what a
the
driver
men's
wants to
and
hear. I
women's
told you,
Royal Rumble
they love
match?
to win the Daytona 500.
The men's side,
It's all about
I
me.
think, for some reason, I think it's actually going to
Our
be Big
championship
E
winning
who
crew
wins
chief
the
Jeff
men's
Hammond
Royal
has a new
Rumble.
role this year.
As
He's going
for
to
the
take
women's
places
Royal
you
Rumble,
have been, and you
no, she's
can't
a champion
go.
right now.
Where
She's
are you,
not
Jeff?
gonna win it.
I
Come
just
up
said a
here on the
random
starter
name.
stand, and let me tell you right now, you go right
She's
to
a
the side of
champion
me,
right now, so
you
she's
can
not
feel
gonna
the
win it.
energy from the fans. They're back in full force. They're already cheering their favorite driver. You look across the way, the crews are already up on the wall. Right behind me, we're getting ready to have the starting field come by me.
Charlotte.
One more lap. We're going to launch 43 rocket ships. These guys are going to be going for one thing. and one
I'm
thing
not sure what they're going to do with her because she's doing her whole deal with Bray Wyatt and stuff like that. I don't know. I think the women's Royal Rumble winner is going to be either Bianca Belair or they'll do.
But I'd like to stay here and watch the rest of the race because I'm telling you, this is
They
a
might
cool
do
place to be right
Bailey
now.
or
In a few more
Alexa
minutes,
Bliss.
we're gonna
I don't think
drop
they'll have
the
Charlotte
green
win
on the
again,
Daytona
but
500.
it could be.
Does this
For you
like
to stay
play
there,
into
too, but
like
you've got
the
work to do tonight. Take us some fun
WrestleMania.
places.
Thank you.
Yes. Because the winners
Drivers talk
Winners
to
of
us
the Royal
about
Rumble
what it's like this year
will have
with
like a
pack
championship
racing
match at
instead of the
WrestleMania.
two-driver tandem we saw here last year.
Oh, did I miss something?
Well, I mean, I think it's back to big pack
think so,
racing,
why?
and the
Because
biggest
I
thing
saw
here
ourselves
is
and then
the
now I'm
fact
looking
that
at the video.
Daytona, we
Is that
haven't
what we were on?
raced
Yeah.
in a big pack since they repaved the racetrack.
Yeah, I didn't mess
so
it up on that.
fast.
It's just what we said.
That's
Well, I know,
hard to
but-
tandem up because the cars get so hot so fast and catch back up. So
I know, I think I put the
probably going to have to be
mouse
aggressive
and messed
and
up
try
our
to keep
view.
ourselves positioned
I just
towards
keep
the
it like
front.
that.
Well, I'm
so
a big
I
fan
can
of
Okay,
pack
I
racing.
see
I
it.
think for
But
me
I can't actually
personally,
click onto this.
I do better
like
at
onto
it
the
than the
OBS thing because
tandem.
it gets rid of the YouTube
And I think
video
it's
for some reason.
better
Like
for
it
the
would mess
fans'
with the
perspective
stream?
watching the race. It seems
Like
to be a
it'd
lot
just
more
be like
exciting.
white.
You
for some
got to
reason.
learn what it takes for your
Okay,
car to
I'll look
win.
at it like this.
The only way to do that is to be willing to make some mistakes. So the strategy is to learn.
Goose
and then
Winnipeg says
apply.
I can see Edge returning to the second Royal Rumble in a row.
Ready to race in
Yeah, because I
Daytona
think
for 500
he had another
miles.
injury, not
These
a neck
drivers will
injury,
be
like what
taking you for a ride
put him out of his
tonight.
career for a while.
Around this 2.5
It was like a
mile
bicep
super
injury or something
speedway
like
at
that, but
speeds
he'll
of
probably come
nearly
back.
200 miles an hour. Views from
Wait, who
inside
was
the
that?
car, up on the roof like you see here, and even out the side
Is that that
window.
guy that came back last year and it was a big deal?
Because he was like supposed to
Toyota
have
proud to
never been able
showcase
to
the
wrestle
reinvented
again.
I remember that. Like, it was a big deal when he.
as official
And he
pace
ended up
car
doing
of
like
the 500.
3 or 4
Available
matches
in
last year.
Did they do
models
that
up to
match like they did last year? It's like
268
where one by one
40
somebody
miles
else
per
new
gallon.
comes in?
2012
That's the Royal
Camry is
Rumble.
ready.
That's the thing?
you?
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe I do want to watch this. That's kind of interesting.
It might be me and
200
you
laps,
and someone else that
500
they want to
miles
watch it.
tonight.
And there you see.
Yeah,
pit
instead
road
of what
speed,
race
55
watch along, we're watching
miles per hour.
reaction
That's
to
after
no,
hour
not
racetrack over
no
200.
wrestling watch
Fuel
along. You
window,
can't stream
44
that.
to
No, I
48
can't.
laps.
Don't forget
Can't show
the
y'all,
halfway
but you can see our reactions and watch with
Yes,
us.
sir. And
What
these
is that even
drivers had
streaming?
trouble
What
early in the week
network?
with the
The
backup
WWE
cars.
Network.
Oh, so
Temperature
people have to
cooling
pay
to
for it.
69 degrees,
Yeah.
partly cloudy.
Like, not
rain,
really,
rain,
though.
stay
Well, I
away.
know, but if you just
As
wanna
we're
casually
ready
tune
to
in, you
start
would have to pay like
the
$10,
Great
so it's
American
not
Race
worth it.
in Monday prime time on Fox.
For a
Yes,
casual
sir.
fan,
We've
but if
already
you
talked
are a
about it.
fan,
She's
that's
gonna
not
be a
that
wild
deal.
one.
How long have I been watching WWE?
We gotta
The
get
college
this
remix
race
up into
started.
it. Alright, here we go.
So what was that? Like your freshman year?
My sophomore year.
So more like 2015-ish.
Yeah. The first pay-per-view I watched with them was Survivor Series 2015 when when Sting come into WWE.
Jamie McMurray down below the yellow line and off pace in this opening lap. In the number 1.
I think he's
And
got
it's
his
flag 'cause he's
teammate
down
in
below the
red
yellow
car right
line.
there, Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yeah, they had a plan. They were
So
going to
he's
get hooked up.
okay.
So
I was
strategy,
confused. Jay
not a
McMurray just went
problem
back to
for
try to
McMurray.
help his teammate.
Two-car tandem. Talk about
Or just
teammates
wait
that
for
have hooked up.
Juan
Greg
Pablo Montoya.
Biffle and his
Here's the
Roush
one that had
Fenway
to
Ford
turn.
teammate,
Yeah.
Matt Kenseth.
I don't know how that happened. I know.
Fords.
Oh, wreck early. Oh,
Oh
God.
yeah, I forgot there was a wreck on
Slams
like
to
the first
outside.
lap.
Oh, no.
Five-time
And it's
champion
Jimmy. Oh, God. Oh.
And Danica.
Oh, no.
And the 34
Started her
of
career
David
off on the right
Reagan.
foot.
Trevor Bayne, the 21
I mean, Trevor Bayne, the winner from the year
last year.
before.
You see him involved.
Gosh, that
Kurt Busch is
sucks.
involved.
We're really gonna go
I'm a
in.
little worried
Kurt
about
Busch
Jimmy.
was
He
driving
took
the
a hard
51
lick
car.
right in the door, and there's the
For Hendrick?
HendrickCar.com.
No,
Chevrolet
it was
of
just sponsorship
Kurt
from him.
Busch.
Huh.
He's got damage.
No, that
One
team
lap
ran.
and
Kurt Busch ran a
600
majority
feet.
of that season without
And it's
sponsors.
calamity.
Yeah.
Like literally just a red painted car.
Oh my gosh.
That's a
Jimmy
meal.
took a really, really hard lick,
One time.
that second lick.
David Reagan's Ford, his first outing for
Gosh,
Front
that's
Row
so frustrating.
Motorsports.
Like, and
Busch
you
will
said
make
that
it back around
especially
to
this
the
was like
pits.
a rain
Both of our
race,
winners
so
from
they've
the
waited
Daytona
around
races
like
last year,
significantly
Trevor
more than
Bayne won
just.
the 500.
Well,
David
even
Reagan won the
like
July
Daytona.
race.
I thought
When
Danica
you
had
see
more
the
damage than
replay
that
of
for
this
some
and you
reason.
see what Danica did, you won't
Even-
believe it.
All right, let's
Just a
keep
regular
an eye
Daytona, all
on
the
Jimmy
hype leading up
Johnson.
to
He's
it,
right
you know, the beginning of the
tucked
season
up
and
underneath
speed weeks, you know,
the
speed week, I
78
guess.
of Regan Smith.
Getting all hyped for it, and then you barely complete one lap, and boom.
Ooh,
It was
he's
Jimmy's
got a little
fault.
tap in the back end.
I believe that might have been Elliott
I
Sadler
think
in the 33.
Elliott Sadler gave him just a little tap.
No.
Right, here's what I was talking about. Watch Danica.
Watch
There, she
Danica.
gets some damage, but then
Okay.
watch her go down.
I'm sure she's a favorite.
Jimmy's car's total, but watch her right
That's
here.
what DW. Her
Between
first few
those two
years
cars.
was so like trying to push her a lot.
First caution of the night, lap 2. Here's another look. Look at that
Oh, that's cool.
outside lane.
NASCAR Man
and the blue
22
car that's
says
second
he
in
used the
line.
Papa John's code today.
See, Jimmy just
Save
gets
him-
a
save him
little bit
$6.
loose.
Awesome.
And when he corrects, it just overcorrects and into the fence it goes. And then he gets a really hard lick right here. That's the
pit
one
stop
that really
diecast
worried.
reviews.
He got
Our
that
night's
right
going
in the
pretty good.
driver's door.
Well,
We
what was one of our good
watched
year
the
keys?
end of
Don't
the
push me in the left
Buccaneers
rear.
game.
This
You
travel
watched
can
it.
be
I
pretty
listened to it on
treacherous.
radio.
I'm kind of happy that the Buccaneers
Now
are going
from
to the
the
Super Bowl.
blue, watch
I
for
think
the
it's really
green
cool
cars. Danica
that the
Patrick
team
comes
who's
into frame from the
hosting
top of your
the Super
screen.
Bowl is actually playing in the Super Bowl there.
You see right
I heard
here,
you talking
right
about
there.
this on
Jimmy's
your
getting ready to
BS
get a hard lick,
stream,
but
or
here's
live stream.
Danica right here.
Jared's BS stream.
Get some damage off of Jimmy
About
Johnson's car
when's the
there.
last
but
time
I
a
do not.
team
This is the wildest
has
thing I've
won
ever
in their
seen.
own
Watch
city
this
in the
car
Super
go
Bowl?
right. This
Never
two
happened.
car. These
It's never
guys are
happened?
all wrecking.
Has it ever
and she
happened
goes
where
right
a
in between
team
them.
went to the Super Bowl, like runner-up? That was at their stadium.
I don't think
A
so.
big chain reaction
Huh.
crash as Johnson's car
Well, you
just
would have to think, like,
clogs
what's the
racetrack.
probability of that? You know, that
And the
same
34,
because they get
David
picked like
Reagan
the
had
Super
car
Bowl.
to the
I think
outside,
was it
car
like
to the
well in
inside.
advance before?
Nowhere to go.
Do you think? I don't know. I don't really follow that.
We'll ride with Danica
Like, do they
Patrick.
announce the Super Bowl location like years in advance?
Yeah, I forget how long they announced that.
I think it's already like lined up for so much time. So what's the probability of that? The team's going to be good the exact same year that they're supposed to host. You know?
Yeah.
And now with Jimmy Johnson.
Inside. Inside only.
That was a hard hit, Jimmy took.
All the drivers involved have either climbed out of their cars or
Then
driven
if he
back
talks,
to
do you
the
collect
pits. They're
164
okay.
diecast?
Hard hit.
A little bit.
That's
No, a little bit.
I've got a little shelf upstairs with all my 164s.
He's got. I mean, it's pretty big. Like, yeah, probably bigger than you can see the screen. But like,
It's
this-
like it's an old
I've seen a lot
pallet.
of wrecks in stock
Someone
cars
painted
in
it,
NASCAR.
and then
But
they
these
put
guys have all taken a
LED
lesson
lights
from
in it.
Danica Patrick. They
I bought it for like
they have seen what she
$25 when I
does
first
she's been in
moved
some
here
hard wrecks.
to this
And
town.
they've
'Cause I
taken their
found it on
hands off
Facebook
the wheel, and
Marketplace.
he is hurt. He
Their
took
kid
a-
had it for
he took a
Hot Wheels
hard lick.
and then grew to not
He's got the-
liking
he's
Hot
got
Wheels
the wind
anymore,
knocked
so they
out of
sold
him,
it. And I was
sure.
like, I can take that. Perfect.
Yeah, so he has all
And
his
that
little
wraparound headrest certainly
164s
helps to
on a
contain
shelf, and then
movement,
I've got
as
a
does
little
the Hans device, the
two-tier
head and neck
shelf.
support.
It's yay tall
And
and
these
yay
are the cars
long and like
involved.
stacked with 164s.
Since winning the 500 in
So we
2006,
right now keep
Jimmy
ours separate, but
Johnson's
my
average
shelf
finish
is
in
running
this
out of
race
space. So.
has been in the mid-30s.
We collect more 164s than we do 124s.
Yeah, but our 124s that we get usually have more of a cool backstory to them.
The Daytona
Like either we
500
were
on Fox.
a little
It's
bigger.
sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR
Either we
Sprint
were
Cup Series.
at the we saw like a certain race in person,
Four
or it's
laps
like our
complete, we're
drivers
under caution at Daytona.
like win that was significant. Like,
Aerial coverage by
probably some of my
Goodyear.
favorite diecasts
Everything we've
are
learned making tires
Chase Elliott's
and
first
improving rounds
win.
at NASCAR
It'll be
inspires
we'll also
what
we
roll into
also
the earth.
pre-ordered his
Goodyear.
championship win,
More driven.
his All-Star win because we were there for that one. He's got
Five-time
Bowman's
NASCAR champion Jimmy
2
Johnson
wins.
took a hit into the wall and
3
then
wins.
a
Defending
hard
one, too.
hit
Oh, that's
from
true.
David Reagan.
And just
Cars
we have the
piled
Cowboy
in,
sweep set
including
from
Danica
Bristol because we were
Patrick
there.
at Newcomb in her garage.
Disappointing start to the 500 for
stuff like
Danica
that.
Patrick, Mike. A lot of
We've got-
cosmetic damage, but Greg Zipadelli could see
Should be
right
getting
from the
a
pit wall.
Alex
Significant
Bowman
damage
and
underneath
Chase
the
Elliott
left
All-Star
rear of this
cars
tin
coming in
machine.
soon.
Possibly truck arm broken. They were going to survey
And then
the
we
damage
ordered
back in the
the
garage. Gonna lose
Darlington
a lot of laps.
Hendrick
Krista?
set because all the throwbacks to Jimmy.
Yeah.
While you're
Trevor Bayne is going to defend his
better be saving
Daytona
up some money,
500 win.
bud.
He's
All
going to
this
have to do it the
diecast
hard
about
way. Some
pre-orders
serious
about the
damage on the
jet.
front
I
end
start my new
of
job
their
soon. I'm
Ford
glad I do.
machine.
I mean,
The left rear is where
save
the
that a
team was
little bit.
seriously working on pit road. They had the hammer out, tearing the sheet metal, banging the sheet metal away from the tire to avoid a tire rub.
But
It's
I
going
did
to
see
be a
that was
long
cool
night
that
for Trevor Bayne.
Of the
NASCAR
Rolex
has
24 car, they're
several
making Chase
mechanisms by which
Elliott's
drivers laps down can get laps back.
diecast.
In a
As
1/18
Kevin Harvick
scale.
comes out of the pit.
Highly detailed.
Whopping how
Flag,
much?
The first car one lap down
I
gets
think
a
it was
free
like
pass
175.
and
So if
comes
you
all
got
the
that
way
kind of money
around.
to drop, that would be a very cool
But
diecast.
other
We will
cars
be passing
can
on that
stay
one,
out
though.
on caution
Yeah.
flags and regain a lap provided they do not pit. It's called
I do
wave
wanna
around,
get-
and we'll explain it when we see it.
I don't even care what driver I get. I want to get one SRX diecast.
I think it was
Looking on the inside, and he got
Probably
clipped
get
on
Tony
the
Stewart.
inside.
Yeah. Well, Bill's running in it.
You can see right
like
there.
Bill.
That's
Bill,
an impact.
either Bill, Tony, or Bobby Labonte. I'd probably get one of those three.
Probably Tony. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Depends on what the cars look like. I think the paint scheme would help me decide.
But
Elliott
we're probably going to go
Sadler,
see
driver of the 33,
SRX when they come to
passed along his
Nashville. So
apologies. He was the driver who got
Probably.
into the back of Jimmy Johnson.
I just wonder who they're going to have
Something
make
like
it.
that
Will it be
started.
Lionel or
Pretty
another
amazing
company?
how tight they're racing here. Jimmy Johnson started 8th, 2 drivers at the rear that was involved.
We're getting ready to restart the Daytona 500.
Johnny B. Talks. Who do I think will be the
With
best
Jimmy
performing
Johnson just out of the
rookie?
care center. Jimmy, 2 very hard impacts. You're going to take a
First
look at
question
the
there, Michael
replay. Tell us what
Toss.
happened.
Yeah, I'm good. You know, the last hit.
Who we got to choose from? We
Who
got
all is rookies this
Chase
year?
Briscoe.
We're just
We got
stalling.
Anthony
Briscoe,
Alfredo.
Anthony Alfredo.
Lane
That's the
work
ones I can think
and
of.
a
Probably
lot of
Chase
energy in the
Briscoe,
lane.
man.
I was kind of
Well,
pushing the
and
78
just
a little
terms
bit.
of
I could
quality
feel
of
some
the car, of
help
course,
from behind and
Chase Briscoe has
just
the best
turned me
car.
around.
I mean,
I think for
Inside
what
lane
his
and
car
back up the
is,
outside lane, and
Alfredo
when
probably
I was
won't do
sitting in
that
the middle of the
bad.
racetrack, I knew at some point someone was going to come
Yeah.
along, and unfortunately, David Reagan
I
had nowhere to
think
go,
he'll do
but
decent.
unfortunately
I
got
don't think
drilled by
he'll
him pretty
just
hard.
flop, but
I'm just really bummed to
with all the
start the
success
season
that
this way.
Chase
For all the
Briscoe's
hard
had,
work
and he's
that's
getting
gone
a
into
top
getting
tier
this little
ride.
Chevrolet ready for tonight,
Right,
and
yeah.
I don't even think we completed 2.5 miles of green flag racing, so pretty bummed.
Glad you're okay, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Jimmy Johnson out of the race on lap 2. David Reagan also released from the care center. 5 cars in the garage. Pit stops by Terry Labonte, Robbie Gordon, Kevin Harvick, and Paul Menard during that caution.
It's been preached in these guys'
opposite, been
head
green.
for 10 days. You cannot push on the left rear. Elliott Sadler got a little
Back when
rear.
Yeah, not only has it been
Roush
preached,
was still
we've had
pretty
about
good, especially on super
20
speedways.
examples that it doesn't work.
You got Kenseth,
Well, second
Biffle,
first, same as the
and
first.
Edwards
Here
all
comes
in the
the
top
whole
3.
field, 2 by 2 through turn number 4 around a complete lap 8.
When this is pack racing, when you're in the pack, you're just a part of it. If anything happens, you can't avoid it. So you just gotta pray a lot that nothing happens while you're doubled up like this.
During the caution flag, outspoken words, Kyle Busch.
Well, I think that's literally
Seriously,
it.
are we all
Anthony
kidding
Alfredo and Chase
ourselves?
Briscoe.
We just sat around for 36
Yeah, so that's
hours.
easy.
Someone's saying we cannot hear the race. Then someone else said audio is fine on my
understand
end.
what he's saying. And matter of fact, Dale Jr. had a similar
Just tell me which one it
conversation
is.
with his
I'll
spotter.
turn it up
He
if we
said,
need to.
Tell
But
the 33 I don't want to push, and I want him to be sure and know it.
Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards.
Someone said, John, turn up the volume.
It's Regan Smith.
Oh, to the guy who said it went loud.
Yeah, because everyone else says the audio is good.
His first race, that at Darlington. Back down to Steve.
David Reagan also released from the care center. David, a pretty violent impact with Jimmy Johnson. You're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
People saying audio's fine.
I saw the 48 spinning. My
Yeah,
spotter was
John, you just need to
low,
turn up the
low,
volume,
slow
sounds
down,
like.
and just couldn't slow down and get low enough. And I'm standing here ready to see the replay to see what kind of bonehead
Is this
would
when
do
you need
move
to
like
balance
that this early
the
in the
audio
Daytona
between
500? So
us and
just very
the race,
disappointed
so it
for
doesn't
our
sound
Front Row
like Chris
Motorsports
was just
Scorpion
watching
Truck
it?
Bedliners team. Our team had worked so hard. We had a good race car, and we were just content with getting to the finish. And it's very a shame to be talking to you this early.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, Steve. Here comes Regan Smith, who moved in the offseason to Denver, Colorado with his new bride to be close to his race team. The 78 is the only team based outside the greater Charlotte area, and that Furniture Row car
Oh,
is trying to
yeah,
force
I
its way to the
forgot.
front.
He was
You know,
doing
last
that
year
randomly in
this
this
time we
race.
probably said he's a long shot. You know, he doesn't have much of a chance.
But Trevor Banks was 21, so
cars run
they want to put him
last
in
year.
another car.
He's
Okay, I
not
was
a
going to
favorite,
say,
but
like,
he's
wait,
certainly in
so
there.
drove, like, two different
Yeah, he was in a
numbers,
position to win this
Yeah.
500 last year, probably with 10 or 12 laps to go, and got caught up in a late race accident.
Because I forgot that this is like the year after they let go of David Reagan.
Snow. He grew up outside Syracuse. You're looking at Marcus Ambrose.
I like
Tasmania, who won his first race last year.
Oh, look who's in the
He was
chat.
winner at Watkins Glen.
This is our little
Hey,
side view,
Jay.
folks. A little camera we got mounted on the door of the car that's running
Hey,
on
I
the
made
side
a
of the
video
mountain
in this
there, Marcus
race.
Ambrose.
That you
and,
did.
and it's a great shot because in the corners you can really see how far down in the track.
Any
these
M&Ms
cars
in our
sink.
snacks?
So
No.
much G-force in
We
the
do
turn.
have
Look at the side of
something-
the car in the turn.
My
And when it
favorite
comes up on
driver's
the
favorite,
straightaway, You'll see that
Uncrustable.
gap open back up. And when it opens up like that, the
Didn't get any
drivers say
beer
that's when the
flavor.
car is real vulnerable.
No, he didn't want to get
getting
the-
pushed. It gets real light.
Is that thawed out enough?
Ford back to the front. Greg
I
Biffle
think so.
leading Carl
cold,
Edwards in
but
blue
it's
and
not
white,
frozen.
Okay.
and Matt Kenseth in blue
No,
and
you didn't
yellow.
want to get no,
Those are three of
like-
Jack Roush's fast
like,
Fords that everyone feels
barbecue
will
chicken
be
or whatever
contenders.
they have.
There wasn't. Honestly,
I think
like,
Greg
I'm not
Biffle,
much of a peanut
I
butter
hope he learned a
person,
lesson
but,
in his qualifying race. He had
So I was
to face
honestly
his car in
looking
his
for the
qualifying
different
race
ones,
on
and the only
last
ones they
lap.
had without
He
peanut
tried
butter
to
was
block
like
his
Nutella. He
teammate,
doesn't really
who
like
went on to win the race, and he ended
No,
up
it's
finishing
not my
fifth.
thing.
So as hard as it is, you've got to work with somebody. You can't be
An Alex Bowman fan.
defensive all day
is
long.
eating Uncrustable.
But you're right. Those
Proof
three
that
Roush Fenway
marketing
drivers
from
right
your
there,
favorite
Biffle,
drivers
Edwards,
works.
and Kenseth, they've been fast all week. And this is Roush Fenway's 25th year.
Back straight away. One car around sideways. It's Ryan Newman.
Newman.
Tony Stewart's teammate has brought out the second caution flag of the night on lap 12.
And I haven't even seen the replay, but I bet somebody bumped him in the left rear.
Newman's a past winner of the 500.
Here he is. No, nobody
What
bumped
year did
him. He
he
looks
win?
like he just lost it.
Who?
Maybe had a tire issue.
The 500?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait.
I think he's got a tire down, Larry. The
Looks
way that
like the
thing's
right rear.
sparking and
What are
everything,
you
he's got
talking
a
about?
tire
This
down.
peanut butter's frozen in the inside.
A single car spin.
It's cold. It's not really.
Puts us under the
Like,
second
mine's like a
caution flag of the
block.
night, and the sparks fly.
Like solid
And you can see the
frozen.
Mine was
right
better,
rear
I
tire.
guess. I mean, look.
Wow.
These cars have safety inner
I tried to
liners
bite into it,
inside
and
the
it was
tires, so they don't go
solid.
flat to the rim,
That's not
which is a
right.
good thing at 200 miles an hour.
What's a good thing is that pavement that has been put down that back straightaway now. That's a good thing. That's saved a lot of
Oh,
guys.
appreciate
Here is
the
Casey Kane's view.
super
That's
chat
Newman
there.
just ahead of him
NASCAR
on the
48,
inside.
Justin Hebert. Hope I said that right. Canadian $5. Will Ryan C get a win this season? I could see it. He ran really strong, and plus his team just switched to Ford. And I think they're trying to kind of
He said simply
from
on the
Chevy.
radio, Ryan Newman, not sure
And I
which,
think-
but I had a tire going down.
I kind of feel like they're
Said
trying
by the SHR
to
driver.
take over the spot where Roush
I would
used to
say
be in
with
the
this
Xfinity
caution
Series.
being out here, we're going to be 14
Nicholas Gray,
laps.
appreciate the
I
$2.
think pit
What
road's going to be
this
very, very busy.
was this
We
the
may
year
see
of tandem
a
racing
lot of
trend?
different
No,
agendas and a lot of different strategies, but I
2011
think
was
we'll
tandem
definitely see
racing.
'em
2012, I think they kind of cracked down the rules, tried a few things different spoiler, more or less, and it prevented them from being able to do two-car tandem too much compared to years prior.
So I was seeing a clip of that on Twitter. So what was the rule?
Working on
in
that car to get her
like
back
you can only
into her
two cars
first
can be linked up.
It's her third wreck of the weekend.
No,
she had a wreck
they just did it because it
race,
wasn't
not of her
faster.
own making. Had a
They
vicious
outran
hit on
a
turn
pack.
2. Then she wrecked Saturday in the nationwide race, and now we got problems tonight.
Like a rule or something.
No, 2012 is when they started wanting to crack down the rules because they were getting crazy amount of speeds and they didn't like that style of racing.
Steve?
It's too like aggressive.
Regan Smith in the 78 Mike saying that he
Too aggressive and it made weird strategy. Like I remember at Talladega 2011, I think it was Michael Waltrip or someone had a dial in their car for the radio that would go to like 20 different guys. So if they're like, I need a new drafting partner. Hey Dale, what you doing? I'm gonna push you. All right, Dale. Okay, here we go. Like literally, drivers were just talking to each other on the radios because they had to.
Yeah, that's Daytona 500. The Golden Age stop finishing second and win this thing.
Well, Edwards does win the race off pit road. Hardly anyone took tires. And Newman's got further problems.
And that was a huge roadblock for a lot of drivers trying to get in and out of
Ivan, I agree. There was a lot of good paint schemes in 2012. A lot of them were still actually painting their cars back then rather than wrapping them.
So
welcome back to Daytona. That's A.J. Allmendinger's Penske Dodge being pushed back to the garage area. Here's what happened. Ryan Newman is leaving his pit as watch from Kyle Busch. The left rear wheel is not tightened. Newman pulls away. The wheel comes off. A.J. Allmendinger's coming in. Pow! Right in the back of Newman. And that
usually
has
it's
damaged
because they have
Allmendinger's car.
you can
He's
tell
gone to
the
the garage.
way their colors shine a little bit more.
Good grief.
Well, like I see
Danger
Paul Menard
everywhere.
right there. His car is definitely painted.
Coming to complete lap 16. Pace car
on the
is
front
in.
row.
Paul Menard.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin for this KFC restart. Come taste why fresh is better.
KFC restart.
Menard and Hamlin did not pit under this caution flag. Menard has been in earlier on the first caution.
So they paint the
Paul
blue?
Menard from Wisconsin, who also got his first win last year at the
So
backyard.
then like the pink and the
Getting a
27
push
all
for
that
the
they would just
99
put
of
over
Carl
it?
Edwards.
Paul Menard, one of those drivers, had to
Really, I
start
think
at the rear of the
Menard's
field because he was
yellow
in a
has to be
backup
painted. I
car
don't
from
know
the
if we can get
crash
it
on
right.
Thursday's
Just
Gatorade
vinyl.
Duel race.
Regan Smith third.
But
and
like
Joe
that
Gibbs, Toyota
orange,
teammates Denny Hamlin in the
I
11,
think.
Joey Logano in the 20. Third and fourth.
Might be wrong, but I think.
Biffle, Jeff Burton, Matt Kenseth, and Marcus Ambrose. Hamlin to the outside and to the lead.
I would
Three
love to see
wide, they're coming to the start-finish line, and Hamlin took advantage of that. Carl Edwards pulling out behind Menard there. Got a real
Because
nice
I've seen
grab.
somewhere
Carl
where they're
Edwards in the 99,
installing
he's
the
what we
wrapper,
call
you know,
a
put the
sucker
wrap on the
hole.
car.
He got trapped in the
Which is- that's
middle
kinda
with
neat
no
to see,
help.
but
Just see him drifting back.
I've never seen painting.
He thought he was going to get by Menard, but he didn't get any help.
195-mile-an-hour bumper cars. Hamlin down to the bottom, picks up Menard.
The Kenseth Best Buy car. I think that might
You know,
be
that
paint
78
to the vinyl, but I'm
of all
not
the
sure.
races we've had down here this weekend, that 78's always been right at the front. Every race we've seen.
Ford's in
But
the
now, like the
outside
Kyle
lane,
Busch
the high
M&Ms,
groove.
you can't paint that. That's definitely
Biffle in the 16,
red.
Kenseth the 17. And Kyle Busch coming up the outside in the number 18 Toyota.
Oh yeah, I see Dale Jr.'s Diet
Steve
Mountain Dew
Burns.
car. That was the first year
With Trevor Bain,
where
a
the
lot
Diet
of
Mountain
work
Dew
on
was
the
on
race
his car, and
car.
it was a
Two
really pretty
questions, Trevor.
car.
What
Yeah, I
happened,
liked it
and can
when
you
I
get
saw
back
it.
in this race?
I have no idea what happened. I haven't seen it yet, but this is devastating for this team, man. We sat here for a couple days waiting
Whenever
to
we
race, and
go to a
something
race
happens
this year,
on
we might
lap
have to
one.
look
So
out
what do you
for
do?
a
I tried to get as low as I
retro
could. I couldn't
diecast
see what
like
was
that
going
one or
on.
something.
They were just crashing up top,
Just
so I
'cause
got
it was a
low,
car I
got
was
slowed
like-
down at the last second. I think it was a 34 car.
Why
hit
do
us
we
in the
need
right side
another
door
one?
and sent us into the grass.
we have
The only thing we
shells
really
to fill.
touched was the grass. I guess it's so wet it just ripped apart the front of the car. So, man, it's tough. These guys worked so hard for this race, and we're looking forward to it.
boy,
I
Trevor
hate the way that
Bain.
we're sitting here in the garage,
We
but
need
they're
to try
trying
his
their best to
coffee
get back
shop.
out here. We're doing
Yes, we
everything
do.
we can.
My friend
I thought it'd be minor
lives
damage that would get us
probably
out there faster, but
10 minutes
put us
from
in the
here.
garage for a long time.
But Trevor, we'll take
Maddie
a look at the
M,
replay, see
appreciate the
what
$2 there. Danny, really enjoy your channel,
I don't know,
man.
man.
Big
I don't
NASCAR fan.
understand
Glad you are
what
enjoying
happened there,
the
why they
content
got
you're
so
seeing,
antsy or
and
who got turned
happy to
sideways
have
at
you and
first,
everyone
but,
else here.
You know, you think that everybody's going to be patient after you wait for that long, that you're just going to be calm. And I had just said coming off the turn 4, I said, hey guys, I'm in the right place. I'm going to hang out back here for a little while and stay out of trouble. And as soon as I went off the mic, he said they're checking up the wrecking, and I slowed down the best I could and got out of the way as best I could, and we still got in it somehow. So I hate this for our Ford Racing team here. It's tough, but we'll be back. It just stinks we got wait another year to try to get another 500. Thanks, Trevor. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Carl Edwards got knocked all the way back to 11th place.
Fun fact, in 2012, that year, during the Budge Shootout, which is like what the Clash used to be known as, Jeff Gordon flipped his car in that race.
For the lead with
It was like the first time I think in his Cup Series career
he got stuck
he
in
had
the
flipped
middle.
the car.
And then you get really frustrated as a driver trying to find a place to get back in line, and that's when sometimes you get in trouble.
Denny Hamlin and his teammate Joey Logano are Toyota top performers at lap 20, running first and fourth.
Look at this.
Is there any advantage at the front of the pack to running single file? Because, Darrell, it doesn't appear that anybody can get away from the pack.
No, it doesn't. Normally what happens after about 15, 20 laps, the tires kind of get warmer and they lose a little bit of grip and they'll start to separate a little bit. But because the weather is so calm and the track is green, got a lot of grip, we may not see that tonight.
You know, of those 4 Toyota drivers you just showed, only one started inside the top 20, and that was Joey Logano.
Probably I was in elementary school on a field trip when they give you the little, at least my school did this. If you went on a field trip, you could order, like, you know how you would normally go to the lunch room and get your food? On field trips, you could choose to still get your lunch, like, from school, and they would pack a little white lunch sack for the field trip. So, you know, the teachers carried it on.
Last year, never a factor.
So it had, like, a cheese stick and little chips or crackers, and they would always throw one of these in there. Honestly, I feel like that's the last time I've ever ate one of those. Just because it was free in my lunch.
Hamlin leads the inside lane with Paul Menard, Reed
Probably
Smith,
definitely high school,
Joey
because like,
Logano,
they used to be
Jeff
one of the things to like grab
and Marcus Ambrose
one of
on
those
the
usually for
outside.
breakfast time.
Still pedaling.
You eated a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for breakfast?
Greg Biffle with his teammate Matt Kenseth trying to make some noise.
After a while, though, you kind of give up on that outside line. You just say, man, I got to get down in line with everybody else and ride a while, because that's kind of what I see shaping up now.
Earnhardt is the 5th Chevrolet in the race, 13th overall right now. Jeff Gordon, his Hendrick Motorsports teammate, just in front of him. Tony Stewart right behind Earnhardt. So 3 Chevrolets trailing those 2 Fords on the outside.
No, Michael Carey. I don't know if we're going to watch all of the red flag.
Jeff Hammond.
Mike, right now you see him behind us at the
if you want to.
10 car now, Danica Patrick right now. They're working very intensely, trying to get everything repaired.
What did we watch?
Torn the entire rear and
last,
house.
what was the problem with the last week one?
Rear and house
there was
was
long,
torn.
like, red
A lot of
flag
sheet metal damage.
There was like a
They've got to get all this stuff replaced. Set it back down on the ground.
And that was significant.
Realign
I
everything.
can't imagine
They really feel like it's imperative.
Yeah.
They get her back out there to get her some more experience, but more importantly, to try to get as many points as possible for this 10 car.
Well, there was a wreck, and I think they also like started raining.
And it's pretty much a solid axle that goes across the
I'm
entire
interested to
car,
see
has the
how
left rear and the right rear. It's also where the gear is.
Yeah.
Like, I know about it, but I don't really remember.
Well, it was under a caution, obviously, because the thing was out there. So.
Okay, where? Do you know what part of the race it was? Like,
I can't remember. I can't remember where it actually happened. Actually,
Denny?
I know that they had over half of the race completed.
Let's take a look at our Ford Racing Tech car. This whole apparatus here, that's the rear end housing.
Right?
And these are the trailing arms that hold it under the car.
I know he's
so
not
got to unbolt those
Danny B, who do you have for this year's Daytona 500? I hope Kyle Busch wins it. I could honestly see him finally getting a Daytona 500 victory.
Repair.
I'd like that. Yeah.
It's such a toss-up.
I wouldn't be surprised if something like Trackhouse or 2311 Racing comes out and gets the win in their first
Wow, wouldn't that be cool? That Bubba Wallace win like Daytona 500.
Yeah.
Well, he almost won a couple years ago.
Yeah, we were at Talladega, and someone put him up into the wall. I can't remember what happened exactly, but he was making a run there right at the end. Looked like he could have won.
Cute.
Stick around.
Young Denny Hamlin.
Fox.
He didn't even know he'd
The
be on the
Daytona
team
500 on
Michael
Fox
Jordan
is
at that
sponsored
point.
by Budweiser. Great times are waiting.
Literally
Grab
almost
some
10 years
Buds.
later.
30 laps complete in Daytona. Catch the season premiere of Octane Academy tonight on Fuel TV. Check local listings for the time in your
Fuel
area.
TV. Are either of these things even still around?
What?
Octane Academy on Fuel TV, they said.
Ford cars have won 2 of the last 3 Daytona 500s. This year is the first time that Roush Fenway Racing has swept the 500 front row. The last 10 500s have had 10 different winners. And this race so far has had 4 different leaders, 5 lead changes, and Denny Hamlin driving a Toyota for Coach Joe Gibbs. Leads the pack from Paul Menard, Regan Smith, Joey Logano, and Jeff Burton.
Go third favorite.
Marcus Ambrose 6th, and
Should have worn your
James
Paul Menard
among that
27
front
shirt.
pack on the inside. Now, defending series champ Tony Stewart, car number 14, in his 14th Daytona 500.
His one or only
running
win might
14th.
be a race to watch sometimes.
Which is where?
Indianapolis.
Oh, okay. What a boring track. But was it the Brickyard?
For many, a race at Daytona. Tony Stewart and Dale
Paul Menard
Earnhardt
might
Jr.
have only got
have
one
been
win, but it was a
drafting
crown
in
jewel, and it
tandem
wasn't a
and
super
working
speedway
together.
race.
That's managing your car.
It was a fuel
right
mileage
now,
race.
you know, you're not doing anything. You're not taking any risks right now.
He
And
won,
that's
though.
really what was so upsetting
And he
about
beat
that
Jeff
first
Gore to
lap.
do it, so.
Don't take any risks right now. We got a long way to go here. Let's work together, not against each other.
Remember, Daryl, when he talked to Tony, talked to him about the rule change over the winter from
Danny,
last
do I
year,
miss the
where a
speed
driver
channel?
can't talk to another
Absolutely,
driver.
I miss the speed
Last
channel.
year, Tony Stewart
Might
would have
need to do
told
a
Dale
rise and
Earnhardt
fall
on
on
his
the speed
own.
channel.
Now you've got to go through the spotters above the grandstand.
You know, Mike, there's 2 strategies, sort of, there has been in the past for running a restrictor plate race, Daytona Talladega. One is you get up here
Danny
in the pack
B,
and
why do you
race
only
hard,
watch
just
Daytona
like what we
500
see
replays?
these
That's
guys
not true,
do. The other
Sebastian.
is
You obviously
fall to the
probably
back.
haven't been watching for a
Pick
little
up
while
3 or
because
4 guys that you
we've done
like to
multiple.
run with
We've
and lay back. Remember at the start of the race when we saw Jamie
an
McMurray
all-star race
drop to
from
the
the
inside?
90s.
He went to the rear,
Sonoma.
picked up his
The
teammate
2001 Sonoma,
Juan Pablo
right?
Montoya. And these
We
guys,
didn't
they're about
like
a half a
we
second
haven't
off
done in a while, but
leaders
the
up there
last
running,
couple
but
weeks we've done
they're-
Daytona just
they're in
because it was
safety
leading
zone
up to
right
the
now.
500.
Right, that's group of
But once
cars
the
is
season
6
gets
to
going,
7
we might
seconds
do other
behind the
tracks. We
leader.
probably will do
It's led by number 29.
Yeah,
We won't keep watching Daytona.
We've been watching a lot of Daytona 500s because we're getting ready for the Daytona
Includes
500.
Montoya,
I'm trying to
Terry
think.
Labonte, David
We watched
Dillon,
another
Tony
one. I'm trying
Raines
to think what it was.
back there.
We watched
And you see the
We watched
gap
a
from
Bristol one, I
them to
think.
the lead
I
pack.
think so.
Denny Hamlin.
Yes, because that's
the engineer of this fast freight train.
But that's about the right
Remember, it was
distance to be back. If
Clint Boyer
something
in the
happens, a
2
big
car.
wad of cars get
It
on
was
the
Kozlowski.
car, they can get stopped or slowed down before they get up in the middle of it. So they're
That was
playing it
2008.
safe right now.
But wasn't Clint Boyer in the
Yeah,
2?
Daryl, what
Yes,
I've
he was.
noticed,
Okay, we did watch
since
that
those
one.
drivers,
But in
they've
the
got in a
we did
single
that
file
last season, so in
because
2020.
the drivers
But
up
here
here in this big
recently,
pack
they've
are
all
starting
been
to mix it
Daytona
up as far as
500.
two lines. Their lap times are mirroring the leaders.
Yeah,
Blue
There
flags.
is the
Love
new
your
rear
content,
end
mate.
for
Just
Danica
noticed I was not
Patrick's car.
subbed. Sorry, dude. That's
Going
all
to be
good.
installed.
Glad you
you
remembered
see
to hit
some help
subscribe
from
and
the
hope
US
you enjoy
Army team
all the other
from
videos.
Stewart Haas Racing. That's Ryan Newman's team, teammate to Danica, as is Tony Stewart.
This person said the fire happens around
Still a lot
40
of
to
work
go.
to do.
Okay, so it's.
And as we watch
almost-
this,
almost
that
over.
outside line with Greg
Really,
Biffle
I
out
don't
there
know why
and
they didn't
Jeff
just call it a
Gordon,
race at that
they can
point.
make
I'm
it.
really
They get a
surprised.
little run and they think, okay, I think we're going to make it this time, and then that inside line pulls back ahead
Got
again. So
Kitty.
they just haven't been
Trying to
able to get
play.
much further up, and what you see them right there.
He's been fed, so it's not his hunger.
Yeah. Text hunger to 5055.
Daryl, you're riding in a
I wonder if that even does anything. What's
closer
it,
together
what, like,
than most
isn't
people
that like
are,
set up to
but
like
you're
donate
doing
money to the
I think so.
That's no
Drive-In
Sunday
Hunger like
drive.
campaign?
And
I
really
think
and
so.
truly, you're at the mercy of everybody around you. If the guy in front of you should happen to have to lift a little bit for a car in front of him, it's an accordion effect. And that's the thing about pack racing. You know you're vulnerable the whole time you're up in the middle of that pack.
Yeah, our top 25 drivers right now separated by less than 2 seconds, as you said, Mike, over 190 miles per hour.
Michael Waltrip has won this race twice. In fact, he's the last repeat winner of the 500. We've had
Wow.
different winners
Right.
all
At
these
that
last
point,
10 years. Michael, how
At that point,
tense
Michael
is
Waltrip
this
was
kind
the
of
only
racing right
repeat
now
winner to
as
500
Trevor
in
Bayne
this
returns
race.
to the racetrack?
It's just so hard to sit there and be patient.
Oh, wait, no, he's not even in this
threw
race.
a green flag. These guys have been
Okay,
sitting there for
because I hear him
24 hours
talking.
wanting to race, and we saw a mistake by Elliott Sadler. I know Elliott's heart, and I know he's hurting for what he caused, but that's how tense it is. You want to go, but then you're so excited about the opportunity to go, and you overdo it. And that's what happened on that first crash. Now you see these guys, they're being patient, they're riding in line, they're not pushing on one another, but they're also learning. They're seeing what
Hamlin
the
had
temperatures
no
will
clue
do.
he'd
That's an
eventually
issue.
become a
They're seeing how
three-time winner.
close they can get to the car in front of them and not
you know what
overheat
the
their
record
engine.
is
So
for the
there's a
most
lot going on in the
Daytona
driver's head right now, trying to figure out how to get himself ready
Chat,
to
it's
race
good
for the
trivia
checkered
for you.
flag.
Michael, if
Find
you were out
out
there right
who
now,
is
would
the
you want to be in that inside line, or would
the
you like
most
to be
winningest
up on that
Daytona
outside
500
line?
driver.
Is
It might be
there
Richard
a
Petty.
safer place to be, the one and the other?
Well, I think with this
you said
pack
3
here, it's
times, and I'm like, well, that
pretty
sounds
calm,
pretty
so
good.
place, but
I think it
what
might
I'd
be
like
Richard
to
Petty.
do is see what the difference is in the two lines. How my
Oh, they said Michael Waltrip DNQ'd that
depending on which line
Oh,
I'm in.
you know
So
what? I think I
that's
remember
what
him
I'm saying. They're
DNQing
going to
now.
school right
Now I think
now.
about it.
Denny Hamlin's at the head of the class. He doesn't have any worries at all. Biffle's
7,
concerned because
Richard
he's
Petty.
up on the
Okay.
outside,
That's who it
but
was.
yet he can't make any ground. He's able to hang right
Yeah, I
there
don't
on
think
Warrior,
anyone
but
will
that's as
touch
far as
that.
he can make
Yeah.
it. So he also knows
What, is
if the
Denny
car
probably the
behind him would just
closest
give him a
at
push,
3?
they could go. But
We
Jeff
have
Gordon isn't
current
ready to
people, I'd
push
say,
yet.
probably.
He doesn't want to get a hold of the back end.
I know Jeff
possibly
Gordon won
cause
3.
another problem.
Yeah, right now you're just hoping there are no rats in that pack.
Exactly, and a flat tire, we saw that with Ryan Newman. Just think, Darryl, in the middle of that pack, a flat tire, something that simple, you're going to wipe out 10 or 12 cars.
We've wiped out a few already. We'll
Sorry, our
come up on
cat's
the garage
making us
report
laugh. He's
when
over
we
there
come back.
playing a song.
This summer, G.I. Joe returns with Bruce Willis and Dwayne Johnson. When most of the Joes are eliminated, the team calls in an old friend. G.I. Joe Retaliation in theaters June
Gosh, I remember
29th.
the G.I. Joe movie. That was kind of odd.
The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Toyota, by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T.
Yeah, so
rethink
NFL,
possible.
they had their little dancing robot, and then NASCAR had their little dancing gopher.
Oh, that's cute.
And by G.I. Joe Retaliation in theaters everywhere, June 29th. The Daytona 500 has a new leader, and the race pace has picked up. Get closer to your favorite driver's performance through every turn and
New
every
leader,
pit stop with the all-new
Jeff
Race
Burton.
360.
All right, update on
Available
some
now
football. Chiefs are up
NASCAR.com.
14-9. with
Jeff Burton, the
8:39
veteran from South Boston,
Who do you guys
Virginia,
think will play the
driving a
Buccaneers in
Chevy
the
for
Super Bowl?
Richard
The
Childress.
Chiefs or the Bills?
Or
He
who
and
do you
Greg
want?
Biffle got together on
Because
the
for me,
outside and
who
went
will,
all the way
or
to
more
the
probable, I
front.
think, the
Yeah,
Chiefs.
pretty
Who do I
much
want?
everybody
Probably
knows
the
that
Bills.
16 car Greg
That'd be
Biffle
a
is
unique
fast.
Super Bowl
He
right
he
there.
won
Bills
both
versus
practices.
Buccaneers.
I know.
Qualified
I
in
think
the
that's
front
why I'm
row.
wanting
And
it,
when Burton
because
saw
I
him
always.
coming, he said,
But like
man,
when
this is
my
the guy I want to
driver
go
or
with.
my
So he
team,
jumped out there
whatever,
and
is
went with him,
not
and it took him right
not
to
in
the
the
lead.
running, I always pull
So
for like an
here we see
underdog.
Well,
the
the last
two-driver
time that
tandem in the
the
outside
Buccaneers were in the
lane,
Super Bowl,
racing against the
I rooted for them because
And
the
it's
Titans
quicker
almost
than
made it to
the
the Super
pack,
Bowl that year.
but
too.
they can only do that kind of racing
that was,
here for so long with the new rules package.
But you know, one of the things I think they're also experimenting
either way-
with
That's
right
been
now,
the last
like we
time Buccaneers
see,
been to the
who
Super
can
Bowl?
I get
Yeah.
behind and push?
But
If we can
so the
make some time on
Buccaneers
that outside.
ended up playing the
partner,
Oakland
obviously,
Raiders
Biffle
because
and,
the Raiders
Burton
beat the
did it.
Titans in the
Now
AFC
you got Jeff
Championship.
Gordon sitting back
So
there.
I obviously didn't want to see the
44
Raiders win.
200
Right,
laps
because
complete,
they-
two
who won
caution
that year?
flags
The
early.
Buccaneers.
A 5-car wreck sent Jimmy Johnson, Danica Patrick, Trevor Bayne, and David Reagan and Kurt Busch to the garage.
But that was, you know,
A
even
single
still
car
now look
spin
back at on
by
it.
Ryan
The
Newman
last time Buccaneers
put
were
us
in the
under
Super
the
Bowl, they
second
played a
caution
unique team.
flag.
When would you think the Raiders
We've
were in the
had
Super Bowl?
Denny Hamlin at the front for the most laps.
I mean, the
Five different
Chiefs
leaders,
haven't been
6
like
lead
real
changes.
dominant like
Hamlin
for
led 24
years.
of
Not
them.
like, you know, how
Now
the
Jeff Burton to the
Patriots
front.
have been like the team to beat.
They
you
ran
know?
nose to tail,
Yeah.
Larry,
Tom
one
Brady was
pushing
on
the
the
other, but they
But
can't do
you know,
that
the
for long.
Chiefs are fairly good, but I feel like
All the rule changes
they're
that
becoming the
NASCAR
new
made with the
Patriots.
cooling. You can only do it
Taylor
for about
Beatty
a lap
asked,
or
am I
so,
going to
and
be
then
at the
you've got
national
gauges
races
that
in
will
June?
start flashing at you.
We will.
He
We
didn't
got our
like the
tickets
passenger
bought the
car.
day they
You know,
went on
then
sale.
You've got to get air to that radiator.
When that 11 car
We're sitting
when
in
the
section,
Jeff Gordon in the 24, they were closing
honestly
down on
don't
the
know.
11 car.
We're near
really
the
fast.
start finish line, I think.
Anybody
Start
else may
finish
have
line
gone up
and the
and
upper
bammed
section.
into him and tried to push him.
Yeah,
but Jeff
I've
Gordon
I've already been out to Nashville Super Speedway. I was invited over there by their marketing manager to check out some things over there, and I got to see the view from the top section, and it's a pretty cool view up the top of those grandstands they got. A lot of flat, open land out there, so you can see a lot of land as well as the racing going on.
500 finish, second in 2000.
Top three of Burton, Biffle, and Menard. All three of those guys are
The
on
Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Coca-Cola. The Polar Bears invite you to open a little happiness this racing season.
Matty M says Brady is incredible, man. Takes the Bucks to the Super Bowl first season. Yeah,
I'm honestly surprised at that.
I'm kind of surprised that investment worked, actually. But you know what? They got their money out of it, I think. And not even just that, they're playing the Super Bowl in their own stadium, as we mentioned earlier.
In the 54th running of the Daytona 500.
How cool would it be to be like a Buccaneers fan? It's like your team's like been like, man, and then all of a sudden you're like the Buccaneers are in the Super Bowl, your team's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and how cool would that be?
Like, I know Florida's a lot more opened up compared to some states, so I'm sure it'll be a very limited capacity for the Super Bowl. But you have to imagine it's going to be a ton of Buccaneers fans there, and the bars and restaurants are going to be packed, I'm sure, as much as they can.
Right. Imagine like if the Titans were ever able to hold the Super Bowl and they'd be hosting it and they'd be playing it. Oh my gosh, that would be.
Yeah. I don't know if Nashville could hold a Super Bowl because they require it to be like a certain weather, which is weird because they got no. Like your AFC championship, your NFC championship, they could be played wherever. Like in Green Bay, it's 27 degrees.
I was gonna say that. I actually did I graduated. Well, both Danny and I graduated with like a hospitality degree, and in one of my classes it was a
But I love Denny Hamlin's attitude.
No, it was some kind of tourism class, and so I had to do a research paper on sports tourism, and I specifically picked like football / the Super Bowl. And there was I didn't realize there was all these like regulations. In terms of you have to have so much seating, like a certain, like you have to have a capacity, a certain weather. But like you said, it made no sense because they play games, up north that, specifically Green Bay doesn't have an indoor facility, and they're playing out in 20 degrees, snowing, whatever weather. But yeah, for the Super Bowl, it has to be above certain degrees. I can't remember what it was, like 32 or something like that. Or have an indoor facility, which Nashville's never going to get an indoor facility.
No, I think Nashville's like, we got to stadium, it's good enough, we'll be fine.
I'm happy with it. I think maybe they could add more seating, like take out one of like their jumbotron screens and add like additional seating like on an end zone.
With somebody behind
I think it's a good size for what our team is.
I think another thing is a requirement is you have to have so many like hotels or something in the area to accommodate that many people.
Which I think I've heard. I think Nashville is pushing to try to get more hotels in, so maybe they could try to get a Super Bowl. Because Nashville has hosted a draft before, and that went over really good.
Yeah, they said that was the most attended draft I think ever.
Yeah.
Keep up with the track.
That was a crazy time.
The former July winner here at Daytona, his car, Jeff
and I was in car sales, and no one
was tight in the early going. He's been working with his ex-Roush straightaway teammate.
Well, I worked in catering, so we were down there in all that mess.
They've been working together on pit road. They should pit together in about 3 laps, Mike, taking on 4
and now that we're in COVID time, they'd give anything to have that mess back.
Two drivers are more running together that they are, so that's one reason you also want to partner when you come to pit road to make a pit stop where he can leave pit road with you.
Super Bowl at Bristol Motor Speedway. Now that would be awesome.
Wow.
But someone said you got to have the hotels, and there ain't the hotels there. They'd have to try to depend on Knoxville, and that wouldn't be enough either.
No. But I do have to say, from actually experiencing watching a football game there, it sucks. You can't hardly see anything.
Yeah.
Because the infield is so large compared to the size of a football field.
I'm glad that we went to that because I don't think they'll ever do it again.
No, I mean, we said in turn, what, 3 and 4? Is that like between 3 and 4?
So easy to run over.
Wall trip section?
Well, we were like right in turn 3, I think. So.
I can't really remember. But, you have like the banking and then there's that little... the media center, I guess, is that on that end, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking past that, and then to like where the haulers park. So it was really small. But if you were sitting on the back stretch or the front stretch, I feel like the view would be better. Like if you were more centered with where the field was. But we were, having a student ticket, so obviously not the best view.
Yeah.
We found it. Well, at least I did. I found myself looking more at the screen than I did actually watching the game.
Yeah, I am glad they built Colossus so big because he really needed it.
Jamie McMurray
when like they were kicking a field goal, I could see. I'm like, okay, I'm about to watch a field goal. But when they like snapped the ball to the quarterback, I would look at the screen. I'm like, okay, what's about to happen? Because I couldn't really see anything.
I could still tell a few times when like Kamara was running a big run, got a touchdown.
Yeah, okay. Or if you could see like a touchdown, so then I would say, okay, looks like we're gonna score. Okay, look down. You know.
Yeah. Behind the lead pack.
Yeah, that's the backpack.
But that would be cool, or some kind of big event at Bristol again.
I know Tennessee football's had their ups and downs,
Joey Logano,
and
Martin
you know, we've lost. We've had coaches come and go, but my 4 years were with Butch Jones, and I still say he was the best coach that we've had since Phil Fulmer left. And honestly, I kind of wish that we never got rid of him. I think he just lost so much talent that last year. We didn't win a single game in the SEC. And I just wish that we had gave him one more year. You know, it is what it is. Tennessee football fans just expect perfection.
David Ruderman and Ricky Stenhouse also stopped.
Have you seen Bristol with all the dirt on it?
I have seen a few videos of what it looks like, and it looks like it's going to be amazing.
We're going.
Yeah, we're going.
Regan.
I don't know if it's going to be a good race, but I don't care. That's just such a unique experience, you know.
I agree with this person's comment. Early 2010s Fox graphics are better than current Fox graphics. And you see them right there. Like, this looks really good.
Yeah.
Really professional looking.
No chassis adjustments for Burton. Solid stop so far. His drafting teammate, Biffle, is away as well. Same time.
Eric Almirola also stopped, as did Elliott Sadler.
And Larry, we haven't heard a lot about heating problems. I guess the cool air of the evening running at night, that's really helped these guys keep these engines a little cooler than what we saw in the qualifying races.
We're about 20 degrees cooler.
A big lockup for Dave Blaney in that yellow number 36. Jeff Gordon, Blaney, Casey Kane, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. pitting. Dick.
Jeff Gordon has said that he has been running this race wide open and can't make forward progress.
The year before, he was
number
a Red
24
Bull.
car,
The year
a brand
before
new
that,
car,
he was
simply does not have the speed that this three-time champion
So he
is
was
looking
Red Bull
for.
number 4 the year before.
There's only one car that
Red
has
Bull's
not
gone
stopped.
in
It is the
2012.
14 on the left of your
And
screen
then
of
he
Tony
was with,
Stewart, who I'm
Ray
hearing missed
Abraham,
pit road the last time by.
Richard Petty in number 9.
Mike, an issue you mentioned it for Tony Stewart. He was blocked accidentally by the 18 of Kyle Busch. He could not get down. He had planned to pit the lap before. He's got it locked down to 55 miles an hour. As you can see the replay, he was going to pit with a 24. He could not get the car down to the bottom in time and get down to the brakes.
Wow.
Stewart is now in now, Mike. Going to make an air pressure change and also a chassis
I've never seen this race. I hope that red 42 wins.
Escondido, California's got the first can of fuel in.
I'm sure you've never seen this.
And the account's name is Dang It Danny.
Huh?
The account's name is Dang It Danny.
Oh, that's funny.
4 tires, Sunoco Green E15. And Stewart's away, but he leaves the road by himself. And no single car is as fast as the pack drafting along. Tony Stewart's got some work to do. Danica Patrick's car close to returning to the racetrack. 60 laps complete in the Daytona 500 on Fox.
Well, I didn't get why they even tried so hard to get her back out there. Because she wasn't even running full time for points.
Well, what they said earlier, if you were listening,
Chevy today.
they said for experience and trying to get the team's
Come in today and test drive.
Oh, you know what? I forget what happened that year. Tommy Baldwin Racing technically entered a 10-car races that she wasn't in. So the 10-car did run all season, but it wasn't always Stuart Haas car.
Gotcha.
Welcome back to the Daytona 500, where we're under caution for the third
But I
time
think,
tonight.
I think they're more worried.
Debris in turn number 2 causes the yellow flag.
Since it was so early in the race, it's like, well, why not just like pack up and go home?
Stops. Jeff Burton had reassumed the lead.
Debris.
That debris has now slid down off the racing surface. Burton leading. Greg Biffle. And Landon Castle gets the first free pass of the night.
Has got a touchdown.
First car 1 lap down. So he will be able to drive around the pace car and pick up the tail end of the lead
Coleman said,
lap.
I've never seen a car in a garage that had more coverage than this one.
Larry, how's this going to affect halfway, buddy? I mean, that's got to be on your mind. You got $200,000 coming up at halfway. Is this going to play
Bearded
in
Jock
anybody's hands
Podcast
right
says, "Hey Danny B, as a fellow VFL like myself, what do you think of the Vols' new athletic director? I think that was a good hire. I've heard rumors that Tony Elliott from Clemson could potentially have the job for coach if he wants it. And I mean, I'm not really as familiar with him. I mean, he's had experience with Clemson, so that's good. But then again, Pruitt had experience with Alabama, so I don't know. I wish it was possible just to go get a coach who's proven that he can do it. You know, instead of getting an assistant coach.
So they've got that learning curve of trying to
when we first got Lane Kiffin. I mean, he had been a coach in the NFL, so he had proven. So he proven, you know, he can. He proved he can be a head coach.
Only the third
we got Butch Jones from Cincinnati, who was their head coach.
Had 2 top 10,
and I feel like he did
top 15 finishes.
Really good.
Right.
I wish we could find someone who's not an assistant.
Right.
But I understand at this point, after paying Butch Jones' buyout, we've been paying Pruitt, prepared to pay Pruitt.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. saying his car is handling
I feel like
very
that should be.
well. Described it
I
as
feel like maybe they
neutral.
should just
Regan
try
Smith in
to
as
bite the
well.
bullet and pay for someone good if they can.
Like Jeff Fisher.
A lot of gas and glow stops here.
I think Jeff Fisher was a great coach for the Titans back in the day. Obviously, the only coach who took the Titans to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's
can't go over that line right
quite
there.
the coach he used to be.
You got to go back. You see the inspector telling him, push back.
What's that?
And looks like a little overheating there.
Oh, he overheated, but the steam would come out like water.
No, it looked like there was like trash or something sitting on the hood.
It was like a
The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Ford, proud sponsor of NASCAR.
Yeah, that was his little girlfriend. I forget her name.
I don't know if you're aware of it, but it's quite a bit of pay at halfway. I'll keep you posted on that. But I just think they'll get pretty stupid around halfway.
Yeah, that guy from Clemson, what did you say his name was?
$200,000 is the midway payday for the driver that leads the halfway lap. That is coming.
I think it's just the fact that people are like, oh, we should get Hugh Freeze, we should get this person, that person, bring Lane back. You know, they want someone like that. And they're like, here's Tony Elliott.
Every driver out there should be able to make it on field. The only one I question
is how Vols fans are. If it was up to Vols fans, they'd be like, we're going straight to Tuscaloosa, and we're giving Saban a blank check to go ahead and leave.
I mean, that's a lot of money. A lot of races
what if we had the money? Do you think, like, if he was offered enough money, do you think he'd ever leave Alabama?
Kyle Busch in the 18 behind
if he was offered enough money, I think he'd entertain the idea.
Joey Logano. It's 3 Toyotas lined up on the inside.
I feel like at some point he's got to wonder to himself, could I do this if any other team?
And Marcus Ambrose in that 9, he's been so strong the entire speed.
I would love to see it, like kind of how like Tom Brady, made his career with the Patriots and then
Larry, we were
I would love to see like him having so much success with him and then going to like a smaller school.
Then again, Saban was coach of LSU for
he came in the pits. He was having some sort of an issue.
And then he was coach
and you see here,
an NFL.
They're circulating some water through the thing over on the left side over there. The guys that got a water hose, putting water in his car, trying to cool it back down.
It's a pressurized system, and what they've done, Steve, it looks like they've tried to get that water out and get that system back full.
And Larry Mack, here's what Matt Kenseth described it as. He says it's like the water system won't pressurize. The water temperatures are fluctuating wildly for him. Just another issue. He's having some radio problems.
A lot of times they shoot out steam. I was just shooting straight water out.
I know. I've never seen that.
It off. It doesn't have any water in it.
Is that kind of like when Denny Hamlin overheated at the championship? They just threw, when they threw the tape on it and just was steaming. So essentially, that's the same.
Kenseth's still on the lead lap, but not with the lead.
That's something I forgot about this race, was Kenseth having that kind of issue.
See, I had a Clip Boy on the 15. What race was it where him and like Biff Gordon had a big fight?
Phoenix of 2012.
Okay, so it was this season.
Probably the biggest surprise of the evening for me, Mike, has been how bunched up these cars have stayed. I really anticipated things getting stretched out a little bit more than they have. But the caution of
Did you see the new commercial Fox came out with? With the elevator?
Everybody's able to hang together.
I just hope that they don't shoved that too much down everyone's throat. Like, did you know these two were rivals at one point? Did you notice Jeff and Clint didn't like each other? I'm Mike Joy. I'm here to tell you, these two, they got some hostility in the workplace here. I don't want to be pushed at all year, Fox.
Steering wheel might be off a little bit.
Oh, they got Danica back up there.
I'll let you know if something feels really weird.
She is 62 laps down.
Then Mike Joy's like, I'm here to break this up. These kids.
Settle down, you two. I don't want to have to tell you two again.
She had so much confidence coming into Daytona. This has been her best racetrack.
I'm interested to see him in Club Boy in the booth. Because I feel like
marked is a good place to get a great finish.
Their chemistry that they had during the Pro Invitational races was really good.
See, I feel like Mike Joy seems to be pretty calm and collected. So does Jeff Gordon. And then DW was like the goofball and like would say funny stuff.
But when they lost him,
it just kind of became stale.
Just Jeff and Mike was boring.
It just became kind of stale. And now you've got Clint Boyer, which is, very energetic.
And this is
I want to see how he.
But I'm scared that Fox is going to have him on a leash too much, and he won't be able to be himself.
Kind of police what he says.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to. He can't just be bleep, 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 bleep.
It's like we're at Daytona, Big Rack was, oh boy!
Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to be surprised if that happens.
His way toward the front of the inside line, led by Greg Biffle.
And the changes that were made.
But Clint's had some experience broadcasting. They put him in there for Xfinity races before.
You just can't push for 10 or 15 or all day.
Clint can be wild, but I feel like he does have that switch where he can become, professional. We all have that really deep down.
Here's a question. Who are the nicest drivers you and Claudia have met?
Nicest drivers we've met.
Well, you've had more experience, like more talking to them, like on your podcast.
Yeah.
Some drivers. Now, in terms of me, I only get them to sign a diecast and they run off. So,
baseball right around the corner.
Ross,
so you would probably have more of an answer for that.
Ross Chastain is pretty nice. I've met him quite a few times now at this point around the garage area on the podcast. He's a pretty nice guy.
Lead the Toyotas of Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer, and Joey Logano.
You talked to Tyler Reddick, William Byron.
We were talking with Corey LaJoy.
Let's take an inside look at what's happening in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, brought to you by.
He seems like very
He's very chill.
That's what I was going to say.
He don't even seem like a driver, honestly.
No. Well, the thing is, I think it was funny one time. I think it was the Bristol night race of 2019. When y'all were at that pole position, NASCAR pole position 10, and here comes Corey LaJoy, like just in a jeans and a pullover and a hat and sunglasses, and you wouldn't even know he's a driver, just walking around like so chill. I like people like that don't seem too like big-headed,
Denny Hamlin, Greg Biffle, Marcus Ambrose, Jeff Gordon.
Did you see the pictures of Corey LaJoy's car outside of their shop?
I did. I didn't realize that was the same shop that
Cool.
Yes.
And oddly enough, it was the 7 car, and it was like a white and orange number 7. And then with Schluter Systems colors, it's another white and orange number 7.
Get up that close to the front.
He's just looking for more speed. I think he has pretty good speed. He's just looking for more. And looking at Martin Truex Jr. in that 56 car, I know we've got 22
Real quick, I see we got 187 people tuning in for this one. Appreciate y'all being here. Make sure you leave a like on the stream. It helps promote it out to other people who enjoy it.
Last year, 2011.
Lick the like button.
Yeah, lick the like button. Time is flying by. We're at 79 of 200 laps so far.
Truex the leader. His closest teammate, Clint Boyer.
We had one big crash at the beginning and then pretty calm after that.
Within sight of the lead, 4 cars back on the inside lane. That's Jeff Gordon, the 24. And the 55
here comes my saddest part of this
new
race.
Teammate at MWR.
I would say Martin is lurking. He just kind of lurks around.
I don't know what that means.
I won't hear a whole lot about him for a while.
He's just saying that, you really don't.
53-year-old Martin, his 30th year in Sprint Cup. We know how close he came in 2007 to winning the 500. Barely got beat back to the line by Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, I guess off of turn 4, he had it and he lost it. He had it and he lost it.
Yeah, he's going to join us
53
on Jared's channel on
and
Wednesday
in
night.
better personal shape, physical shape.
At least
than
we're
most
hoping
33-year-olds.
everything still works out, but we should have Mark on with us for the podcast season 4 debut.
Brad Keselowski in the Blue Deuce in 12th place. He's the leading Dodge Charger in this race as we are 20 laps to halfway.
Does Jarrett have like an outline for the podcast, or y'all gonna just
Jeff Gordon wave out the window.
Oh, this is why.
Oh,
Jeff Gordon Chevrolet.
Engine just blew all to pieces.
We're blowing up, guys.
Did you hear what I said?
Three-time
I said, does
Daytona
Jared have like an outline, or are you
winner.
going to talk like more like
Jeff
off season?
Gordon has brought out the
I think we'll talk.
flag of the
We'll
night
talk
at
with Mark
lap
for a little bit.
81.
You know, and maybe get his opinions on some of the stuff from the off season.
I saw that hand
And
out
then
the
next
window,
week will
Daryl.
be
The
more
signal
like
the drivers
Daytona
behind.
focused.
Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to talk with Mark. Obviously, he used to drive the 5 car. See what he thinks about Larson going to the 5 car.
I have no idea where that came from.
You know, it's the second guy we've heard talk about maybe the gauge is not working right. When a car sets overnight,
Okay, let's see what happens.
sometimes they get a lot of moisture in the gauges and in the whole system, and the gauges may have malfunctioned.
So Jeff knew something was going on, and he goes up high because he don't want anyone to wreck. And he's waving out the window, like, go around, something bad's happening.
It's like, you don't want to get caught up in my mouth.
Tony's like, oh, I'll go with you. Oh, no, I will not go with you.
200th win here this weekend, and
that's kind of nice that he knew. Well, I mean, you don't
Jimmy
always know what's
Johnson's
going to
not
happen,
going
but
to
it's nice. He's
deliver
like,
it.
go.
He had enough of a warning where he made sure to get everyone out of the way. Because that would be the worst feeling, though. Like, my engine's blowing up and you're about to crash everyone behind you.
Follow him. He thought Jeff Gordon was just moving up, and then he realized what was going on as he saw Jeff waving that hand out the window.
While we're speaking of Rick Hendrick, the Fox team would really like to send out a great gratitude of thank you, Rick, for what you did for all the Fox team this past week. Everybody really, really appreciated your handout, and it was great.
What did he do? What did Rick Hendrick do to the Fox team? DW, what did he do? Why are you thanking him?
Tony Raines will receive the free pass on
Just
this.
like, thank you for what you did. Did he give you all money? What did he do?
Posts around to the garage area.
The big question, would that halfway money change strategy at this point of the race? Everyone's going to make a pit stop, but Steve, I think we may see guys really doing something to get off pit road in a hurry.
Bonus points.
Exactly right, Larry Mack. Fuel only for Martin Truex Jr., the leader. Crew chief Chad Johnston saying, don't slide your tires. Don't slide. Krista?
Steve, that's the same request for Greg Biffle. Don't slide your tires. And also, the driver wants his car freed up just a little bit. Matt?
Yeah, that was a pretty
Still
one.
debate on what to do for Kyle Busch. They are going to go ahead and change right side tires only. They're debating, Dick, whether to go fuel only or tires. They went tires.
Joey Logano also told not to slide his tires. He's got new voices in his ear, new crew chief, and a new spotter, and he's run very well in this race so far.
The race off pit road, won by Greg Biffle, Marcus Ambrose.
Greg Biffle's dominated a lot of this race.
Drops
I think.
2 spots.
Top most of the entire day. Been on that bridge.
Yeah. I like to actually go to Daytona.
I know.
Tonight's aerial coverage
That's something I wish we would have
Goodyear.
done.
Everything we've learned making
Well,
tires for the
when will we
proving
have
grounds of
time?
NASCAR
You know,
inspires what we roll into yours.
we
Goodyear.
drove
Or
from
driven.
Nashville area down to Daytona on Thursday.
Under caution at
Spent the
Daytona.
night, woke up, went to the truck
Paul
race
Menard
that
heads for
day.
pit road. Terry Labonte stays
Went to the
out.
Xfinity
He is
race
the
the next
leader
day.
Yeah.
Went to
of the
the
race from Greg Biffle
500 on
and
Sunday, but it
Marcus
rained.
Ambrose.
So I mean, I guess you know,
Go
well,
back
we.
to green in a lap or so.
I was gonna say,
March
like,
9th,
we
the
took
Ultimate
Jared Darian to
Fighter
the
appears
airport in
live
Jacksonville.
only on FX as it makes
But
its debut
if
on its new home.
we didn't take them,
32
we
contenders
probably would
face
have went
off
that
in a
morning.
special
Probably.
2-hour premiere
But
event.
not that
The
that was a
Ultimate
big
Fighter
deal.
now live.
We might go in the
beginning
game
March
one
9th
day.
at 9 p.m.
Next time we go, I
Only on
definitely want
FX.
to carve out a day to go to the beach.
But as I was telling them, like, Jarrett and Darian from the podcast, they are going to Daytona 500.
I know a couple other your YouTube friends are going.
Jarrett and Darian are going. They're going to like a few others, like Jake Baskinger, Sloppy Joe, MDK, I think. I can't remember if Slap is going. I think Rusty was going to go, but somehow he couldn't go.
On Facebook. Joined by
Eric
March
is not
30th and with a
going.
chance to win Dale's fire suit that
I
he's
can't remember
wearing
who's
right
going.
there in that shot in the Daytona
maybe
500.
I can't remember
Get the
who else
Duke
is
Crew
going.
app now, only on Facebook.
But we are
Man,
not going
look at those
500.
So look for the crew. They'll probably all be hanging out together.
You know
Yeah.
why they're that way?
We're not going to
So when he
500.
gets
Our
that
first
hand
race
up,
we're
buddy,
going to be
somebody,
Dirt
you're
Bristol.
You're going to see that. You're going to notice
Yep,
that.
most likely.
So if you're going to be at Dirt Bristol, if you got a ticket for it before they sold out, and you see us, feel free to say hello.
15 laps to halfway.
Or Nashville.
Jeff Gordon,
Or
three-time
Nashville, yeah.
champion
And then
of the
I think we
500
might
in the garage,
plan on
out
some
of the
later this
race,
year.
Yeah.
engine trouble.
just feel like that Jeff thinks it's something in the gauge package. His water pressure or his water temperature didn't give him the indication he needed to save that engine.
Hendrick Motorsports has about 8 engines.
Yeah, Fusion S, Harvick and the Black Bud car does hit
only
different.
The second time in 54
but also I
years,
remember it being sad from 2011 when that car passed Dell Jr. at Martinsville, and then also passed Dell Jr. in the Coke 600.
The white and red machine of Greg Biffle are going to lead them down to the green flag. Get your hand on the volume knob because we're going to crank it up for you. Greg Biffle, the leader. Right behind him, Terry Labonte from Corpus Christi, Texas, 2-time Sprint Cup champion in that silver car.
Yeah, I'm just
30 Daytona 500 starts.
I don't have a comfy chair like
only
you.
Dave Marcus and Richard Petty, trying to win it for the first time.
And Mike, you know, a lot of guys downplayed that halfway money. I'm not really worried about that. I'm thinking about the big prize. We're going to find out how much truth there was in those statements because these guys are getting ready to turn the wick up with 10 laps to go to get the
Fortin
money.
says, Danny B talks if there was a red flag in this race, what is it? I think someone said around 40 to go.
Whoa! Off the bumper of Marcus Ambrose, and caution is out.
He's going to save it.
Yeah, he saved it.
Barely got him right in that
he's right in the mud, though. That sucks.
And the rains that have plagued Daytona Beach for the last few days have captured.
His tires are flat too, and he's in the mud. He's just digging it in there. Look at it.
Out of the mud.
Like, you're right there.
Is it nowadays like if you get on like the toe, like you're done?
Number 32 gets down on that left side, and
I think so.
But like that situation, you wouldn't be done.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Fortunately, that runoff area is paved, and Labonte, look at the car control as he tries to keep that thing away from the wall and ends up in the ground.
There's a number of things that have been done to these cars that have really helped them. That big fin on the across the deck lid, that really helps. Certainly this paved, all this area being paved now, that's very helpful, saves a car and a driver.
Now, before this happened, wondering if Frank Stoddard had positioned Labonte at the front after pit stops to go for that halfway cash.
Terry, we're going to have about 15 to go to the halfway. What's your thoughts about staying? Oh, boy. That's a good way to get wrecked, probably.
That was pretty smart. He called that one.
Yeah, Darryl, he had been out there about 20 laps on his tires. He did not even pit that last time.
But seeing this is a Labonte brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which one drove the Kellogg's
car? Stay out and do not pit. Even
that's
though pit
him.
road
Yes.
is open, Steve Burns.
Bobby was 18
Jeff Gordon
interstate.
down in the garage, Mike, and Jeff, I saw you debriefing with some of the key
Some of them funny.
engine
You know
personnel
that
at Hendrick
NASCAR game I was
Motorsports. Do you
given?
guys, have you diagnosed
That's
the issue?
is that the smallest diecast? The little Kellogg's
Ultimately,
one
it
that's
broke
like
the
this
crank
big?
roll. We're trying to figure out what caused that. Yeah, it's pretty strange. You know, we've gone through so much
I think that's so funny. It's like
reliability
so
testing
small.
that if we had seen some high temps or some high water pressure, then, you know, I would have kind of expected some of this to happen. But I was actually seeing surprisingly low temps and low pressure. So I don't know, maybe something was off there. But, boy, it's a shame. Our Drive to End Hunger Chevrolet was really strong. You know, we were just biding our time and being patient and working with guys. Every once in a while we could get up there to the front. But we weren't really even trying at that time. You know, you're racing out there, but in order to actually make a big move to get to the lead, you have to push, and then you do take a risk at getting the temps up.
I didn't
so
realize
it
that's
just wasn't
true.
time to do that.
Odd coincidence
we were in a
that
great
both
position, great pit
Labontes,
stop
Terry
there.
and Bobby,
and just got
finished
to
their
thank
careers
Drive to End
driving
Hunger
that
for everything that they do for all
That's
the
funny.
older Americans that are dealing with hunger issues. Thank DuPont, thank Pepsi Max, and Chevrolet, all of our sponsors. This is not the way we wanted to start the season or the Daytona 500. So we'll go on to Phoenix.
We'll see you there. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Elliott Sadler having a long stay on pit road. And there is the front of Marcus Ambrose's car, and you see a little smush from some contact. Perhaps that's the contact with Terry Labonte.
Well, and you know, Labonte stayed out. He was
2012
on older
was
tires.
brutal
And
as
if
a
you're coming
Gordon
up off
fan.
that
Yeah,
corner and you
I
happen
kind
to
of
have
remember
to
that wasn't
squeeze
too
up
good
out
of
of
a
the
year
throttle
for
a
him.
little bit, the guy behind you can easily make contact with you. That may have been what happened.
Yeah, during our last commercial break, Dick Bergman was telling me that Elliott
Can't be
Sadler in
tired
the
yet.
33
I know,
was
we've
fighting
got
some
plenty
fuel
of
pressure issues.
He is
This
back on the
race
racetrack.
right here,
At the bottom of your
remember
screen, the
finished
9
up
of
at, like,
Ambrose.
1:32 something in the morning.
Goodness.
I was tired when this was over.
I mean, I know
I
that
feel
the
like
9
the
has
latest
made
race
contact
I've
with the
watched
32, but I'm not
was
sure that's what
Darlington,
started the 32
when
around.
Eric Jones won. What was that, 29?
All right, we'll see what else we can
19,
find.
no,
Labonte is back on right there. That is not.
Wait,
No,
no.
it was
That looks
2019.
like
Because I was going to say,
Did a
like,
tire
you
rub or
lived
something
here,
on
but
Ambrose?
we weren't married
But that's
together.
Yeah, it was
from the silver car of
2019.
Labonte.
Because me and
I
you
think
were
that
watching
happened when he was
it
going
here
by
at
Labonte,
what
possibly. I
would
don't
be
know,
our
but
house.
Yeah.
just from that shot we
And
saw
I
there,
fell
there seemed
asleep
to
on
be
the
a gap
couch.
between he and
And then I remember you waking me up as like, it's a white flag. Look,
10 laps
look.
to
And I'm like,
halfway.
Cool.
And we'll get the
I was like,
restart
I want to
green
go back
next
to bed.
time
No, you
by.
need to go home.
If the halfway
'cause you didn't
lap
live here yet.
is
No, I
run
didn't.
under green, $200,000. If we
But I
happen to
remember
be
you
under
woke me
caution,
up like 1 or
then
2
the
to
fifth
go. But that was
consecutive
the latest
green
I
flag
remember
lap
watching a race. It
after
was like
halfway
midnight or 1.
will determine the winner of that $200,000 bonus. Octane Academy is on Fuel TV. Check your local listings.
What?
Danny talks. Can you carry your cat like if he was your baby again?
With the $200,000 prize.
If he's even
Oh,
around.
yeah, he's right here.
Not many heat races.
Bring me my child.
No, I did not.
You know, in 1990, when Derek Cope won the Daytona 500, he and his Bob Whitcomb team didn't bank $200,000 for winning the race.
Oh, in 1989, I won $175,000, and I had to run 200 laps. So this is a big, big bonus.
He's like, what? I was sleeping.
You watching the race?
Getting set for the restart, Biffle and Ambrose. All NASCAR restarts in their top 3
His
national
favorite
series
driver is
are
Chase
double
Elliott.
file. The leader gets his choice of inside.
I root for the
outside
cat
lane,
car. Go
and everyone else
Burton!
Oh, is he really the cat
lines up
car in
in
this?
fast second place car on the front row, and then everyone else
Normally,
inside, outside in order.
Go what? Tyler
Is it
Reddick?
just a coincidence, or $200,000 at stake here in a lap or 2, 5, 10, whatever it is? The
We don't
18
adopt
car all of a
cats. Cats
sudden
adopt you.
is in the picture.
Pretty much.
I was just going to
This
say,
cat
that's the
loves me.
driver I want
I was
to
saying,
watch. Kyle Busch in that 18.
you just became liking this
When they
cat
take
like
the green, it'll be
what, last
9
year.
laps to the $200,000 midnight
I've had
payday.
like the shows was my
500.
family cat from 2011. Hey, so you were alive when this race happened. Okay, anyway, 2011, and then when we got married, I took him from my parents' house, and he came here.
I'm surprised how chilly it is so far.
I know.
Trying to come up the middle, Casey Kane in that number 5.
3 wide.
Trying to force the issue right down the center.
He's getting help from his teammate.
It's funny that Junior car looks like the package of Diet Mountain Dew now.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a good job of
And
reflecting
Junior
the
leaves
brand on
Kane.
that one.
He's still coming.
Danny B talks. The cat or NASCAR?
Right there on his spoiler and pulls up DeMarcus Ambrose.
NASCAR, I guess.
But how about Matt
Okay,
Kenseth
you don't
17?
deserve
It wasn't
him.
that long ago that he was on pit road with them putting water in his race car.
I'm way more of a cat person than he is.
Just like
but
his
he's
daddy. When it
grown
comes
to love
down
the
these
cat.
little sprint things here for a lot of money, he gets in the hunt.
Kenseth now, his 17, the man in the middle, Junior on the outside. You're riding with Dale Jr. There goes Keselowski in the
Can we see Danny B diecast collection?
And
Do you want to be do an Eric Estep video?
Yeah, one day
It's
we'll
like
do
Dale
that.
Jr. threw the anchor out.
Well, Kyle Busch did that. If you just make the wrong move,
That'd be a
somebody's
fun
there to
video
close
to
that
do.
hole up and leave you hanging.
What are you doing?
Letting him lay down.
Okay, well, I don't think he likes that.
Jeff Burton on the bottom with Mark Martin in the
Stop.
I had to scratch
55.
myself.
Stewart,
That's why I'm
14 in the middle
Okay,
with Boyer,
no.
the 15.
No.
Here they
I don't
come.
think he
7
likes
laps
Okay, I'm
to
holding him. I
halfway.
got him. I got the little one.
The little one.
200 miles an hour. $200,000 7 laps from now. The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Dodge. Visit your local Dodge dealer today.
Is that like a little police digger?
Order the new $10 dinner box today.
Like a
By
mole or
DirecTV.
something,
If you call
whatever
yourself a
badge
sports
or
fan,
whatever
you've
it's
got to
called.
get DirecTV. And by Verizon 4G
I remember when you did that video on
America's
Digger.
fastest
Yeah, it took me
4G
forever to
network.
get it out because Fox could give me copyright.
3 laps to
So
halfway
didn't you
in
have
the
to sing
Daytona
it?
500.
Little
with a
Digger.
midway
I did.
$200,000
What's my
awaits.
favorite race
Will it be a
movie?
driver from the front of this
Days of
pack who's
Thunder.
in
No,
just pretty
Talladega
good race?
Nights.
Or will 2 drivers
Yes.
hook up in tandem to try
Yes.
to get to the front and
Like
steal
Days of
that
Thunder.
Days of
lead?
Thunder's
Just
too
about
slow
6
and too
miles
old
of
school.
racing
I
from
like
right now.
I like Stroker
You
Race.
see
It's
when you're in
pretty
the car,
good.
if you're
Did
in
we
the top
watch that
leading
one?
this race,
I can
the car in
rewatch
front,
it.
all
I
you
don't
see
know.
is
I feel like I
$200,000
watched one. I
flashing on the back
don't
of that
remember.
car. Can I get
We
around
watched some
him?
of it at
That's
your
the
house.
question.
When you lived in.
Mark Martin peeks out of line in the 55.
I'm trying to think.
Adam
2
Slurn has
laps to
entered the
halfway.
chat.
Biffle in command.
Or I like the movie Logan
Martin,
Lucky,
I
but
think
it's
in the
not really
55
racing
would love
related.
to
It
get
just
a-
happens
just
at a
has- it just
racetrack.
has NASCAR
something
in
with
it.
Martin Truex
Yeah.
Jr. in the
It's a
56,
NASCAR
his
driver.
teammate. And then you see Clint Boyer in the 15, another teammate.
I think, Larry, these guys have all seen the races down here from the 4th turn to the start-finish line. That's where most of the
Like you
passes
said,
have
I'm
been
surprised
made.
how chill
I
he
gotta
is.
believe these guys are sitting here waiting for that come to get
Like
the money
watching
left.
NASCAR.
Second, Martin Truex Jr. hasn't won in a while. He has a Toyota, Denny Hamlin right behind his.
And in the qualifying race, Greg Biffle is right where he is right now, coming to get the white flag, but he made an evasive move, tried to block, and it cost him.
Noah Coleman says cars. I agree with that.
And $200,000
I like the third one the best.
only for the race leader.
Cars 2 really
This
wasn't
gonna
that
look like a
bad. It
cubby
just
of quails
it
when
didn't
they come
fit
on
the
turn.
flow at 1 and 3, I think.
Yeah.
Will anyone challenge Biffle for the bonus?
They're getting all lined up here, getting ready. May have made that move a little quick. Now he's able to get back in there. Burton in the 31. I thought he moved too quick. There they go.
Those Truex.
Hamlin.
Teammate or Toyota teammates.
Well, they
will
eventually
split the
become
bonus
teammates
because
there.
Denny Hamlin has just helped Martin Truex.
Oh,
to
did
the
he
front.
miss up and say teammates?
He said
1,500
teammates.
feet,
Eventually.
1,000 feet.
Not at this time.
$200,000. Martin Truex Jr. leads the halfway lap of the Daytona.
Oh, I
500.
forgot why the halfway lap was. They said the halfway was going to get crazy because he got like a big payday for leading at the halfway
Denny being the
point.
kind of guy he is.
What's a random?
Yeah.
2 years in a row.
$200,000 he got for leading that
Daytona
lap.
500 just made about 150
That
grand
shows a
more
good
than
lap
he did a
to
year
lead.
ago.
Yeah.
And now here's what will make
Truex may not have won a
If you just
Daytona
lost that
500, but he won. He
he'll
got
fall
something
back
at
in the
Daytona
back somewhere
500 that
around
paid
well.
really good.
I wonder, like, how much money you get for winning the
Denny
500.
Hamlin's dropped behind his
Okay, you ready to get down now?
Tony Stewart in the 14. As you ride with Casey Kane. 100 laps down, 100 laps to
Probably need to
go.
wash your shirt.
And the
Yeah.
other news about that halfway
Probably should go
lap
wash my hands before I start getting
is
all
that we
sneezy.
won't come back
That is
tomorrow.
true.
Once NASCAR completes
Then you'd
more
be
than 50%
annoying
of the
by-
advertised
Achoo,
race distance,
achoo, achoo.
the race will be official tonight. Tony Stewart challenges for the lead as we go down to John Roberts for the AT&T mid-race report.
Well, Martin Truex Jr. won the Midway Payday, but winning the Daytona 500 will be more difficult. Davey Allison was the last driver to lead halfway and win the Daytona 500, and that was 20 years ago in 1992. It is time for our AT&T mid-race report, and now we are going to spin it forward and see who our experts like for the rest of this race, and we're going to start out with Darrell Waltrip.
I picked on Smoke at the beginning of the race to win this whole thing. He was right up there just then. He almost took the lead. I like his strategy. My man is doing just what he needs to be doing. I'm sticking with Smoke.
There isn't anyone on the gas out there like Denny Hamlin. He's gone 3 wide. He pushed Martin Truex to that halfway bonus. He just shoved Tony Stewart all the way to lead. I like Denny Hamlin's attitude, and I think he wins this race.
We can try
and Michael, as far as strategy,
yes, you do. We're halfway through, so that means.
But I think as these guys are going to be racing real hard near the end, make sure your driver has some good fresh tires.
Now the debut for Danica Patrick in the Sprint Cup, not what she'd hoped for. She's over 60 laps down due to that early crash, but Greg Spinelli, looking at the overall bigger picture, able to
Claude B talks, but Claude B not talking because I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
To drive with other drivers,
Talk to the people.
She gets back into her next Sprint Cup race.
You can tell I don't do this stuff often.
13 times in 53 Daytona 500s, the halfway lap leader has gone on to win the race. But as JR pointed out, not in the last 20 years. I still like those Roush Fenway Fords and particularly Matt Kenseth. Hamlin out front, where he has led the second most laps tonight, second to Greg Biffle. They are among the contenders to win the 2012 running of the Great American Race on Fox. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Only DirecTV gives you dedicated driver channels, so you'll never miss a second of your driver's race. Call 1-800-DirecTV. 107 laps complete, 93 to go in the Daytona 500. Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex run 1-2.
I believe we are going to watch the entire thing. Besides not the red flag. No, I think we'll watch maybe first little bit of it and then skip because that might be a little too long.
You're going to get the halfway. You're going to get the halfway. You've got the halfway clear all around. You'll get that other half now. Thanks for the push, man. I think the push, boy. Play some defense now. Let's get after these guys. We've got 100 more.
100 more laps to go. 92 now remain. But of all the drivers that have tried,
hello, Barry Boy Blast.
Truex
Danny's going to take some trash, so he's going to be back. And yes, I'd love to see Target come back. I really enjoyed that paint scheme when they were in the sports. It was kind of 31 car.
You get up there, but if you make the wrong move, happen to get out of line or get in the wrong line, man, you go straight to the back, and then you got to work your way back up through there again.
Our pole sitter has not made a lot of noise lately. Carl Edwards
he's back pretty far back there.
21st place. Dick Berggren?
Well, he had been running much further up in the pack, Mike, but he is having fuel pressure issues. He said the engine is running all right, but the fuel pressure is going up and down in that car, and the fuel pressure light is periodically flashing. These fuel injectors require substantial fuel pressure. The engines don't run well if they don't have good fuel pressure.
Yeah, for the first time, NASCAR is running electronic fuel injection. We heard Elliott Sadler, the 33 car, having fuel pressure issues. Even though I think we have it well and perfected,
I was going to say, that took a little while to throw away the trash.
Yeah, well, Larry, we've had, we've only had short races. We had the 150s, we had the Bud Shootout. This is a 500-mile race, and if you're going to have failures, you're going to see it in the second half of the race because this is the longest we've run with this new system.
Say, you miss me be quiet and them staring at me doing nothing. I feel so awkward because I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
Do I like the Bills' chance of making the Super Bowl? They're playing right now, so how do
not good. Blast luck.
In ninth. In that lead pack, 25 cars.
About to be halftime.
32
Chiefs are up 21-9.
Lead lap with 90 to go on the Daytona 500.
Tom Brady.
It's like new school versus old school. Yeah. You know how I view Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes is like Patrick Mahomes, like the analogy to NASCAR is like Chase Elliott to Tom Brady is like Jimmy Johnson.
Laps complete.
You know, you got some like Tom Brady, really successful. I mean, he still is successful, but like, it's not, as you can agree, probably it's on his decline. Like Jimmy Johnson had much success well throughout his career, but the last couple of years now. And then Chase Elliott found success pretty early in his career.
Fantasy.
Much like Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I will say Jimmy Johnson versus Tom Brady. It's like Jimmy Johnson with lows record. Goes 2 years of Ally, doesn't make the playoffs either those years. He at least made the playoffs with lows even in that 2018 year as bad as that
of your screen, the orange car of Joey Logano
did not make it
has
with
been pushing
Ally, although it could be
the
argued
deuce of Brad Keselowski, and they got up within 4 cars of the lead.
That one race
got no further and started to drift back just a bit.
No, that's a couple of drivers, Brad Keselowski and the two.
But he probably most likely would have been knocked out first.
Time back in December visiting our troops down in Cuba for 3 or 4 days.
Brady goes most of his career.
As these cars race around the track at nearly 200 miles an hour, NASCAR has a minimum speed that each car must maintain.
Starts off look like he's going to be back. Remember that one game where he like forgot that it was 4th down or something like that,
to pick up the pace,
and now it's like I'm in
number 33 and maintain pace or bring his car to the
Tom Brady.
Speaking of Clint Boyer, let's go to pit road.
Mike, one of our storylines was whether these cars would overheat. We knew nighttime it wouldn't be as big of a deal, and we hadn't really heard any drivers complaining about overheating until now. Clint Boyer on lap 104.
Whoa, we got Chase Elliott in the chat.
And hotter.
What? Really?
Danny, get a random diecast somewhere and show it to us.
You guys, I cannot keep this thing cool at all.
I don't have one of yours nearby.
I was saying, we got some over there. Show that Austin Dillon one. That was pretty cool.
Him and I had a conversation
the
other day.
He's got
what you have to do is
Alex Bowman rookie car, Dr. Pepper, a standard Toyota show car, whatever, and then who is that?
You may not be able to recover. Yes.
And you can see
so like those, I mean, but this is cool. Well, actually, no, not meh. I took forever trying to find that Alex Bowman rookie car for I think your birthday. I searched everywhere on the internet to find one, and it turns out some guy he knew in a diecast group ended up having one that sold to him.
How's he going to go win the race at the end?
And one thing that's different this year, you have a much smaller capacity radiator. So now if you lose just a little bit of water, that equates to a whole lot of water, and you're going to get hot a lot quicker. So he may have gotten himself in trouble and can't get out.
To discourage lengthy bump drafting in tandem, NASCAR minimized also the size of the opening in the bumper for that radiator to get any cool air. You're up against the bumper of the car in front of you. You're not getting your car cool at all.
And again, I mean, we've just had short events here the last few days. 500 miles here, about halfway, everything starts happening to these things. Engines
but is that to like equivalent to like ARCA?
Halfway is a big deal.
No.
Now would be like
Tony Stewart in the 14, the ranking series champion. You
so that's a really
for that time period.
Like
they did not make hardly any
radiator opening, and that's all you get to get air in there to that radiator. Matt.
Mike managing that distance between himself and the car in front to control the temperature issue. They've made big improvements on the 14 car. The chassis adjustment helped tighten the car up like Stewart wanted. So it's the best it's been all night. The other adjustment, well, they had a high-tech tool here in the pit. They sprayed anti-fog on it, and on a pit stop, they used it on the inside of the windshield. It was fogging up. If you want to see that high-tech tool, just go to my Twitter page for more.
Yeah, so much humidity in the air, even though we hadn't had rain since about 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. A lot of humidity.
Even though this race hasn't really had like a lot happening,
and they're trying to make some
they at least haven't been like
a
single file a little bit in the front, but they're still like
Denny Hamlin.
2 right there.
2 by 2.
Yes.
The Daytona 500 on Fox is sponsored by Diet Mountain Dew.
Really, the pace of this race was going by pretty quick, to be honest, until eventually.
76 laps to go in the Daytona 500. Let's take an inside look at what's happening in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, brought to you by Sprint. Denny Hamlin is your race leader. He's led the most laps tonight, 47, more than he's led in his 6 prior 500s total. He's also the biggest mover in this race, 28 spots ahead of where he started. Get unlimited access to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, live NASCAR audio and real-time stats available through the NASCAR Sprint Cup mobile app on your Android-powered device. Only on the Sprint network, the only national carrier with truly unlimited data.
Actually, when it gets warmer, I do.
Yeah, I went fishing on Saturday.
Speed.
That was a mistake.
Mike, you're sitting here right now, if you're Denny Hamilton, and you're thinking, am I really this good, or am I sitting down?
Dummy drove 2 hours away, fished for like an hour, and came back.
I went to a lake where it should have been better fishing, but I didn't know the wind was going to be blowing 15 miles an hour.
Outside of you start pushing each other.
So Danny paddles, you know, for 2 minutes one way and gets pushed back right to the left.
I put in at this ramp by Marina, and I paddle out to the main lake, and I'm looking at on my fish finder, it tells me how fast I'm traveling with that GPS on it. It says at one point, because I'm sitting there getting blown in the wind, I'm traveling half a mile per hour.
Who was it that I got hooked up with?
That's how fast I was paddling.
Where is he, and can we get hooked
how
up
fast
and do it again?
how slow? Really how slow?
Right now, where you're really fast forwarding a lot to the next
with no wind, I could usually paddle my kayak probably about 2.5 miles an hour, and I was going half a mile
as
per
the
hour.
driver who led the most laps won the 500. That was Michael Waltrip in 03. Boyer, maybe that engine has finally given up.
I don't know if he's got trouble. I think he does, or else, yeah, he's definitely slow.
What happened to him?
Can he make it to pit road?
Wow.
That could have been disastrous.
No, there's no caution.
Now there are various places where he can pull
did he miss the pits?
without bringing out a caution, but they would not get him back to pit road.
He's going to put some reverse, right? Papa. U-turn.
So Clint Boyer from Emporia, Kansas, limps around the track, and I believe he is out of gas. Krista.
Mike, that's exactly what he came on the radio and said. They thought they had that overheating issue earlier. That is the least of their concerns now. He just came on and said, guys, how did this happen? We are out of fuel.
In the last 6 races here, Mike, he has the best average finish of 12.2, so big blow to that team.
Yeah, he last pitted on lap 82, which is the same lap that Carl Edwards pitted and Tony Stewart pitted on 82. We're seeing he, Joey Logano, and Mark Martin come to pit road.
Gibbs Racing. Bubba Wallace has shown
the caution is out for Clint Boyer.
Better equipment.
Trackhouse, the 6th caution flag of the night.
I don't feel like
I don't think they're going to be that good.
Tony Stewart's going to complete his pit stop.
It might be an
He'll be able to
improvement
do this and stay on the lead lap, and more than likely get the lead when all the other drivers come to pit road.
Best chances to win
down the
was
back
when he
going
had
into 3. Tony's work is done. Everybody's going to pit.
And I don't think he's gotten any better, like, as a driver over the years. So I don't feel like, you know, he was young and immature. Now he's so great. You know, he just needs equipment. I don't think so.
Yeah. Was there any other new teams?
6th caution flag.
I mean, aside from like one-off starts, like
the pace car gets set to come out and pick up the field, and the push truck will have to come to.
I'm really excited for the duels.
Yeah.
Just because there's so many entries and there's so many like interesting names, like you know.
I mean, he tried. He
like
was
not
get
just
on
like
pit road, but 2 race cars were coming at him at about 200
smaller
miles an hour,
teams that don't make it. It's like you know,
like
Noah Gregson, Austin Cindric, like big names that are in. Well, okay, Austin Cindric's
get a feeling he probably was about out of fuel.
They're going to start racing more often with the Cup.
And the car had popped a couple times, Larry Max.
I think they'll do
hit
okay.
pit road, take the penalty,
if they have like
and not have a bigger issue on the 31 machine.
But with these electronic
I was just thinking about
injection,
the duels and you know people have to race their way in being like one of them being Austin Cindric.
You're out of fuel.
What really helps him is that he has other Penske drivers to help him versus like someone like Noah Gregson just out by himself. You know, maybe a Hendrick driver would maybe help him, but you know, there's no obligation there.
Wondering about the safety risk of those. There are parameters in the computer that can sense throttle vacuum.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, maybe because him being a Chevy driver full time, but I don't see that. You know, so I feel like he has a disadvantage.
If a car had crashed or an engine had blown, not anymore. Wouldn't happen.
No.
It's really it's
he didn't win
at
Xfinity. I sure don't expect him to win a
fuel
Cup
injection and all the
this year.
All that goes with it.
Well, I know, but not last year.
He had a few races close.
I don't. I mean, can he win eventually? Yes, I would say that. Can he win this year? No, I don't think so.
Ready to restart. 71 laps to go. Now cars
could. I feel like he has a better chance than
to ensure they get that fuel picked up in the fuel cell and get it to the engine.
Just because I've seen him run decently at super speedways, that he may
close on fuel.
The way those lift pumps are in the fuel cell, those electric pumps, I'm not sure
he's
that
in
makes a
good
whole lot of
equipment, and
difference.
even when he had to take his time away from NASCAR, I feel like he was still winning and racing. He wasn't just sitting on the couch doing nothing.
Well, here's something to consider. The list of people who have not won for Rick Hendrick is way smaller than the list
Steve, as Greg Biffle rolls into his pit stall, he took 2 tires on the last stop. The plan here to pack it through as much fuel as possible. The crew coming around to take 4 tires on this stop for Greg Biffle. Matt?
Brad Keselowski, I don't know if you can count his
They're going to take out 4 tires as well.
But he won for
Adjustment
Phoenix
on the
Racing.
43, and he is away.
Car, but it was essentially a Hendrick car in a year
The
where he
race
ran
on pit road
partially
looks like
for,
Regan Smith
for Phoenix Racing
and a collision in the pit
Hendrick.
lane.
I found this funny. I didn't know Eric had a twin.
And he was wandering around in pit road and caused a big bottleneck.
And what he said was kind of funny.
28 or 29 drivers on pit road at one
Please
time.
carry your what?
Cato, New York's Regan Smith puts himself in position.
Not on the stream.
Yeah.
I think you could pick me up. What would you do? Just pick him up like you did just a minute ago?
Yeah.
You'd probably pick me up like that.
Farmers and Jeff Hammond.
Mike, all during the race, I've been listening and watching what's been going on here in the latter part of this race. What I've learned is you've got to find your dance partner. You've got to have somebody to race with. The thing we haven't talked a lot about, we're going back up here and check them in a minute, are the spotters. They've got to start working extra hard to get you back up here toward the front.
Why are you
One of
asking
the
me all
guys
these
that's been
random
riding in the
people?
back, the 29 car,
Well,
Kevin Harvick. Watch him and his spotter work together.
Well, I
to get
know, but
29
that
toward
was
the front
kind
late in the
of.
race.
I hope Tyler Reddick can get a win.
Thanks, Jeff.
I hope so.
68
Like
to go
that's
this
what I was
time
gonna
by
say.
when they
Like
take
all
green flag
like
for
all
the
the
restart.
big 3 in the
Kevin
Xfinity
Harvick,
series.
Jeff mentioned, is in
Like
13.
besides that
Two
cold
cars
custer
took the wave around and did not
fluke,
stop
if
on
you want to
this
call it. I
caution.
don't say fluke,
Landon
but you know,
Castle
just being in
and
the right
David
place at the
Bruder,
right
his
time
teammate,
kind of deal.
They're back on the lead lap.
I don't think any of them
As
were
the cars
outstanding
that
continuously
stopped as the
continue for
caution
wins. So
wave,
just
Mark
because
Martin,
Chase
Tony
Briscoe
Stewart
did outstanding
up there
Xfinity, I
getting
don't
the
see
green
him
flag, then with
being
Regan
starting
Smith
off
and the rest of his
winning
pack,
Cup
double
Series left
wide.
and right.
30
I'd like to
cars
say
on
this
the
be the
lead
first
lap
year where
with 68 to go.
Bowman gets more than one win, and that's not just me being a fan of him. I think just progression-wise, it'd be nice to see him, especially going to the 48 car.
Are you sure it's not because you're a fan?
No, I'm saying from just a NASCAR fan in general, I'd like to see him progress.
A driver
nice
that
to see him
retired
prove
6
that he
years
actually,
ago
you know,
and
should
then
be
found
racing.
new life.
Yeah.
He's been with 2 different teams since.
Best Daytona
and will
finish
run a
was going to
partial
say
schedule
second.
this year, that number 55,
Our face covered
surrendering the lead to Dylan Hamlin.
Mark brings so
Sadly,
much
we
energy
watched
to
that
a team.
race,
He's
what,
a
last
smart
week?
guy. He knows a race car inside and out. So he
Wait,
just comes in and he'll energize a team.
2014.
Shoot, I'm race horrible.
Denny Hamlin at 11. He
Probably
laid
good.
against the rear bumper.
Won't be
Greg
watching
Biffle
a,
at 16 and pushed him right to the
race
lead
next
going off
Sunday.
into turn 3.
Why?
I think Greg Biffle is the guy that's really.
Okay.
I would say
Well, we can watch it another night of the
but
week.
He hasn't been able to figure out the right place to be at the right time.
They all blend
We saw
in
it at the
together.
halfway mark.
No, I don't
We
think
saw
I'll
it the
have
other day in his qualifying race. He's got a car that can win this thing if he can
No, not
just get
this
somebody to
week.
work with
Next
him and
week.
play it cool.
And 3 cars in that mix deserve mention.
I don't
We
know my
talked about
schedule for
Regan
next
Smith
week,
in that
but we
Chevrolet
might do
number
something during the
78.
week.
But side by side,
Maybe we'll
behind
switch
him,
it up.
The 9 and the 43.
And then definitely, well, this might be the last Sunday we do it
Petty
before the
Motorsports.
500 because you
Marcus
said no
Ambrose
next
from
Sunday because you want to watch
Australia,
wrestling.
and in Petty
And next
blue
week
and
after
white,
that's the Super
the
Bowl.
Kings number 43.
We definitely ain't
and his
competing with
new
that.
driver from Tampa, Florida, Eric Almirola.
No, because I definitely.
I want to give a call, though, to that driver behind Marcus Ambrose in that 13 car, Mike. Casey Mears.
Maybe.
This was a driver that missed the
and then
Daytona 500 a year ago. They
We'll be
here,
watching.
they've
We'll
made
be
a
streaming an
change
old
over the
Daytona 500
offseason,
during the
qualified up
2021 Daytona 500.
And now he's up here
Yeah.
running up front.
No, I think that weekend we'll just kind of.
Yeah, like Casey Mears a good little driver. He and Booty
What?
Barker, they were just beside themselves
What
by the
weekend?
kind of runs they've had down here.
Oh,
Qualifying
yeah,
well
no,
and
we're not
racing
doing
well.
that.
Mears trying to hang on to
Probably
a top
take
15
a week
spot.
off or whatnot, and then it'll
On
be
the
more
outside.
sporadic. I don't know that we're going to commit to doing every
The
Sunday
hardest thing
night.
is when you know, somebody looks at the 13 car Casey Mears, they said, maybe I don't want to run with him. You're always looking for a bigger name in the other line, if you know what I mean.
Right. Understood.
Ooh, that's a good idea. What if we watched
But
some
if the
shootouts
car has
on
speed,
Saturday
he can
night
be your new
before
best friend.
Well, Trevor Bainey last
Yeah, that
year
might actually be a good
proved
idea
that.
to watch some of the old
Trevor's car was
shootouts
fast and
instead.
people wanted to work.
So that's like, is that when they did it only like 20 laps?
No, it wasn't 20 laps.
Oh, well, I just watched Jared's video and he was saying something about like how the old way they did it was like 20 laps. It was truly a shootout.
Well, I think it was like they had like a segment or something like that.
You obviously didn't watch Jared's video. But he was referencing like
there we go. The 1 to 10 car waiting for the pack to
like how I think what was it like the worst clash or something like that. He just made that video not too long ago. I watched it a couple days ago, and it was saying it was in reference to last year's clash about how there was just so many wrecks and whatnot.
Car's pretty beat up
and so he was saying, he even said something about, Slap would agree about, or idea of going back to a true shootout, doing like 20 laps or something. To me, that would feel too short.
Junior, Casey
But I
Kane.
don't know.
You're riding with Kane.
Anyways, let's get back to the actual race
Kyle
in
ahead on the
2012.
inside, just ahead of the 99 of Edwards. He hasn't come all the way to the front, Darrell, but we've seen him make some moves to gain position inside and out.
I think they got to mix it up a little bit more for him to really be a player. He's not real good at just riding along in line. He likes to mix it up.
Okay, chat, since there's 224 of y'all watching, question, if we switched it up from Daytona, what track, not necessarily what year, but what track should we watch? Is there a certain track we should watch next?
63 laps to go in the first ever Monday.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, what kind of tracks, like, interest people? I don't know. I mean, because I feel like we always choose, like, Bristol or Charlotte or something like that. Like, I don't need to know, like, a specific year, like, the 2012, well, I guess we're watching Bristol, but, like, 2008 Dover. Like, I don't need to know a specific, but I'm just kind of... I'm just kind of genuinely kind of curious what kind of tracks.
Here is a race recap. Denny Hamlin continues to improve on his career best laps.
Okay, we got a Darlington, Watkins Glen, Martinsville. Ooh, I love Martinsville.
Than he's led in all of his Daytona 500s combined. Cars on the lead, lap 30. We've had 10 leaders, 6 cautions for 21
Bristol,
laps.
North Wilkesboro. That would be
some
neat.
very big names: Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, along with David Reagan and Robbie Gordon. Michael Waltrip. Let's take a look.
I'm seeing a lot of Martinsville. I'm seeing Watkins Glen.
She gets spun around here. Jimmy Johnson takes a big hit.
I wonder. I mean,
luckily Jimmy's okay.
No, because this would be almost every recommitment, but like watching a throwback, like the week of the race, So like if at the end of the week you're going, the Sunday you're going to Richmond, you watch a Richmond race that week. But that would be almost too big of a commitment.
Jeff Hammond.
Been saying all night long about fuel, running out of fuel, low fuel pressure. Let me explain to you folks. When you take a look here at the fuel cell, this looks very much like we've been running every year here in NASCAR. But the difference is going to be when you take
I'm not opposed to really any tracks. I'm just kind of curious what tracks other people like.
A lot of different pumps inside here. Turn the telestrator on. Here are the lift pumps that are located in the corner that feed up to what they call the swirl pot. This is where the main fuel pump comes in. This is where the main pressure is made to make these injectors work properly. And that means it need to be 70 to 75 pounds pushed up through and to the injectors. And a lot of these guys have had problems with that. So far, running out of fuel, a little bit of a surprise, but the cars have at least refired, JR. So a lot of concern. I'm down on pit road about what's going on with one more pit stop to go.
Jeff, thanks. Let's see how our top 4 starters are doing in the AT&T's Fastest Driver Challenge. Be sure to sign up to play AT&T's Fastest Driver Challenge by texting
question,
FAST
would any of y'all be interested in watching
or visiting AT&TFastestDriver.com. You could win 4G's AT&T Rethink Possible.
Well, don't you remember when qualifying used to be on TV?
Yes, but I didn't know that there was a way to watch an old one.
I don't know. There might be
Gibbs
some
taking the lead from his teammate Denny Hamlin. One Connecticut native to talk about another, Dick Berggren.
Well, Joey Logano thought that all may have been lost on that round of pit stops where he ran through the pits under the caution flag, came out deep in the 20s when the green flag lit, but he has slowly and methodically worked his way to the front of the pack. This is
young
the
Joey
best
Logano, 21 years old, only has one win. Never won career win. Oh, little baby.
There's something brewing, guys. I just, this is getting a little tense. They're getting a little wadded up here. I just feel like things are getting ready to break loose.
Well, right now we've got the 2 Joe Gibbs drivers, Joey Logano in the 20, Denny Hamlin in the 11, the inside, and a couple of the Roush Fenway boys up top. Kenseth in the 17, Biffle in the 16.
This is just like a tornado, guys. It's just swirling around, and if you're in there,
that's interesting.
you could get in big trouble. I just feel
maybe that's what we do. Like, maybe watch like a dual race or slush races,
on the outside,
or like a shootout. Like, so maybe this will be the last like
Logano
500
has
we
the
do for a
greatest
while.
thing since
And
sliced
maybe we
bread
kind of switch it
to
up.
come to big league stock car racing. He has one victory in his short career.
What was funny the other day, Logano told his crew chief, he said, we don't have any friends out here. I said, well, why don't he get a dog if he wants a friend? By golly, he did.
What I'm watching right now, I'm watching the eye of your storm, though, DW.
Yeah, it's brewing, baby.
It wasn't that long ago, Jeff Hammond talked about Kevin Harvick in the 29, hanging at the back of the pack, here with 54 laps to go. There he is, pulling to the inside, trying to move to third.
I don't know what these crew chiefs have told these drivers, but there's something up, boys. I'm telling you, there's something
I'm
up.
still lost.
Well, here's what they told them. There could be weather on the way.
Not long ago because of his overheating.
This race is scheduled for 200
and now he's
laps.
the leader. I still don't know how this really happened.
53 to go as they
And I seen earlier I looked and he was midway through the pack. So it's
I'm really confused on how he even got
laying in the weeds. Buddy,
so that's how super speedways work, honey.
Joey's new best friend is a bulldog named Isla. He's going to need to find a friend out there if he's going to win the 500.
What they say, a bulldog named Isla?
The Daytona 500
That's what Dale
on
Jr.'s
Fox is
daughter's
sponsored
name
by
is. That's funny.
Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
I drive a Chevy.
Enter now for a chance to
Now
win
you
the
do.
Camaro Synergy and a Talladega Race Weekend package, plus meet Tony Stewart. Visit wincamarosynergy.com now to enter. Matt Kenseth has fought his way back to the front. The Cambridge, Wisconsin driver is a Daytona 500 champion. He's been a champion in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. And he wants another piece of the Harley Earl Trophy here tonight.
Won his qualifying race, and of course we saw him on pit road. Looked like Old Faithful down there a little while ago, but she's coming through for him now.
Behind Kenseth is Dale Earnhardt Jr. In fact, of the top half dozen, 3 former Daytona 500 winners, and another trying to join them, the number 1 of Jamie McMurray, who's worked his way up to second on the outside line behind the 20 of Logano.
Look at the guys that we haven't spoken a whole lot about, called their number hardly any up until now, and all of a sudden you got Casey Mears up there. There's Brad Keselowski up there. Now McMurray. Here comes Mr. Where did he come from? The 29 car. All these guys are starting to find the front.
You think?
Yeah, Kevin Harvick
Maybe.
in that 29 and Jamie McMurray in the 1 at the back of the field.
I would hate to see a caution come out sometime soon. That'd be very unfortunate for everybody in this particular NASCAR race.
That'd be very unfortunate for the people in the stands that's going to sit there. I can't press fast forward.
I mean, surely, if a caution were to come out right now, it's not going to take that long. They'll clean it up, it'll be okay.
And I was just looking. Yeah, every driver can make it on one more pit stop, Mike. And those pit stops should be coming in about the next 10, 12 laps. And that will get them to the end.
Larry, the fastest lap tonight has been about a 40.
Do you even know what the wreck was that caused?
No.
Okay.
44.53.
I didn't know if I needed to be looking for a certain car.
I know it's there. I just don't know what happened.
So the pace, I think, has really picked up a little bit.
Like that whole ordeal, everyone knows what happened. They don't know why the caution was out.
Well, you're right, Daryl, because a lot of our fast laps, they came somewhere after about lap 140 to now. So
like he's been like nowhere competitive in this race. Like I haven't even seen him really on the screen.
I think I can just feel this.
I know earlier when
the heart rate's starting to go up a little bit.
Claudia's never seen this race, but I think this is one of the things that she at least knows.
I think I've seen a clip and, know that happens. I don't really know how. I mean, maybe I've seen the clip of how he hit the jet dryer or something. I've never seen this race entirely.
Then he panicked the team when he said, "I think I have a tire
had no
going
reason to go back and watch
jumped
this.
up on the wall. Now he's saying,
I think I know who
car
wins.
Feels like it's darting,
no, I'm
like
pretty sure I know
it's
who wins because I've seen it in the chat.
And that makes sense, Larry, because if you pick up the speed, the car will
it's just kind of it's kind of interesting, like when you know who's gonna win, it's kind of keeping an eye on them like throughout the race, and it's like, wow, how did they get there? I think it was the Daytona race that Justin Haley won. When I knew he won, but I was out of town, so I didn't watch the race. So once I got back in town, I watched the race, and I kept looking at the race. I'm like, how did he win? Like throughout the race, I'm like, he's nowhere in contention for even being at the front. And so anyway, so I just think that was interesting when you know who's going to win.
South Bend, Indiana, and the little team that could make the 500 something under the hood breaks. He slides up.
The 30 car had an issue. That's what happened.
And that team totals 8 people and 3 shop dogs. They made the Daytona 500, and now Stremme is coasted to the garage. Pit road's open. Steve.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 is going to take right side tires, as is Matt Kenseth in the 17, Krista.
Greg Biffle didn't get the halfway cash,
Dave
but
Blaney
he's hoping
stays
this
out.
is the money stop. They're on the right side coming around. It's just 2 tires. 2 tires are packing it full of fuel.
Left side tires for Casey Mears in the 13, and he is away. Fuel cell full, Dick.
Joey Logano on his pit stop was told go when the jack drops. Jackman Jason Tate was watching the gas man, John Eicher. And when Eicher nods, that means the tank is full. This was all about getting as much fuel in that car as they could possibly get.
So a number of guys take 4 tires. A lot of guys took 2, but Tony Stewart, the 18 car of Kyle Busch, the 5 car Casey Kane, they took 4. That could be a big factor.
Casey Mears led him off pit road. We're under caution for David Stremme. It's the
So
7th
David
caution
Stremme,
flag tonight.
I guess, did he put oil out on the track? Is that why the jet tire was out there to begin with?
I think so.
Okay, because they probably put it with speedy dry and then just blew it off. Or plans to blow it off.
Back it down. Go high, Kurt. Go high, Kurt. Go wrecking up ahead. Back it down. Pick up. Go low.
Slams to the outside. It's 5-time
I'm amazed
champion
they're able to
Joe
get these
Gibbs.
edits so quick during the race,
He collects Danica Patrick.
I'm a little worried about Jimmy. He took a hard lick right
Imagine
in the door.
like this being your job, like trying to get this like video like editing. Like imagine
That happened on lap 2.
What?
And
They didn't
now,
really
under
show it.
caution, Juan Pablo
Because they didn't know
Montoya
what was gonna
has
happen.
crashed and gone aflame.
Holy cow, what happened?
We just got a report that he was complaining about a bad
Look at all that
vibration in
dirt and
gear.
down
No, Larry, he just
He
slammed
hit the
into
jet dryer.
I think he
wait,
slammed
where?
into the jet
Just go
dryer.
for all the fuel and stuff.
They're trying to clear debris off the racetrack, and the car brakes, won't steer, and he slides up the track
You can
and
see a little flash
into the
there.
back of that surplus helicopter jet engine on a trailer used to dry the racetrack.
Larry, Mike, I saw sparks coming out from the car as if it had a tire down or something.
Oh God!
What an incredible turn of events! I've never in my life. Oh my gosh!
And all that spilled jet fuel found
Look up,
something
appreciate
hot
that.
to
Holy
ignite it.
cow, what happened? I don't know. It's one big mess.
Safety workers quickly on the scene.
But imagine like the one driving that truck.
That'd been scary.
I'm like, whoa! It's like what just happened?
I know how scary my rear end collision was a few weeks back. So imagine that car hit him pretty fast.
Well,
That and the fact that it caught on fire
I don't
too.
think I've ever seen anything quite like this. That fuel is just running right down. That thing's
It's
full
even
of
catching
fuel.
fire
They
all the
keep
way
you
down the
full all
racetrack
time.
because it's just flammable.
If I'm not mistaken,
I just wonder what he's going to do to the racetrack.
Well, here comes the fire crew. You see the red truck bottom of the screen. They've got to get that out because that fire could damage the racing surface.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, you got fuel, it's on fire. It could eat that asphalt right up.
I'm surprised it
It is
didn't really.
commonplace
Well, I don't know if it did, but
for
mess with the
track
safer barrier.
Safety,
I think it
rescue, track drying
'Cause that-
vehicles to circulate the track under
I was gonna say,
a caution
that's, like,
flag.
right up there
Drivers must maintain
with it.
reasonable speed while catching up the pack and avoid those emergency vehicles. They're brightly lit and everything. That's easy to do when you can be under control of your race car.
I just wonder if Montoya
Well,
was going
like
down
they were
the back,
like
catching
blowing
up
it
the
out, and then
field,
look, it keeps
and he
coming down
didn't
the
know
track.
The
It's
safety
just
truck
nothing
was
but
up there. They called him on the radio and said, "Watch
hot
that safety
oil,
truck."
really.
And the car darted.
They said they get it
right.
like extinguished, and then it like starts catching
Something like that
flame.
happened.
I
An
saw
oil
sparks
fire is
underneath.
one
The
of those
car
fires that's
broke,
just
and I
nearly
don't believe he
impossible
had
to put
steering
out.
control.
I don't either. I mean,
when
it
the
looked,
car went up the track.
when you see the
But
sparks
they're
come out
they're
from the car, it
battling
just
this
looks like
that thing could
a tire or
explode
something
really
happened.
any time.
Yeah, because it's fuel.
Like really
I don't know
props
how
to
many
these
gallons
guys
of
for
jet fuel that
fighting
thing
that
holds, but I
fire like
guarantee
this.
you it's
'Cause
got
that's a
several
dangerous
gallons,
situation right
several,
there.
probably 100.
Is that just a bunch of like fire extinguishers, or is that like
personnel.
water?
Yeah, that's just a bunch of fire
That
extinguishers.
cleanup truck very quickly after the collision and walked away.
That's got to be eating the track up. I just wonder what it's going to do to it, Larry.
Yeah, that fire's been burning for quite a while.
Some of everyone knows. I can see how the car hit the side of the truck too.
Now that would be really scary as a driver. I didn't realize. I thought it just hit like a trailer. He was the guy. Yeah. See, look, even it's like igniting it down back where they just extinguished that and then it keeps lighting it up.
Blazing in turn number 3.
But Daryl, I keep going back.
Good thing it had been kind of like raining, because if it had that grass,
they were telling me in my ear that Montoya had a bad vibration in every gear he was putting it in. So something was going on with that 42 car.
The race has been red flagged. That means the cars have been stopped well away from the turn 3 scene. They've been red flagged on the back straightaway, and you're looking at what happens when 200 gallons of jet fuel meet a spark. Or something very hot after a collision like that.
I wonder where this jet dryer is at now.
Yeah, that thing just burst into flame. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Where's the thing at?
Still trying to get it under control.
And you know, I would say maybe they could drive it down off the track, but if you look, the driver's door is caved in.
Why would somebody want to go like that close to get in the car to start driving that with the flammable?
Yeah, I'm just gonna drive. Here we go, boys.
Pit stops. Everyone from 5th place.
Like, I'm sorry, but that seems like a stupid idea.
Make that fire even worse, because it'd just be like spreading all that fuel everywhere in a bigger pattern.
I'm sorry, but that just seemed like a stupid idea to like get right up next to the flames and like get in it and start driving it.
As we are under the red flag, Blaney driving for the Tom Baldwin Jr. team.
See, at this point, 40 to
Castle
go.
with a brand new ride, and Reigns, who just got a ride
Blaney's
a few weeks ago into the
I
Daytona
don't know about just that Blaney
with
won
teammate
at that point.
At Front Row Motorsports.
So it looks like they about got the fire thing, but is it going to just take forever to dry that one spot?
Turn number 3. When Indy 500 and Monaco Grand Prix winner Juan Pablo Montoya went down the back straightaway, something on the car broke from the sparks underneath, lost control of the steering, slid up into the trailer that held that jet helicopter engine, which was blowing debris off the racetrack while we were under caution.
You know, as far as the drivers that pitted, Matt Kenseth in the 17, who had been leading, he won the battle off pit road.
I think they said it was the brakes, like locked up, and he couldn't stop.
More fire trucks going to the scene. That's the front of the race car. It hit the trailer, which went up in the air, and the race car pretty much submarined underneath it.
It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
Watch Montoya's car on this replay as we try to discern what may have broken.
Here he comes back here. You can see him coming. Jet dryer's up high.
What's the timing?
Sees the safety truck flashing its lights. Sparks fly, and around he goes.
Imagine being in the grandstands watching that.
Here's a different angle.
Well,
okay, like how you would see on a grandstand view.
It'll be very pixelated.
Wow. I mean, it just exploded. When it hit it, it just exploded.
And he was traveling at a high rate of speed, trying to catch back up at the field.
Back of the field.
Oh yeah, because he was kind of like going pretty good too.
Yeah, that's true.
He wasn't going at caution speed.
Montoya climbs away.
He's like, what the heck just happened?
The driver of the safety truck was helped from his vehicle, walked down the banking and away. We have some audio from Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yeah, something massively broken. Yes, with the transmission or something. But if I try to accelerate, it just starts vibrating out of control every gear. Look at the rear of the car. Hey, we just broke and hit the safety truck. You all right? You all right? This guy's trying to get out of the car. He might be on fire. He's out of the car.
Let's go back to Montoya's pit stop prior to this. And a lot of work going on under the car, Larry.
Yeah, evidently, you know, he was talking about maybe the vibration in every gear. It's like they were maybe trying to look and see if they had a rear end problem or something. That's the reason this crew member is sitting there trying to rotate the tire back and forth, and they're looking underneath in the drivetrain area.
And then he pulled off pit road, tried to gain speed down the backstretch, and catch up to the pack under the caution flag.
Look how hot that was.
What is that?
And I guarantee that's where he slammed into it.
And the most important thing, everyone is all right. Now, that truck was up against the safer barrier, which is steel, but is backed by foam blocks, which have doubtless taken a hit from the heat of that fire. And the big question right now is, what kind of shape is the racing surface in that was aflame after this strange crash down at turn number 3?
Fuel, you can see fuel still running out of that tank. It's 200 gallon in there. It's still running down the hill.
Yeah, I agree with what you say. I'm surprised they just didn't end the race. Like how big of a mess that is, and the fact that it rained the day before, so it's Monday night. It's like, just forget it. It's not worth it.
Race recap.
Mike, thanks a lot. Back in the Hollywood Hotel, Mike. I guess when you ever say you've seen everything on a racetrack,
I want to skip
something
where
like this happens.
You can't imagine that something just coincidentally his car would break right when he was by those jet tires. Such a sad scene. Glad to see the safety worker got away.
There's 3 hours remaining on this
video.
Let's take you
back in time and get a race recap.
All right, guys.
Take you back to earlier in the race when things got pretty heated early.
So what are we on, like 2 something, 2 hours something?
Here, Elliott Sadler gets in the back of Jimmy Johnson, and then behind him collected a lot of cars.
Right here.
Several cars have had trouble tonight and are laps
Okay, well,
down. Some like Joe
much?
Nemechek have been in and out of the garage. Back in the race, also Micah McDowell. Jimmy Johnson, 5-time champion, out in
30-15
crash.
Chiefs.
And
Looks
there
like the
is the
Bills don't really
remains of one Paulo Montoya Chevrolet.
Now, again,
everybody okay? And once again, it is commonplace for those emergency vehicles to be on track during a caution flag. They run the Wayland safety lights. They're easy to see. The drivers have no trouble avoiding them when they're in control of their car.
I can care less what the other
at that time, Montoya's car had broken, and he was a passenger as it slid up and into that trailer carrying the jet engine used to blow the track. Now, both Montoya and the driver of that truck are being checked out in the infield care center. We did see both walk away, the truck driver with assistance, and Montoya walked to the ambulance and took the mandatory ride for a checkup.
The new surfaces that have been put on these racetracks over the last few years, they're a lot different mix than what we were accustomed to back in the day. They got a lot more polymers and a lot more different stuff in them than what, other than sand and stone, rocks and all that stuff. So I'm not sure how it's going to affect this.
The only similar incident I can recall was in the late 1990s, I believe, at the Detroit Grand Prix, which was a street circuit. Mario Andretti came around a blind corner and nosed into the back of one of the safety trucks that was doing some cleanup work and ended up out of the race, but certainly nothing like this. Red flag with 40 laps to go in the Daytona 500. And they're still cleaning up from that bizarre accident in turn number 3. We'll be back to Daytona International Speedway live on Fox. Daytona 500 aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. Only DirecTV gives you dedicated driver channels, so you never miss a second of your driver's race.
Goodyear blimps for a while. DirecTV was in the blimp game.
We are under the red flag still at Daytona. You're looking at the turn 3 banking, 31 degrees steep. And you see this big
I was thinking, like, how do they actually get that thing out of there? Because you can't just hook a tow truck up on the bank like that.
Safety truck from the turn 3 banking. The reason being, the tires are flat from the fire. They don't want to do any further damage to the race surface by removing that vehicle, trying to drive it down the banking. We're under the red flag.
Really, even if you could get the tow truck in
position,
they could only hook up to the front of that thing at that point.
Including the leader,
and look at the back. You can't even
by the man who's up on the spotter stand with Jeff Hammond.
Mike, I am up here with Tommy Baldwin, owner of the 36 car leading the race right now. I noticed a moment ago you were looking at the jerk cam trying to see how much damage was done over there and what they were doing. Currently, they're trying to lift that truck up rather than dig it into the asphalt because both tires are obviously burnt off of it, Tommy. Get it off the racetrack. What's your driver saying? You're in a pretty good position right now.
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness Juan's okay and the safety works are all right.
Okay, well, I did look up.
I hope we get the race, back going. It's been a
on DaleJr.com. I guess it's an official
site. A lot of issues, a lot of wrecks, a lot of stuff. But
Juan Pablo's jet drag car made it to the graveyard.
We've lost a lot of races, but I'm sure I didn't win one ever like this. But You know, the 36 Chevrolet Ali Bargain Outlet car's been awesome all day. We've just been hanging out.
Yeah, it says at the very end,
just
it said,
trying to stay out of trouble, and we decided
Chris,
at the last minute to stay out, try to lead a lap for a point, and
Shine is what
stay
they
out
call
till 1
him,
to go,
who was
and then come in
Montoya's
top
crew
off,
chief
so
at the
we're
time,
good for
was
our
a
green, white
former
checkers.
engineer on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Hendrick Motorsports team, and offered the car to him when it got back to North Carolina. It became one of the infamous stars of the race car graveyard soon after.
Here's an interesting question here.
Can you get back up there and possibly put yourself back in position?
Do you think NASCAR would restart the race?
Yeah, I think we can.
Personally,
we've been strong all week long, and just been trying to stay out of trouble. Little race team here, and we're just trying to stay out of trouble, and hopefully we get a good finish at the end of the day.
Trying to stay out of trouble. We've been talking about the win it. You got to be around the team.
Listen,
Thanks, Jeff.
We can handle rain.
Recalled a race early in the 1980s at Richmond Fairgrounds Raceway on the half mile. Cale Yarborough driving the Holly Farms car for Junior Johnson. Spun off the front straightaway and spun into the front bumper of the fire truck.
I was really trying to look up what.
I was in the track office when the police officer came.
I was really trying to look up what happened to the jet dryer. I found out what happened to Juan Pablo's car, and then I seen an article which was sad. I've seen somebody in the chat said this. That the
person died.
Yeah, the person had passed away a couple years.
No charges
after it.
Oh gosh, kind of sketchy.
Down the banking gingerly.
Oh,
don't scrape it.
My ears. Too much damage to the surface.
I know what
now,
that probably
that's the trailer,
sounds like.
not the truck. That's digging in a little bit there. NASCAR has officials on the scene. You see them in the white and black outfits that are going to analyze, see if there's any damage to the surface.
Well, I know it's bad because these two things are bigger sizes compared to each other.
From the
so
care
one's
center,
coming down onto the flat
the
part before the other
of
one.
the
that's
track
true.
drying
It's
truck
like the cat one
has
needs
been
to pick it
taken
up
to
higher.
Halifax Medical Center for further observation.
Left. Yeah, come on. That machine
a
goes
couple
higher.
of years ago, we had a pothole in the racing surface in turn 2, which brought the race under the caution and led to this recent repaving. And they finally fixed the pothole in the track with Bondo, plastic body filler. And it held up to the
sad thing is,
the Daytona 500.
2011, they literally repaved Daytona the year before.
We'll take a look at the
now
surface.
The next year, we're going to burn the track now.
Fixed up as Tommy Baldwin and others look on from the starter stand. Matt Yoakum?
Joey Myers, Brad Keselowski's pilot and spotter, and he's been telling Brad exactly what's been taking place with this accident. So for the first time probably in Daytona 500 history, Brad, who has his iPhone inside his race car, a lot of drivers during testing get special compartments built. He still has his phone inside the car. He tweeted a picture.
Like, where do you put your phone during a race?
It's going to sit to the side here.
First time picture
don't
tweeted.
Vibrate all the way to the back of the car.
The race.
Yeah. Don't fly out of the flip
Mike, back to Tommy Baldwin. You talked about Dave
like you're at a track where you know there's a good chance he might put the car.
But the whole
and Brad's like, yeah, I'll have my phone with me.
Good story.
I'll just stick it on the pocket of my fire suit.
Tommy Baldwin elected to become an owner back in 2009. In fault and claw.
Like, but what would you need your phone for? Like when you have radio
even
communication.
did a lot of the start and park routine. But it paid off. He got a sponsorship
At least Brad was
last
smart
year,
to bring his
and
phone
now he
out
did
when
that
there's a red
affiliation
flag
with
and
Stuart
he's not
Haas, the
driving
10 car
compared
Danica
to
Patrick,
Mr.
and here he
Arca
is leading
driver.
the Daytona 500, knowing he's got to make another pit stop if we go back racing, but leading with 40 to go.
He began on the crew chief on his dad's NASCAR modified on the tough bull rings of Long Island.
When you hang around with good people, good things happen.
Now there's a look at the debris on the racing surface. And a NASCAR official taking a look at the asphalt.
Pretty rough right here.
And hopefully no damage from the heat. And looks like a little scrape or two there from dragging that trailer down off the banking. Now they've got to get the jet fuel dried up and get us in condition here to race.
What I'm really wanting to see is the part where they actually, how they dry up all
pretty
that
much,
fuel.
guys, I've seen it all now. This is the most bizarre thing I think I've ever seen.
Well, Mike, you're right. That's going to be the biggest challenge is just getting that jet fuel cleaned up.
This just seems like a lot of work.
Krista.
Of course, Dave Blaney wondering that same thing. How's this for how our world has changed? Dave Blaney not on Twitter. The team joking he needs to get on it. Well, he might need to get on it after this race. He is now trending worldwide. Dave Blaney, the 5th highest Twitter topic as we speak.
NASCAR
TBR
really
Racing is on Twitter. Dave Blaney is not.
And now at this point, all the drivers are just getting out. It's like, what the heck else
Thanks,
do we
Krista.
do?
Now, before the car
Jamie just comes up to
Dave Blaney and his team had to make a decision: pit or stay out. Here's their radio traffic.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Kurt Busch got fired, and then that's how he ended up getting in it. But then later that year, he tested positive for methamphetamine somehow.
Who, Kurt?
No, Dinger.
Oh.
So he went to the road recovery program, and that's how he ended up with 47.
Yeah.
So something stupid happened, and that's how Logano was in 22.
Dave Blaney and his crew chief Ryan
And what's funny
Pemberton.
isn't that looks very similar to the Joyce Paint scheme now.
Also,
like I said, they've
was
had
the
that same
fact
paint scheme since 2011.
watching the weather radar, you know, we
I'm
feel
saying,
like we're going to be okay weather-wise, but
you took a
certainly there
second
was
to
some weather
pause.
in the area.
Tons of speedy dry, looks like.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it looks like
Clint Boyer, Matt
you paused
Kenseth,
when you
Dale
had to think
Earnhardt
about who
Jr.
was in the
stretching
22
their
car.
legs and looking over each other's cars.
3 retired guys.
Rare break of the Daytona 500. 40 laps to go
Did you hear what I
tonight.
said? You paused when you were trying to think of the 22, and I'm like, wow, I was about to say Joey, and I was like,
Speedy
that's not
dry
right.
up in turn number 3 to clean up spilled jet fuel, gasoline, oil, and coolant. 2 years ago, at the other end of the speedway, some old pavement started to break up.
Oh, is this a pothole?
They tried patching the hole. These cars dug it right back up. They went to hot patch asphalt. Tamped it in, same thing. So they went to auto body filler, the same kind of plastic filler that would be used to fix a dent in your fender. And it held up long
And that race
enough
was on Valentine's
to finish
Day.
the Daytona 500. So the concern right now is once they
Jamie
sweep up
McMurray is
that
racing
speedy
in that
dry,
Daytona 500
what will
this
the
year.
race surface be like? And will it be conducive to cars going into turn
How funny
3 at
is it like?
200 miles
Well, okay,
an
this,
hour?
okay. I say I guess more ironic, not like haha. But like the 500s are the ones that have like memorable things, like things happen, versus like the summer race.
Mixing up tide and washing the track off said it would neutralize some of the damage that was done.
I'm just saying, like
Joe
memorable
Nemechek
stuff
over
happens in the
each
500
other's
versus
cars.
the summer race.
Rare break of the Daytona 500. And will it be conducive to cars going into turn 3 at 200 miles an hour?
I came out here one night and it had a similar situation. A car had hit the wall and some fluids had run down the track. And you know what they were washing it down with? Tide. They were mixing up Tide and washing the track off. Said it would neutralize some of the damage that was done.
Joe Nemechek imparting some advice.
That
there.
clears up a lot of
Danica
confusion I've had
Patrick,
for a long
Trevor
time.
Bayne,
I
Ricky
thought for
Stenhouse.
some reason that they used
Casey
that they
Kane,
ran out of speedy dry
Jamie
and they
McMurray.
used Tide to clean all this up.
I'm sure these guys
No,
are
this
all
is
just
just
as
DW telling a
probably as
story
confused
about
as you can be.
I've
They
had
don't.
that
I don't
confused
know
in
that
my
they've
head
seen a
for so
replay
many
or
years.
actually know what happened. They're hearing
Now
about
I
it. I'm
know.
sure.
Well,
He was just
Carl
telling the
Edwards has a major concern.
Is that Ricky?
We listened
to
in.
Whitefish Fire Station?
Yeah, I would really like
But near
a
Danica, were they dating at this time?
or something over here.
That's why they're hanging
I was
out.
thinking of maybe
It's like, hey, cutie, come over here.
or a sub sandwich, or maybe better yet, a Cheez-It. Cheez-Its would be the best, honestly. I like Cheez-It.
Bob, it's so Bob. I like it.
Yeah, his crew chief.
Yeah, there's no question. The biggest thing Carl was doing right there is just messing with Bob Osborne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Well,
Cold
athletes, you know, they eat a lot of
Mountain Dew
little
would be
small
great.
meals, and it's been a while since Carl ate.
Now there's Greg Biffle talking with Matt Kenseth.
It's just so funny just seeing all
We'll
the
see if
drivers
those
in their
two
little
Ford
buddy
drivers
groups there. It's like
hook up
3
here
or
in
4
these
there,
final
3 or
40
4
laps.
there, 3 or 4 there.
About 5
And the ones that
different
are
little pockets of
unsocial, just
conversation
like, I'll just
there.
sit in my car.
Harvick,
Kevin
I'm not
Harvick staying
surprised.
in his car.
No, I'm honestly
But
not
you know,
either.
Daryl,
And with the window net up.
Mike, you made a
And
good
someone's
point
coming over to
ago
him. I think
that
that's
we
Paul
know
Menard
based
talking
from
to
last
him.
year.
Like,
the
he
rule
was like
changed
strapped
that
in,
a
ready to
driver
go,
cannot
like, hey
talk to
boys,
another
like, what you doing? Y'all are
by
still
way
leaving,
of
get out of the car. We're
radio.
about to go
But
in
we
about
have
5 minutes.
160 laps of
Which
data.
Paul Menard
And you
was,
have to believe
his
that some of these
teammate,
conversations,
so
like I just saw
where
Jeff
you going?
Burton and Kevin Harvick, teammates talking.
I'm just,
they
well, I'm
certainly are
leaving.
talking about
I'm going to the
some
RV,
things
fellas.
toward the
Tell
end
me
of
when
this
it's
race.
time.
Yeah, Larry, this is a great. I mean, you stop, get out, and you can strategize a little bit right here. Look, I've been doing this, and you've been doing that, and what do you
Like,
think
so
if
you
we
want to
try
go for me
something?
now,
You
and
know,
I'll try
so
to
it
push
could
you
really
in
work
and
out.
I got a
push Matt up
question.
there. Brad's like, come on, I'm going this way.
Oh, they carry them in their cars now. They hook them around.
I thought they were on the back stretch. It looked
They
like they were on
carried
the
ball
front stretch.
caps, cell phones. Carl just doesn't
But
have
it
any
looked like there
snacks
was
with
fans
him.
back there.
There used to be grandstands back there.
Okay, I was going to say, it looked like there was grandstands.
Back then, there was
Let's
a
go back and
demand
have a
for
look at what
grandstands
happened
back
here.
So sad.
Under caution, coming out of the pits, Juan Pablo
But I was
Montoya.
going to say, it looked like there was
thinking
grandstands
that he
back
had
there.
a
But
problem.
that makes
He's
sense
down
'cause
against
there's
the
not no
yellow
more.
line.
Yeah.
The track
Let's go
trucks
for
are
it a
working the
little bit.
top of the surface, blowing off debris. Montoya's car brakes and slides up into the trailer, carrying that jet engine and its tank of jet fuel.
I was going to say, go back to the driver a little bit more. There.
Let's go here.
It would have been okay this time yesterday to have been celebrating the champion for a few hours, but that didn't work out. So hopefully we get to do that tonight and see. And you know, we got 40
I'm sure
to go.
the fans
last
on
four
the
ought to
back
get real
stretch kind of do it. That's like,
Yeah, they got the
I'm
money
not sure
worth
that
that
there's
year.
not going to be any tandem
they're like,
racing.
"Oh,
I think
look,
there
there's Driver."
probably will at the end, but I think I think for the most part,
Brad's like, I'm on Twitter, man.
We're very pleased with the.
and all the other people are like, what's Twitter? What's that Twitter you talking about?
I have been in this sport
I'm
a
on the
long time.
Facebook.
I've never seen a more comprehensive effort by you guys working with the teams and everybody on the same page. Nobody was pulling against you. You know, everybody was working together, and it produced great racing. And you know, that's something that I was
seen
surprised.
somebody
I
earlier
thought
say
that somebody
something
was going
about,
to jump ship, you know,
DW
and say,
before he had
I
gray
hate the
hair.
spoiler, I hate the aero package. I
He
hate
just
that.
kept dying
I
it
haven't
for a
heard it
long
from-
time. And
Even
like
when
his
they
last
turned
few years
over,
of commentary,
or when
he
they were
just
crashing
gave
or
up on
whatever.
it.
Man, we're having fun. We're all having fun.
Well, it's a package where drivers like to, and that's what they are. They're race car drivers, and they want to be race car drivers, and it gives them the opportunity to do that.
All right. Thanks very much, Mike Helton,
Thanks, guys.
NASCAR president. There is Dave Blaney, the race leader. Matt Yoakum's there.
Mike, we could almost start taking a roll call. All the drivers have congregated up with Dave Blaney's number 36. First, Dave, what a call by your team.
Yeah.
You see people waving, hey,
really, I
look
think
at me.
we were planning on making, big changes to the car. The right front's busted up a little bit, so we knew we were going to take time to do that and probably start at the back of the pack anyway. So we'll lead a lap. And
okay, I wish they would have just called it. So
If we get this race back going, which NASCAR intends to,
seeing
do you
how
feel
much
like the
work
damage
that
is gonna be
looked
too
like,
significant
I'm
to be
surprised
still
they
competitive
did
up
that
at the
with
front?
not that
no, it's
many
been like
to
that since
go.
like 50. I can still.
At the same time, it's like all those cars are on the back straightaway.
Yeah, it doesn't handle quite as good, so when it comes right down to it, it's going to hurt me, but it's not killing us.
Well, just tell the person who's in the back of that pack to turn around and one by one
As
they
we
do
look at Dave's damage up in the front of the race car, remember back when Dale Earnhardt Jr. at Talladega a few years ago, they pitted the car 13 times and had damage which was similar to that. As we move farther along down the line,
That would be a cool race win diagram.
master Twitter person back on the backstretch. What was the latest thing? Were you able to get close enough to see before NASCAR made you guys come back to see what the racetrack looked like?
No, not really, but I've seen a lot of cool pictures on my phone that nobody else has a phone, so they should get one so they know what's going on. So they keep making fun of me for it, but I'm having a good time. And it's
They
great to
should
talk
get
to
one
fans.
that has
Thanks
a
for following
sprint
me on that,
plan.
Keselowski. It's been a blast. Trying to fill a little bit of time, but we're going to get this fixed.
This is
We're
such
gonna
a
get back on
weird-
track
What
and,
best
hopefully
Daytona
we can go
500
like
finished
that.
29?
Have you ever seen anything as bizarre as
Like, what
you've
an
seen
accomplishment.
this weekend here at Daytona?
Yeah.
Well, one thing about racing, when you think you've seen
They're
it
not
all,
gonna
it
say
finds a way to
the
show you
fact
something
that-
you never thought you'd see.
Well, no, he wasn't.
And that's the case today in the Daytona 500.
All right, how would you rate the drafting and the competition so far of what you've seen, because it has been a crazy night?
It has been crazy, but I think it's going to get a lot crazier here over the next 30-some laps. What do we got, like 38 laps, 40 laps left? It's going to get really crazy and wild.
Does it do anything for drivers to have a stop like this? You know, you're in your seat, you feel comfortable, and then you get out and your routine is upset.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a little bit there, but
didn't actually pay for that.
you know, we've had some time. We've been here all week. Right now, this is like the Daytona that never ends for most of us, and we're ready to finish it up. So that just puts even more pressure on you to win it. You know, the longer you're here, the more the pressure just accumulates on you. And I think that's good and bad. So hopefully we can take advantage of it. Thank you.
Steve?
Well, Matt, my crew came
football
out
number.
here
Like
to the
their cars and their
backstretch in
fire
turn
suits
3 as soon as we
friggin'
got
Burger
done
King on
talking
there,
to
it
Juan
looks
Pablo
very
Montoya.
dull.
pretty amazing effort out here, to tell you the truth. Pallet after pallet of this oil absorbent, what we call speedy dry, has been put down on the racetrack. I've counted about 35 emergency vehicles, between 10 and 12 different track workers with push brooms. After this went down, a different white absorbent material was put down before they started the pressurized hose.
Yes,
and also when we first got here, the smell of jet fuel was really pungent, thick in the air. Right now, you can't smell that jet fuel smell at all, so they're making a lot of progress.
Having a struggling NASCAR team. Also
Thank you, Steve.
Paid
we're in the race cycle now.
Sponsored
and,
two
sorry,
professional
there's nothing funny about what happened up there in turn number 3 as Montoya's car
and even their bass boat
slid up the track under caution and impacted a safety vehicle that was towing a jet dryer. NASCAR officials have just come in and told us that the driver of the jet dryer truck has been treated and released, and he is okay. Let's go back out to driver alley there in the back straightaway, and Matt.
And catching up with more drivers, I just told, passed along your information that the jet dryer driver was checked out and released. So Dale Earnhardt Jr., unique situation. You have a chance to talk to the other drivers about the different moves so far during the race and the type of racing you guys have experienced so far. Kind of fun and different.
Yeah, we ain't talked racing much. I'm glad to hear everybody's okay. It looked like a pretty nasty deal over there, and just glad it wasn't any more serious than it was. But yes, we just all been talking about everything but racing back here.
What kind of conversations have you had?
None for the television. Yeah, those are the best. No, our car is good. We found our way, toward the front there right before that caution, and I feel like we're in good position for the rest of the race. We just need to
I think it's funny. They just put
All right, good luck.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Move along to Jimmy
Twitter
Monroe.
at Dale
You're
Jr.
using your hands. You're talking about your car on the racetrack. You won this race 2 years ago. Where do you feel like you sit right now with a little bit less than 40 laps to go?
Well, we were actually talking about how the 42 car hit the jet dryer.
But why did he randomly create it on Twitter that
Our car is
day?
actually good. The Bass Pro Chevy is
wouldn't be on social media.
Is good. I left the pits too early right there, so we had to come back in and top off. So we're going to be the last car in the lead lap, but there's still plenty of time left. I think it's going to be very exciting, and I don't think the wrecks are ready yet if we get to go back racing. So just try to avoid some of the wrecks, and it should be good.
You remember the last time the Daytona 500 had
They just put at their name.
similar to this?
Yeah, I won't lie. When I saw that there were holes in the track, I asked if they were asking for Bondo in the garage.
That's used on the bumpers of cars to hold them together during these races. This is a product, must be its cousin, called Street Bond. It's a very, very fast setting kind of sealer or filler. And it better set fast, and here's why. You see the red dot is Daytona International Speedway, and while most of these big storm cells have broken up, the green meanies there are advancing on
Look
our
at that old, like,
Larry, just erase
radar-looking
Get that one off
graphic.
Get it out of there.
Now, since everyone wanted to see the pictures from the back straightaway, Brad Keselowski has now picked up tens of thousands of Twitter followers.
I'm kind of done
since the red flag
watching
came.
interviews and stuff.
Like
Blaney had his phone. I'm sure Brad could set him up on Twitter during his red flag.
This is 3 hours and 40 minutes. This thing happened at about the 2 hour mark.
55,000.
And here we are, 3 hours
Since the red flag, wanted to see those
minutes.
down, and you see a little darkening on the wall. That's where that jet dryer that was hit by Montoya's car was stopped, and the rest of what is cleaned up there was no rain for the conclusion of this event.
I say I'm getting impatient. I'm ready to
shower or something.
Nearly 2 hours. Okay, here we go.
And granted, this is with them maybe even having some commercials too.
Nearly 2 hours.
So this took even longer when it actually happened.
The pits will be open this time by. Out of the race, David Reagan, Jimmy Johnson, and that lap 2 crash.
We're going to go racing again.
Out of the event early. Jeff Gordon, blown engine. Elliott Sadler couldn't maintain minimum speed after his car was damaged. David Stremmy's car blew up, and Juan Montoya's car crashed into one of the safety trucks under caution after the car broke, and he couldn't steer it.
Yeah.
Laps down.
That's why this race didn't get finished at like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Joe Nemechek 7 laps down. Michael McDowell
That's
13.
why this racing gets
I thought they had said something. Hey, do you want to switch chairs? I'm sure you want your nice. No, I don't want to. I'm just being nice.
Okay.
Turn 3. How far could Blaney go if he didn't pit right now?
Well,
another 20 laps?
No, he was on pit road at lap 130, so he could probably go about 14 to 16 laps.
Like, now we're in business.
They're going to be on pit road pretty quick here.
Larry Mack, I love your math skills. I just talked to Ryan Pemberton. He said 15 laps, 1.5 is the most they can go. They wanted Dave to go through that patch on the track to make sure it wasn't bumpy. They just rated him and said, Dave, how does it feel? He said, no, not really bumpy, so I think we're okay. They're planning to come to pit road with 1 to go.
Now, what kind of time zone was that in? Like Eastern time?
I got 15 laps, and that track
I didn't know if it was like Pacific time and like, gosh, it should be like 4 a.m.
I think I'm going to stay out here and see what happens.
No, not Eastern time.
What did Stevie tell you in 1989? We have 16 races. We know how to not win it. How about if we try a way to win it?
I'm just saying that with the uncertainty that I think everybody has in the condition of the track, and I could run a little bit further, even if it meant I had to pit under the green. And all the drivers are saying, we think it's going to get wild, it's going to get crazy. Keep that car up front, and who knows what might happen. It's worth the gamble.
Casey Kane, Ricky Stenhouse.
Somewhat watching a race with time people in California.
I know, right? Because that would be
like 11.
It is midnight. It is Tuesday, and we have 100 miles
First
to
career
go
Daytona
at
500. He's currently second.
After
Michael
midnight.
McDowell laps down in the Phil Parsons, Dusty Whitney, Mike Curb car.
After midnight, we're going to let it all hang out.
I like the way you're thinking.
Do you know the answer to that question?
Landon Castle in that 83 car.
No, Speed Channel lasted a little while longer. It was like 2013, I think, when it actually went away.
He didn't have very many laps at all left in his tank of fuel.
So, Darrell, this is quite a dice roll. If any of these 4 drivers stay on the track, they are betting that we won't be able to go many laps through that patch in turn number 3, and the race would be stopped with them up front. And if they are wrong and we're able to race to conclusion, their chances of winning the Daytona 500.
It honestly really upset me that they didn't end the race. It was Monday night, nearly Tuesday. It's late. A crazy, unprecedented event happened. There's no way they had a contingency plan for that.
And Mike, I'm listening to Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, it would probably been better. They would have said, Dave Blaney, you win the Daytona 500. Let's go home.
Maybe because it's such a crowd-full event is why they felt like they needed to resume it.
I don't know.
Give everybody a fair chance. Now, if it was like a rando race like Dover or something, they're like, whatever, let's move on. Like, no one cares.
There's reasonable doubt.
You know.
And that's why I'm saying, man, if I'm sitting up there in the lead right now, and I got a little fuel left in the tank,
I feel like they had a little bit more incentive or whatever to clean it up.
Oh, yeah.
Take a side-by-side break from
I can imagine like being in the stands.
Well, that's what someone just pointed out. It's still a packed crowd for this.
Yeah. Now, that would be hard being in the stands and like, sitting versus being at home. You can flip the channel, turn it off, take a cat nap, whatever you want to do.
What just happened?
Look at this commercial.
Don't tell me you got the last Diet Dew.
Yeah.
I love the taste of Diet Dew. What do you want for it? Deal.
Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah, it tastes that good.
Y'all take a race car and I'll give up on my...
Meter's running.
I had seen this coming out earlier, so look at the top 4. Dave Blaney, Landon Castle, somebody...
Driven by
Tony
those
Ryan,
who use the world as their proving
David
ground.
Gillen.
Yeah.
And there's Matt Campbell.
And everything we've learned making these
Some guy named Matt Campbell.
inspires what we roll into yours.
Maybe you need to ask Eric Easter who that is. I don't know who that is.
He won't know who it is.
More driven.
When you pay too much for cable, you throw things. When you throw things, people think you have anger issues. When people think you have anger issues, your schedule clears up.
Yeah, this.
When your schedule
Winnipeg
clears
has
up,
kind
you
of
grow
a
scraggly
one here.
beard. When you grow
Maybe NASCAR
scraggly
didn't want to
beard,
end the
you
race
start
with that
taking
because
in
they
stray
didn't
animals.
want
And when you start taking in stray animals, you
like
can't stop taking in stray animals. Stop
like, honestly, that would be...
Did you ever get any wins?
Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV.
He come close a lot of
Call
times.
1-800-DirecTV.
They say that with great power comes great responsibility. Well, when you own a Durango, you'll have tons of power, enough to tow up to 7,400 pounds. So owning a Durango means you now have the responsibility to go dirt biking, ATVing, motorcycling.
I'm surprised that 214 of y'all have still managed to stick with us, because we did watch a good amount of that red flag, but we surely didn't watch all of that. We had no plans to watch all of that.
No, I didn't have the patience to sit through all that.
The SUV
it was nearly
is back.
2 hours of stuff.
Yeah.
After we watched it for probably 20-ish minutes.
For the first time ever, the Daytona 500 is run on Monday, and it will finish.
Chiefs just scored again, now 37-15 for them.
Yikes. Yeah, okay,
It's a record
Kansas City
weekend.
Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl.
37 laps to go. The 4 drivers.
Now, despite the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl last year, that's still a unique Super Bowl.
Right now, it appears they are going to
because,
gamble
you know,
until
up until like the last 2 years, Chiefs had not been like that good.
No.
So that's still a unique Super Bowl right there. Chiefs versus the Buccaneers. It's going to be even bigger for the Chiefs because they got to go in and beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in their home stadium.
And how close we are to going back to racing.
Now, how does this work? Like,
Here's Landon Castle.
who wears home or away uniform?
Did it feel pretty rough when you went through there?
I think it's technically who has the better record. So I think it's going to be the Chiefs wearing the home uniforms.
You do all you can just to keep fuel on that pickup.
That'll be strange.
Yeah.
That's Doug Richard, his crew chief, Landon Castle. As we mentioned, he has not been to pit road since lap 124, which coming to the line this time will be 40 laps ago. He's staying on the flat.
Yeah.
Jeff Hammond did the piece down there at our Ford Tech car earlier about these pumps.
Yeah, imagine they win again. He'll have all that energy coming into Daytona.
Do that with this
That he
system.
will, literally
But it
the
can't
week
hurt,
before.
doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose their prime, Larry. You know, they just want to keep those pumps primed up.
Signaling 2 laps to green. Here's what Kevin Harvick.
Get out of the way,
track condition.
Off the track.
Go, 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 go.
Get the safety.
I don't even see a patch. I just see a bunch of white. Like speedy dry. Just past it.
Oh, it's the same old thing. If you ask the drivers in the front, is it raining? They're going to say it's pouring down. If you ask the guys mid-pack to the rear, they'll say, man, it hadn't rained all afternoon. What are you talking about? That's just how it goes.
Terry Labonte comes to the pits, as
stop
does Trevor
spamming
Bain.
a little bit in the chat there, guys.
The Wood Brothers car for Bain and pull a tear off the windshield.
Oh, hey, NASCAR All Out. You're actually the guy who uploaded this. I appreciate that.
And Bain, though,
oh, hey, Nicholas. Appreciate $2. That junior commercial is what sponsors into. Yes, they need more commercials like that.
That's a big deal.
I think besides like
is this,
Denny Hamlin and the Domino's commercials about the only thing I've seen recently with the driver in a commercial.
And they're not even like his sponsoring the car.
I know, that's like a personal deal.
Yeah. Because weird, like FedEx is getting a big sponsorship out of that, or plug. But I see NASCAR All Out is in the chat. Guys, subscribe to NASCAR All Out. He's the person who uploaded this video to YouTube. So give some respect back to him.
Remaining 2 miles back around to the pits.
What a shame, Larry. I mean, this team, they've been running so well all night long.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. He said the only Daytona 500 to end on Tuesday because it started on Monday. It did end on Tuesday.
Make sure nothing happened to that race car.
What's
he'd run up in the top 5, top 10 quite a bit.
Let's see if we get 1 to go this time by, or if they wave it off to get Mirror's car back
I wonder what we're doing, I'm sure.
to pit road.
They got 1 to go in the air. The flagman's got his signal for 1 to go. Let's see if he sticks with that.
And the dreams of the front 4 may be dashed right here. They can't go the distance without fuel. Blaney, Castle, Rains, and Gilliland come in to top off the tank. Krista?
The sound of heartbreak in the 36 pit. Dave Blaney said it actually felt gravelly the last time by. He said, tell them the track's not ready to go. That was his hope. When they gave 1 to go, they said, we have to come in. 4 tires is a call, also a chassis adjustment. Again, a planned stop for Dave Blaney. They were hoping this race would not get back underway so that they could stay in the lead and win.
I had seen in the chat, going back to football. So Chiefs already won at Tampa this year, so I was going back to look at the score of that. I don't know what happened that game, but they barely beat the Buccaneers by 3, 27-24.
That might actually be a good rematch.
So I don't know if, like I said, I don't know anything about that game, so I don't know if that was Chiefs played bad or that was really a close game. But it sounds close by the end score.
That's about the 2nd or 3rd drive.
To Jay Ellis, who said, Claudia, can you even mention other pizza companies with Danny's new job? My new job is not with Papa John's. We appreciate Papa John's for, they sponsored me for like a couple videos, but that partners, the coupon is just for anyone to enjoy, and it's nothing like no contract that says I can't say anything about another pizza company. But very thankful to Papa John's for helping us a little bit.
Yeah, gave us a coupon code, and like he said, sponsor for a video. So
yeah, so nothing like that. No, I'm not working for Papa John's. I don't want to say who I'm working for.
You don't want to make the pizza?
Yeah. Nah, I'm very happy to be starting my new job on Tuesday. Again, I don't want to say who it's with, but basically I'm going to be running a company's YouTube channel. That's what I'm doing.
And here we go.
And it's a way bigger channel than Danny B Talks. It's a channel of like 90,000+ subscribers.
Those two drivers battled each other for Rookie of the Year in 2000.
And I do enjoy other pizza companies. Probably Papa John's would be my favorite. Yeah. Not being biased, but honestly.
And we do like getting pizza from some local companies every now and again too.
Yeah, but in terms of chains, my favorite would be under Papa John's would probably be Domino's next.
Thomas Ketterman asks, "Are you guys going to Daytona?" No, we are not. I wish that we were though.
I don't really have plans on it now, so.
Well, you can't even get a ticket now. So.
Well, that's true. So no, then I guess not.
Have a good shot at hanging on to this lead with Biffle and Kenseth up there in the 16 and 17.
I hate to say this as a Chase Elliott fan, Little Caesars is at the bottom of the barrel. Like,
yeah.
I'm just not a Little Caesars
Well,
fan.
I think that deal is gone because that was just Mountain Dew thing.
Okay, well, who cares? I guess I can diss them now. I guess I've really only ever had their $5 hot ready pizzas, and they're $5 quality.
Their $6 one is a little better, but
we've ordered that before, and I don't feel like that would world the difference. I need to get like one of their like pizzas like that's on the menu. You know what I mean? Don't they have like a better?
That's a $6 one.
That's like as best quality as they get is a $6.
It's like the better, most cheesiest pizza or whatever it's called.
Like, okay, do you know what, like Papa John's?
Better, most bestest pizza.
You can get like, I don't know what it's called, like Papa's Favorites, and they have like stuff like assembled, like, you know, the works or, you know, the Supreme or whatever.
I think they...
Like, do they have like a menu? Because like at Papa John's, I always get like the...
It's very small. I think they might have like a... They might have like a deep dish pizza or something like that.
But do you see what I'm saying? Like at Papa John's, they have like the pizza that's for a large, like $18.
Yeah.
But I usually am cheapo and just get the one topping $8 pizza from Papa John's, or the $12 if they've got a deal. But I never buy some like full price. I always try to find a deal. But with that being said, I was going to say is like, is Little Caesars have like a normal menu? Like, is that pizza a lot better than the little cheapo pizza? But if you say the highest quality goes to $6, they're on the struggle bus.
I see Burton out there, and he had a fast car that could push to the front.
As far as chains, Pizza Hut is my favorite, all-time favorite. It's a local pizzeria in my hometown.
There's some cars from the
I like Pizza Hut, their pan crust. I like pan crust.
I like that little deal they have. I don't know what, I think it's their pan pizza. That's like pizza, and you get like breadsticks and the Cinna sticks. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You get it in like a little square, or, well, I guess it's more a rectangle box. That's really good. Jet's Pizza's good. I rarely have that just because I forget about them.
But Daryl's right. Denny Hamlin at 11 pulling that group on the second lane there. They're not making any ground. They're not losing ground, but they're not making any ground.
No, and we know that Hamlin's car is pretty quick, and we know that Burton right behind him in the 31 is too. If anybody can do it, and then you got the two Keselowski, so they got some pretty good cars.
We got 31
right
to go. About this
Maybe could make some progress up that outside. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh no, William missed the jet dryer incident. Tuned in too late. Well, definitely go back in the stream and watch that. Or you can go to NASCAR All Out. It's like Danny said earlier, who put this full video on YouTube.
30 laps to go. They're going to have to buddy up to make it to the front on the outside as we go side by side. 28 laps to go in Daytona. Last lap speed, 200 miles per hour. As Matt Kenseth leads his teammate Greg Biffle in Fords. Then the Chevys of Earnhardt and Harvick. The Toyotas of Hamlin and Logano. Then Burton, Martin, Keselowski, and Menard, the top 10.
They just took Tony Stewart in that 14 car, the red car, up on the high side there.
Yeah, I agree with
Noah
Coleman. The outside line was slow in this race.
Down in.
Yeah, well, that's the whole problem, Larry. If you try to make any sort of a move,
but then what's weird is like a couple years later when the Gen 6 come out, I think the outside was the way to go.
Try to get back up through there.
It's got a little help from Ricky Stenhouse in the 6.
Not even a couple years later, the next year.
You're hoping when you step out, somebody will say, "Oh, that's Tony Stewart. I'll go."
Watching this race is making me so excited for Daytona this year.
I know, it's gonna be fun watching it.
Riding with Regan Smith.
Just happy to have NASCAR back.
I know. Like, I'm just so excited because, like, you know, this is such a big, you know, the 500 is such a big deal.
It's crazy to think originally before COVID we were supposed to be having the next gen car this year.
That is funny to think. Is that when they were going to do the single leg front wheel?
Just lost a bunch of ground right there all at once.
I don't know what to think. It's kind of making me sad, or like, you know, or like
all at once.
And I don't know what the word is. Like,
it's like he pushes Hamlin for a little bit.
I've never seen a car change. I've always watched the same car, so it's kind of weird. Like
I watched all the races for this car tomorrow from when they viewed the splitter and wing to when it went out with this package right here.
I was gonna say, you told me earlier it was the car tomorrow, and I'm like, I don't see that.
It's the car. It is the car tomorrow.
I think I like the what do you call it? The wing. What do you call it? That has that extra little bar on the back.
The wing.
The wing. I love that look.
Well, aesthetically, I think it looked cool. And that's why I have so many die-casts of the car tomorrow with that look.
Now I don't know if it raced good. I didn't watch much of that.
Glad. Making me nervous.
Hamlin has worked his way up alongside Kevin Harvick, who is 4th.
When did Budweiser
chipping
go out
away at it, just little by little.
Well, whenever they said
everybody moving around,
2015, I think.
Okay, so not that one.
That radiator and keep those.
I can't remember.
Oh, because you said it's like the same company.
Same company. So
right.
they're in it.
Yeah.
I wish they would go back to Budweiser instead of Busch. I miss Budweiser cars more. I think it looks better for some reason.
But I will have to say, the graphics department at Stewart Haas always does Busch cars awesome.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same sponsor, they seem to really like change up the paint schemes. It's not like no offense, like Denny Hamlin just slapping a different FedEx on there. Like they like redesign the whole car.
Well, so they used to do that for Denny Hamlin. They'd have like
no, it would only be different colors though. It wouldn't be like
true.
You have to think like Kevin Harvick had the plaid car and then had, you know, the Busch apple and it had the little apple basket, you know, on there. I'm trying to think.
Everybody hold
it.
They do like a Busch hunting theme.
Yeah.
Hamlin could drop in line right there, and he did.
No, I think, you know, some teams.
Oh, someone in the grass. Here's Crash.
Marcus Ambrose is 1.
It's Casey Mears, the 13 that they just had lapped.
Caution.
I'm just those lap cars are so hard to get around when you're coming up on them 20 mile an hour faster than the lap car's going.
The grass at Daytona is like real grass, right?
And there's Mears. Ambrose gets away. Can't remember that big spin.
I think it is because remember when the guy was stuck in the grass?
Yeah, he won! Yeah!
I'm just saying, imagine like mowing the grass at Daytona, like that's your job, just get the mower out, you know?
Yeah, that's probably pretty much a full-time position. You got to do it probably quite a few times a week to get all the sections of it done.
So let's have a look.
I'm just thinking how cool of a job. Oh yeah, mow the grass at Daytona.
And it stays like mowing weather year round.
Yeah.
So probably, you know, landscaping at Daytona, they have a few full-time people who do that.
Well, what makes me think of like
across the front of Mears,
Undercover Boss, where Steve Phelps goes to the Daytona and then has the guy has a painting on
he just
the Daytona
through there after that
like
happened.
logo on the wall. Like I'm pretty sure that office that he went to was people like grounds crew
quite a bit of
people.
body damage. I don't know if it's going to be.
I just think that'd be a cool job. I mean, I don't know anything about keeping up with a track or you know a facility or whatever. But that just seems like a cool job.
Watch this right here, though.
It probably is.
Wow.
Honestly, it's probably.
Two of those cars,
kind of boring though until the race comes. You know, like for example, after February, like if you're working at Daytona in like April, it's like man, we've already had our one race and it's gonna be a while for the next one. Yeah. You know, that kind of.
You just don't get down on the apron very often in the trial and get it straightened up and keep on going.
Yeah. That's
so the caution waves with 22 laps to go. There's Stenhouse,
Casey
number
Mears,
6.
2012 Daytona 500 winner.
Yeah, there's the first contact with the 43.
I think the 13 was just forcing the 43. He had nowhere to go, and the 6 was on the outside there, and they did make contact.
Whew, come close to hitting each other there.
Clint Boyer gets the free pass. Watch Ricky Stenhouse.
It's more like the 43 seemed to me like may have gone up a little bit as much as the Stenhouse tried to come down. I think it was just getting tight right there as they went by the slow car of Mears.
Darryl, we talked about it earlier in the show, the tri-oval here. It is one of the most treacherous places of this racetrack.
Well, you're running the same speed through the tri-oval that you are in the, through the turns. You're running
for someone who asked the SSS year that Montoya had the jet yard, that's already happened and come and gone.
And gets really loose.
If you want to go rewatch that, it's around lap 40.
Yeah. No. I don't know.
Oh, 40 to go. Yeah, that's a big difference. Sorry. Don't listen to me. 40 to go.
Let's get Michael Waltrip's take on that.
It just looked like what we see a lot of times here at Daytona, Darryl. Anytime you're lapping a car, people have to do something different, something that they're not prepared to do. It looked like to me the 43 car, Almirola, moved up and clipped that other car and caused that accident. I think Casey Mears was doing everything he should, but you're running 200 miles an hour. You're coming into the tri-oval.
What's that mean?
It's a tough turn, like you said, Darryl, and he just moved up a little bit too far and caused that accident.
Yeah, I see there's some fire under the 9 car here. I'm not sure if that's something's dragging on the front of it.
We don't have another fire.
Small fire up under the hood of that car.
Krista?
They're talking to Marcus right now saying watch your gauges, but it was splitter damage, right front damage that he suffered in that incident there. They're saying just watch it, the splitter dragging a bit right now.
With Fox, correct?
Yeah, I think they let her go.
Ambrose has been solid all week.
Sad.
But with 21 laps to go, things could be tough for the
I really like the Clint Boyer's Fiber Energy car. I think when I think of Clint Boyer, the Fiber Energy car is what I most root
for. Agents, when it comes to insurance,
I feel like that's a fitting spot for him because he's so energetic.
Yeah.
Then I feel like then they could
turn around.
Really play off that.
To help them find coverage that fits their needs.
I feel like I've had Fiber Energy once and it was not good. Recent concert.
Yeah.
It's a new Maze record.
Only time
I think it may have been the one flavor I had.
When I used Fiber Energy, I didn't do the whole extra thing. I actually I took like a berry flavor and I mixed it into a berry flavored Powerade just to get the effect of it.
Well, here you go.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I just said that they,
Now he's going hunting. Now he's on a motorcycle. Now he's on a jet ski. Now he's working on his Toyota FJ Cruiser. Oh my gosh. Now he's with his boss.
I guess I never paid attention.
When I gotta get stuff done.
I never
paid attention. It was a Toyota.
How do you reinvent the best-selling car in America?
Well, duh. Why did I? Okay, that was a stupid question. I did not.
I think it was a boss.
Well, I'm sorry. I did not see that. I mean, I saw it, but I didn't pay attention to it.
Akio Toyoda, race car driver and president of Toyota Motor Corporation.
Wow.
The reinvented 2012 Camry from Toyota.
Yeah, that wasn't that good of a year for the Camry, actually.
Ooh, so fancy.
Yeah, that wasn't really that
Ready
good.
for the restart. 20 laps to go. 27 cars on the lead lap. Marcus Ambrose still running, but he's down a lap.
The comment about this funny. We are farmers.
The newest under this, the 8th caution flag of the night.
Well, it's become pretty obvious. If you're going to make any kind of a move, if you're going to get in near the front or take the lead, you're going to have to do it on these restarts. And this is one of those times right here when it's going to get desperate. You're going to start forcing your way in, trying to get down in line or make a pass here.
I am going to be interested to see
together
Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes.
Kenseth and Biffle are on the front row.
Like I said, new school
in
versus old school.
Earnhardt and Harvick, the second row Chevrolets.
Which, I mean, they've already, like
Toyota
someone said, they already matched up this year, so it's not like something that's very exciting.
And we pack up Sunday and head
but
for
it is,
Phoenix.
It will be a rematch.
The duel in the desert on Fox.
I get a feeling Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88, he is going to stay glued to that 17 of Matt Kenseth. We are getting a report that Matt Kenseth can hear his crew and his spotter, but they can't hear Matt, which honestly would not
I know last year.
The only thing I hate is when you're watching a bunch of people and
everybody wants to
talk. I'm like, stop talking. I want to hear it.
Yeah. It's funny, like, I think it was last year. I kept forgetting I needed to be watching the commercials. Like, you know, I think we had like.
I'm gonna tell you that starts right alongside him.
I think we were watching. I don't know where we were watching. I can't remember.
Have turned the
but like, you know, what you do, have Super Bowl snacks and bathroom break and all that, and I'm like, oh wait, I actually need to be watching and pay attention to commercials. Doritos, like year after year, makes the funniest commercials. I love their commercials.
Too much information. There's no such thing in NASCAR. With the NASCAR Sprint Cup mobile app, you get live in-car audio, real-time stats, even driver bios. And with Sprint's unlimited data, you can find out everything about me. Like my secret obsession with karaoke.
There's no such thing as TMI.
That was a classic
mobile and truly unlimited data, only from Sprint.
Like, why don't we have more of this? I like that. Well, then again, like, you know.
Even this is good. They're like all sick. They're like all craving a Coke. The flagman is like, yeah! Yeah. Like, we're throwing the red flag. The red is for Coke. Oh, we gotta go. I forgot I'm racing. Meanwhile, all the guys not sponsored by Coke are like, okay, I'll take the lead.
Ready to restart. The extra lap was to reposition Joey Logano from 7th
and Jeff
back
Gordon's
to
like, oh, go take my Pepsi.
For not maintaining pace car speed. They lined him
Don't
up
let Brad
behind
take his sponsor.
Jamie McMurray in the number 1.
Don't let Brad take his sponsor.
Oh, Van Miller line. I'm like,
Brad, you want to come in for your sponsor?
3, 2 Toyotas, row 4, 2 Chevys.
No, that'd be
I'm
horrible.
horrible.
That'd be horrible.
He enjoyed his sponsor after Miami in 2012, that's for sure.
I think it was funny that he packed that glass like if he would have won this year.
Yeah.
Or well, I guess last year technically.
Yeah.
I wish he would have won just for that. I mean, obviously, I'm happy that Chase Elliott won, but I think
either way, he could use that. He could do it to celebrate or drown a sorrow. So
yeah, that's true.
Kansas might be in trouble getting that 4 out on that restart. That outside line's going to
Maybe
have a
we'll
pretty
get to
good
see it
head of
again one
steam.
day.
He pulls up in front of Greg.
I don't think he'll be a one-time champion. I think he'll get another one.
Coming and he jumped up there just
he seems to be a bigger deal of a driver than a one-time champ.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 best cars, the 16
I mean, he still won 4 races last year, so he ain't done by any means.
And they were 6 miles an hour.
No, but 2 of those he shouldn't have won anyway.
As Kenseth moved up and found his teammate, Greg Biffle.
But that's okay.
Biffle,
sometimes
now
it don't
Kansas
matter
wingman.
how you
Jr.
won.
pushing Biffle
That you won,
right up to Kansas.
Go 88 car. Get up to the lead.
Go Alex Bowman.
Coming down into the trouble
Yeah.
here.
You know, 2012 Alex Bowman is actually probably just like at home watching this. Actually, no. He probably just asleep at this point.
Yeah.
It's like 2 a.m. He's like, I don't care.
How old is like? Well, okay.
I think Dale
Chase
Jr.'s
Elliott
gonna have
was.
to
I'm trying
rethink
to
his
think how old.
strategy a little bit. He's got 2
Probably
cars
like
in front of him.
17.
He's got a Toyota behind him.
He's like the same as you, right?
Well,
in
he was
no
born
man's
in
land right now by himself.
95. More your age.
But what I've been seeing with Kevin
I was
Harvick
16
and the 29
and
we're riding
15,
with, and his
16,
teammate
17
Jeff Burton in the 31,
I was
just
16
like
in
earlier,
2012.
Burton cannot push for any period of
So you've
time.
been like
It's
17.
even getting hotter. He just can't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he can't stay hooked up. It's got to be heat.
3 of those Richard Childress Chevys now right together. Harvick, Menard, and Burton.
Or no, I'd been 16 turning 17 that year.
Okay. I guess I turned 16.
Those 4 cars down the bottom right now, the 17, the 16, the 88,
2013
and the 11.
was the year I went to
Those are
college,
cars that have shown
and
a
I
lot
was
of speed.
technically I was 17 when I started college.
You little baby.
How is this minor allowed to be on campus all by himself?
Oh no.
Cannot go below that line and advance your position.
I promise it's a dry
There
campus.
will be
There won't be
penalties.
any. There won't be any
Right
kids
now,
trying to
for
give
those
your
front
little
four,
minor.
That yellow line's their best friend.
And now call
another driver that's up there, Ryan Newman.
That's kind of great. That was a minor.
Looking at it, remember, he was our second caution
for what, a month?
Yeah.
I turned 18 the week I moved into college.
He's up there in the top 10.
Yeah, if you're going to have trouble, have it early and get that lucky dog or come
with 15 to go here.
Right back in it, but it's going to be interesting to see if these 4 guys here at the front of the field.
At this point, the fans are like, yes, it's almost over.
Yes, we can go home and go to bed.
Kevin Harvick leading the outside.
Imagine all the people running hotels are like, are these people ever get back from the race?
I know.
Like, these people haven't even been checked in probably.
Well, no, they probably were, because most of the time they were from the day before.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I haven't seen any speed.
Now, if it was a Sunday night, maybe. Because maybe that they just came for the day of the race, then would sleep that night and then go home the next day. But no, at this point, they knew that they were...
I just yawned. I realized it's appropriate because I was probably yawning about this point when this happened too.
Well, you couldn't get a better push. The 31 is all over him, and they got a 2-car tandem going on. But, man, it's hard to close up on that front pack.
Yeah, you could see right there, it went right at 200 miles per hour when he just leaned on Harvick in that 29.
Now, maybe down the back here, they could get a head of steam up and get a little.
But I wonder that you were talking about the hotels and whatnot. Like, there's probably, hotels close to the track, and then... to the, the night auditors there, it's real quiet. And then all of a sudden, here comes a flood of all these people. It's like, what is going on?
They actually look to me like that.
I can imagine the hotel being dead quiet. Like, there's a hotel probably close to the track that has a ton of race fans at it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when we went, we didn't stay anywhere close to track, so I don't know.
Big trouble, big mid-pack. Sliding and spinning into the infield.
Well, there went a lot of cars.
And sliding up the racetrack, 1 car.
Like, seriously, I waited for all that just for this.
Regan Smith was in it, and Casey Kane, the left side of his car torn up, and we're back under caution for
Regan
the 9th time at lap 188.
Almirola, the 1 car there, McMurray's the one I saw. Man, he was spinning around like a top.
Carl Edwards has damage to the right front, our pole sitter.
It's about mid-pack. You see McMurray right back here. He's the first guy I saw go around in the...
So what happened here? Oh, he just got loose. He got loose and then Logano got all over him.
I believe he blew a left rear tire. That thing.
Oh, he blew a tire. That's why he was so out of control. Oh, he about went airborne there for a minute.
The tire is completely torn apart.
He's spinning like a top.
I think he had a cut tire, and the thing just got away from him.
Yeah, he was wobbling through the trial there, and
Brad got tore up pretty good too.
Another driver involved, Brad Keselowski, right there.
Wonder if Brad twittered that
right there.
Oh my gosh!
What?
Michael Walter just said, "I wonder if Brad twittered that."
Twittered.
Yeah, Keselowski and the 2 just drove underneath.
I wonder if Brad twittered that. Michael Waltrip, 2012.
Watch Tony Stewart there. He just worked his way right back.
This is when this meme is appropriate. I mean, not the meme, the emoji. It's like the hand over the face. It's like
right in front of Dave.
No.
Watch that orange and black number 1.
Yeah, right
side of your screen.
Right here. He starts wobbling right here, and then
I still remember, like I told you back in. When I was in
it looked like a top. I saw that orange car just spin around. And look at Tony Stewart right there getting right through that mess.
2009, 2009, 2010 school year.
Yes, he did.
And I still remember my science teacher being like, do any of y'all use Twitter? Do y'all tweet? And we're like, what the heck is that? Like, who gets on that? Like, because Facebook was so popular then.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think MySpace was still around, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like in 2009, I never had a MySpace because I felt like that was always bad to have.
Yeah.
I never had one of those, but.
Brad also come close to flipping here. See if we can see anything from here. Nah, too.
But I felt like it was probably around 2012 was really when Twitter kind of started to take off.
And I remember for the longest time, like people said, like, don't get Snapchat. It's really bad.
Yeah. Because, your pictures disappear. Is that what you're saying? You can send people stuff.
Yeah.
But,
you almost made
it's so funny. I remember having to ask my parents, can I get a Facebook?
Yeah, I asked my mom, too.
Well, because I had to set up, you have to set up an email address, and I didn't have an email.
Casey Kane.
And then I found YouTube.com, and it was either the worst decision of my life or the best decision.
What do you mean the worst.
Like as far as like me like loving like just watching nothing but YouTube videos. I don't know. Like, I really don't watch anything other than YouTube.
Right.
Daryl, he did the same thing with his hands that Jimmy Johnson
I
did.
call it one of the best things I like to find.
We've had in-car cameras in these cars for years.
A YouTuber.
And up until recently,
technically you're a professional YouTuber.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Like that. They've learned a
lot
about this
my job. I'll be a
last
professional
year or two.
YouTuber.
Keep in mind, Casey Kane is a longtime open wheeler.
Like, that's just so funny. Years ago, that wouldn't even be thought about it being a job.
I know.
A defensive posture, a learned response when something like that happens. And with our new dual path onboard cameras, we can give you 2 views from the in-car. Here's what Jamie Mack had to say.
Broke on my car. I don't know what it was. I think the same thing they did the 42.
That's all crushed up.
Yeah. So is that.
Well, you think about it, before Montoya hit that
It was an
jet
expensive
dryer,
day
he was
for Chip
complaining about
Ganassi.
his race car, and you could see him wiggling down the back straightaway. Heard Jamie just say,
Have they
maybe
always
the
only
same
had
thing
2
happened
cars?
to my car.
Nah, they used to have more. Back to
Chip Ganassi cars.
Back at least in 2007, 2008, they had the 42, the 41, and the 40.
Ran a strong 500. But he'll be out of the race with 11 laps to go.
Well, I don't know if this changes anything or not. It could when we have a restart here with Kenseth and Biffle up there on the front row.
Me too.
I really want to see that cars, but I want to see.
Yeah, because his Air Force fire suit is all black, so I'm really hoping that the car matches the fire
Smith
suit.
able to continue.
But that's the only sponsors we've seen.
Looks like so too will Carl Edwards.
Because he doesn't really carry any himself, and everything that he had is staying with Gibbs, as we've seen. You know, Grassman, DeWalt, all that.
Yeah.
Mark Martin's up to 8th.
That Worldwide Technology Company, I think they're staying. They didn't go with Bubba.
He's got a teammate up there in Martin Truex. There's some good teammate combinations right now.
It's interesting how sponsors can pick like a driver or pick
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I saw Alsco was on his fire suit, so they might do something. I saw STP was on his fire suit.
Loses control.
Yeah, Brad about got lifted up there, about a 43.
They're going to wreck. There's no doubt about that. But you just got to use your head, be smart, and let's make it happen.
That was before this most recent accident, the 9th caution of the day.
You know, every time I can recall saying to myself, I'd hear a wee voice inside of me say they're going to wreck. And every time I didn't react to what I was thinking,
I
ended up
leaking.
regretting it.
Like
And I think there's a perfect example of, you know they're going to wreck. What do you do? I mean, you know, you can't stop. Got to keep going.
That's Daytona. That's how this racing is. It's been a long few weeks in Daytona.
Thanks, guys, and girls, if there's any in there, for sticking around.
Yeah, 219 of you. So I appreciate everyone who enjoys these. It's something that, you know, not a lot of people, you know, might not be everyone's cup of tea, but we enjoy doing these.
It's gone through rain delays, fire delays.
Comparable audience to who watches our well, not our podcast, but like NASCAR Wiki podcast.
I never get to be on it.
Matt Kenseth, Greg Biffle up front.
I have, yes.
Biffle hasn't been to victory lane in the last 43 starts. It's been 113 for Jeff Burton, 81 races for Mark Martin, 167 for Martin Truex. Matt Kenseth.
But it is fun getting to interact with the chat. You know?
Work through it the whole race. We're going to keep working through it right to the
Talk
end.
racing.
Give you plenty of information.
Like all that
I know
stuff.
you can't see out there right
All right, so we're going to restart with 7 to go.
Boogity, 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 let's go.
Let's bring it on here.
That's Kenseth spotter Mike Kalanoff as the green flag waves. 7 laps to go.
I would love to see what that means like. Be in the flag stand.
Oh, yeah.
And just stand. I don't even have to wave the flag.
Well,
just
like
looking over and watching the
well,
cars
like
go
you
down.
don't have the fence obstructing your view. You just see it going.
And then you're like, no, but the fact that you're standing like over the cars, it would be like the coolest view. Like I said, I don't even have to wave the flag. I just want to look over and look at the cars.
Yeah. Even standing just doing a pace lap, I think it'd be cool.
part of me would feel nervous that I would drop the flag. I wonder, like, I'm surprised that's never happened because I don't feel like I've seen that happen.
Especially when they get, like, celebrities to wave the flag.
That's what I'm saying. Now, I'm not talking about, like, an official person because it seems like they've done it plenty of times before, but yes, celebrities that
really helped
one-off
Biffle
kind
out
of
right there by
people
pulling out and getting him and pulling him up there behind him. Now they should be able to settle it probably between themselves.
They're forming a little train.
No, at this point it makes sense. Just kind of be smart.
And wait.
Stay out of trouble and then make the move about 2 laps ago.
But a long way to go to get there.
And Daryl, unless that outside line gets to moving, Matt Kenseth, his best friend right now is that double yellow line.
Oh, I think right now, Larry, everybody say, okay, let's ride right here. Let's hold what we got. Don't anybody panic. Because it's going to be a drag race off turn 4. That's where these races have been won every time down here this week. But you can tell Kenseth knows that the yellow line is his friend, man, and he's protecting that bottom. That's all you need to do right now. Make them go by on the outside if they're going to pass you.
5 laps to go.
And here's what's going to happen, Larry. Biffle is he's got to make a decision. Am I going to stay behind my teammate, or am I going to let that 11 push me right past him? That's a question that Biffle's got to sit there and ask himself.
And that's probably the question Matt Kenseth is asking himself about Greg Biffle.
I got to believe that Kenseth is a little skeptical based on the way they raced each other in their qualifying race.
And Denny Hamlin in third in the number 11. Has no friends. 2 Fords, Hamlin's Toyota by itself, and 2 Chevrolets behind, Earnhardt and Burton. More Chevys, Harvick, Menard, Newman, and 14 Tony Stewart.
And there's Tony Stewart's teammate, Ryan Newman. Another wreck to the travel.
Ooh, I didn't notice the wreck happened.
Slide through the grass, no contact. At least half a dozen cars.
I see why now somebody in this chat said, this race, the race that never ends, it goes on and on and on. Like, just when you think we're about to go straight to the finish, it's like, come on.
I'm not waiting around.
Excuse me, David Rudiman.
Dang, the whole stream's like 5 hours.
You know, Tony got
thank goodness we're not watching this like live.
He got a lot of damage or not. I see a lot of
especially
damage tires that got the side.
You know what I mean? Like if you're watching this live.
Once he got it straightened out.
Check with that.
EW, he just told us here on the show, last 10 500s, 10 different winners.
Oh, because it
there's like 4 to go.
Okay, because
you didn't miss a thing. I just fast forward for the caution.
I didn't know if another caution happened that made
it's like we've gone on long enough. Let's get to the finish.
Still 22 cars on the lead lap as we get set to settle.
Go down.
Someone said, was this the longest 500 ever?
Since we first got ready to race.
I think 2020 was longer because it started on Sunday and then finished like late Monday. That's how long it really took, I guess.
Oh, versus this one never started on Sunday.
Right.
So, yeah.
At the front, Toyota and Chevy in row 2. Green flag. And Biffle gets about a half a car length away from Denny Hamlin here and moves up to pick up his Ford teammate, Greg Biffle.
Boy, that is a teammate right there, buddy. I mean, he jumped out there, got him.
I was like, come on, go.
Biffle, I want you to pass your teammate. Pass your buddy.
I don't think it'll do Dale Jr. any good because I don't think Biffle's going to go anywhere. If he's a team player like Kenseth has been, he'll sit right there.
They've got a lap and a half to find out.
Yeah, if you were in the second place position, would you want to help your teammate? You want to be selfish and go for the win? I don't know what I'd do.
I'd want to help my teammate. I'd want, 2 cars finish 1-2. That's a good payout. And
once we get into
no. I'm not saying like for the team. Like, what would you do? Like, would you try to go for the win? Would you just try to help push your teammate to the win? Like, would you want to be selfish and get the win
in that situation where I know I've got Dale Jr. hot on my bumper, I'd want to just try to help the guy in front of me.
Because as soon as he pulled out the line, he dropped like a rock, and he get a worse finish.
Yeah.
I guess I would just have to depend on the situation. Like this situation, he's better off.
Well,
we've seen where the timing of where you do it is so critical.
Those 2 cars, the 16 and the 88, should be able to get by, but Kenseth, if Biffle elects to take the chance.
Ford Chevrolet off the final corner. Matt Kenseth trying to win it for
Junior
the second time.
it.
Here comes Junior to the outside. Side by side with Kenseth. He runs
Junior got second.
Wins the Daytona 500.
I tip my hat.
And he's a 2-time Daytona 500 winner.
There you go.
You don't want to watch his first one.
What year?
09.
Oh, is that the worst one, people say?
No. It just won because
Tip
of
my hat to
rain.
man to Greg Biffle, though. He could have jumped out of line, but he honored his teammate.
That was kind of controversial, though, because there was some stuff about Dale Jr. and Brian Vickers in that one.
Champion since Jeff Gordon in 2005. He gets his 22nd career win.
Remember how he won the race? Elliott Sadler was leading the race. They go down the back
this is why Eric Houston has that flag of that car of the Daytona 500.
I do recognize that.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. did beat Greg Biffle back to the line to finish second in that 88 car. There's Biffle, who ended up finishing third.
Denny Hamlin is fourth. Jeff
I think it stinks to think, like, he wasn't a fan when he actually won a championship, so he never got to experience that.
So with Dale Jr. finishing second in this one, 2010, Dale Jr. finished second to Jamie McMurray. 2011, he crashed out. 2012, finished second to Matt Kenseth. 2013, he finished second to Jimmy Johnson. 2014, he finally won. So that was a many-year span of people saying, okay, you need to win another one.
Yeah, so I'm glad he did.
Pretty good day for that team.
They're gonna go up the hill.
Don't hit the wall.
With how banked it is, I would imagine doing a burnout on this
very
stretch,
hard.
it would be very difficult.
You better I'll just go spin in the grass, honestly.
Matt Kenseth pushed his teammate David Reagan to the checkered flag.
You just go grab the flag. I'm not trying it.
Forget it.
It's like it's 2 in the morning on a Tuesday. I just want to go.
These guys, third, fourth, and fifth.
It's still crazy though that he was overheating and getting lapped at one point and ended up winning
Dale
it.
Earnhardt Jr., who has finished
A fight.
6 times.
This kid ain't fighting.
Since he last went to victory lane in the Sprint
Dale
Cup
Jr. and
Series.
Greg Biffle.
Okay.
He and Greg Biffle
I
share
couldn't see enough of the
awards
car where I could see
after
what
this
who it
wild
was.
final lap.
Yeah, honestly, the pass that Dale Jr. makes here is really good. It's just too bad that wasn't for a win.
Well, over.
It was for second.
Yeah,
Right there was when
Like that would have been amazing. If that was for the win right there.
Wow, yeah.
It's a pretty great way for Jack Roush to start off his 25th year in Sprint Cup.
Good sign, good thing for Dale Jr. Good sign for Dale Jr. too. Gets a nice second place finish.
Did Dale Jr. have an okay year this year?
Yeah, he ended up finally breaking his win streak.
Even with Joey Logano.
Because they're like, good sign for Junior. Like it was going to be a good year.
Yeah.
Nice move by Carl.
Whoa.
Now
You guys
NASCAR has
penalized him with
reviewed
below the
that
yellow line.
and ruled that Edwards 99 was forced below the yellow line, so no penalty.
No penalty. They say it was forced.
There's Old Faithful. She came through.
There you go. There's water going.
Yeah.
Seeing the way Matt Kenseth won on Thursday.
It's like like I said, it's like a geyser. Just the water spewing out of there.
That's kind of strange. I've never seen that before.
Any of these fans this evening.
Well, I think the other thing that happened on Thursday was when Greg Biffle.
So, what was your thoughts on the
tried to block it, and I think they
very
probably had a
eventful.
heart-to-heart
Not
after that
just the
qualifying
jet
race.
dryer incident.
And I think that's one.
There's
reason
more
why Biffle
crashes than I really
followed him the way
remember
he did.
being.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it just went on and on and on. But overall, I enjoyed it.
Gotta show Danica.
Let's buy a race car. You drive it. I'll work on it. When I turn 16, I want to drive it.
He's like, oh, we actually did it. We won.
Jimmy Fenning and the Nashville crew have plenty to celebrate.
That's not Jimmy Fenning's first Daytona 500 win. He won it in 1988.
It's a low-key classic, in my opinion.
Steve Burns.
And Mike, Dale Earnhardt Jr. just out of the car, and a great way to start this 2012 season. Dale, tell us about the end of the race.
Yeah, get it on camera.
But I told Greg that I was going to push him on that last restart, and I pushed him, and I thought he was waiting and waiting and waiting. It looked like he might have been trying to make a move on the back straightaway, but nothing materialized there. And then we come off 4, and I kind of waited to the last minute for him to have his opportunity to try to pass Matt, and nothing was happening. So I just pulled out and went around him. Matt had a strong car. The Roush guys were really quick all week. I was proud of the horsepower we had in our Hendrick car. It was great. We had great speed all week down here. Our car is performed well all week. The guys did a great job on the body. I want to thank everybody at the shop and all the guys that painted this car. This car looks so good every time it comes down here. The craftsmanship inside and out is amazing. It performed well. The team did a great job. Steve did a good job calling a good race. It was unfortunate what happened over in turn 3 tonight, and I'm glad everybody's okay. And I hate it for the fans to have to wait around to see a finish so late, but they stuck around. That's why NASCAR fans are the best, and hopefully they enjoyed it.
NASCAR fans are the best.
Good job. Yes, Mike Joy.
Thank you, Steve. Great run for Dale Jr. Let's go down to the Dean of NASCAR's pit road reporters, Dick Berggren in Victory Lane.
Oh, I miss Dick Berggren.
Feel all the confetti.
Yeah.
Well, Matt Kenseth, earlier in this race, when that engine was spewing water, did you think you had any chance to win the Daytona 500?
Not really. We had a lot of problems today. We had the engine spew out water, and we had a little bit of fuel problem. We lost a tachometer, lost our radios, and I couldn't talk. I could hear them, so that was good for them guys. But what a great race. I really need to thank Greg Biffle. Did a great job working with me today. We both had really fast rockets. I think it's just ended up who was in front at the end. And
I always get gypped. Like when Chase Elliott wins, like literally either they don't shoot confetti, or when they do, it doesn't stick to the car. Like his championship car ain't gonna have any confetti on it.
Is that a matter of friendship? Is it a matter
that
of
car they did perfectly well. Like they soaked it, welcome to Gator.
It's a combination of everything. It's a combination of what was going to give us both the best finish. I think car from when he'd push me and we could get clear the car behind me.
Yeah,
that was a big key. We could just be going so fast by the time we got to the
so far, all of my Alex Bowman
ones have been really good for
confetti. Is there a happier man in
your guy has more wins
than you?
Yeah, but the diecast they have stock. Like they don't look cool.
His Dover and Charlotte Roval from 2019, they look pretty good.
I know, and I didn't get either of
So the
those.
16 was the car to beat.
No, we've got
you looked to be in position.
His first win, no confetti.
What happened? You had Junior pushing you.
I can't remember what
that's what I want to know.
I don't remember, but it's going to have that cool like flat tire, remember? Or that like burn mark or
something. I couldn't pull up on the 17. It's like the 17 had more motor or something at the end. It's like he floored it and we couldn't catch him.
I don't think
but, you know, I think I was shoving him out. And I tried to make a move maybe on the back to kind of move up, but we didn't have a run. We needed a run. I needed a gap between us and the 17, and we just didn't have that gap. I maybe needed to drag the brake and try and push the 88 back and slow him down so we could get a run at it. But, you know, I thought Junior would push me up to the back bumper of him and I'd side draft him and go by him. But and then it would be me and Junior over here at the line. But it wasn't meant to be. I learned a little bit there, and I think Junior's shocked too that the car didn't push up. But, you know, 3 and Ford Fusion, these guys, and Doug Yates, everybody, I'm so happy for starting the season out like this.
Great way to set a tone to start out the 2012 season.
I was going to say, are we about to call it quits?
Yeah, we ain't watching the post-race show.
No, I feel like this has been long enough, and we hadn't, like, dang, it's been over 3 hours. It's nearly 9 o'clock.
I know.
And we started this at, what, like 6?
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And still 132 people have watched it even up to this point, so I appreciate all you guys for tuning in with us. We love having you guys here for these watch-alongs. Again, probably won't be one next Sunday because Royal Rumble's going on. Might want to watch that instead. So just stay tuned and see what we decide to do.
Definitely what we do, the next time we do it, it'll be during the weekday.
Yeah.
On a weekday. Just because he wants to watch the wrestling thing next week. Super Bowl is the week after that. Then we'll be watching the 500.
Daytona 500. So we'll do another one of these. Don't know when. As always, stay tuned to the community tab as well as Twitter. You might see some things
Talks.
at NB Talks. So again, thank you all for being here, and we will see you next time.